Chapter 801 Big to Small, Suppressing the Demonic Cultivators. As it turned out, in the Taichu battlefield, after Fang Yuan and the others left, Dongfeng Chongfan gradually controlled his internal danger. The situation was turning around for him. He was an old schemer. After Fang Yuan left, he realized this problem. He immediately guessed that the three mysterious black-robed GU immortals were going to attack his base. But he had made arrangements in Jade Pool Blessed Land. He was not worried. Instead, he was glad that these demonic path GU immortals were splitting up. He could deal with unfettered scholar more easily this way. But soon, he was shocked to find out that he had lost his connection with Thatched Hut. This shock was no small matter. Thatched Hut was Dongfeng Chongfan's biggest treasure. It was heavily guarded by Dongfeng Chongfan's arrangements. Even against a rank 8 GU immortal, it could hold on for a while. How could it lose its connection to him in such a short time without any warning? Dongfeng Chongfan immediately changed his plans. He gave up on the Taichu battlefield, flying towards his base to salvage the situation. Unfettered Scholar saw that Dongfeng Chongfan was escaping. He had to chase after him relentlessly. Dongfeng Chongfan had not told old Lord Kenyang the final critical steps yet, thus the latter also followed him, fighting as they traveled. The two sides flew as they engaged in a huge aerial battle. The battlefield quickly shifted. After spending a lot of time, they reached Jade Pool Blessed Land. Thatched Hut was missing. Jade Pool Blessed Land was broken open, as a hole appeared connecting to the outside world. Seeing the demonic path GU immortals scavenging for resources openly, Dongfeng Chongfan was extremely furious. He next saw the enslavement path GU immortal, Qi Shimin, using his unique method to capture Dongfeng tribe's GU masters. Dongfeng Chongfan was so angry, countless star thoughts were flying out of his head, causing the hat on his head to fall off. He was truly fuming. You demonic path scoundrels are truly unforgivable. Dongfeng Chongfan pointed his finger, disregarding the huge amount of immortal essence expenditure. He used his trump card killer move, Myriad Star Fireflies. Lu Lan and the others were still attacking Captivating Sea. They saw the countless starlight specks, starlight filling the sky like snow. It was extremely beautiful. Such a beautiful sight instead made everyone on alert. They quickly stopped their previous actions as they changed their attacks, flying into the sky and attacking Dongfeng Chongfan. The current situation was very different from the circumstances in Taichu. In the Taichu battlefield, the band of demonic path GU immortals were competing intensely for a wisdom path inheritance. But Dongfeng Chongfan had used possession. The wisdom path inheritance would only be in his mind. There was little hope of them taking the inheritance. But now, the huge Jade Pool Blessed Land had countless resources that were openly available to everyone. They could seize anything they wanted. With such huge profits here, as long as they killed Dongfeng Chongfan, they could continue looting the place. The band of demonic path GU immortals stopped fighting amongst themselves and worked together. They were extremely excited and acted like a united group. The demonic path GU immortals attacked together. Dongfeng Chongfan's expression became very ugly. He felt his pressure intensifying as he shielded himself from all directions. He was at a disadvantage. Kill him and the entirety of Jade Pool Blessed Land would be ours. Half Moon Brutamaster shouted. Other than this Jade Pool Blessed Land, there is still old scoundrel Dongfeng's Wisdom Path inheritance. That is the #1 Wisdom Path inheritance in Northern Plains. Peacock Flying Immortal Hiruo said with shining eyes. I can give up even the Wisdom Path inheritance. What I want is his possession method. Pai Shui Han's expression was cold as he attacked unceasingly. After Dongfeng Chongfan retreated several times, he finally stabilized his situation after getting help from old Lord Kenyang. Being suppressed like this, the anger in him was reaching an extreme. After getting some time to rest, he smiled in spite of his anger. I will make sure all of you die here. Saying so, an intense tremor occurred in Jade Pool Blessed Land. The heavens shook and the earth trembled. The demonic path GU immortals realized that all of their mortal killer moves lost much of their effectiveness. Dongfeng Chongfan was Dongfeng tribe's first supreme elder for so many years. He held a large amount of control over Jade Pool Blessed Land. Even though the Blessed Land was publicly owned by the tribe, and he could not manipulate it entirely, he had enough authority to use Jade Pool Blessed Land to repel these demonic path GU immortals. Jade Pool Blessed Land was Dongfeng tribe's headquarters. Dongfeng Chongfan had an advantage when he fought here. It was only that the thieves came in when the owner was not around. The demonic path GU immortals' attacks weakened, but Dongfeng Chongfan did not continue to engage them. He flew down towards a certain gap in space. He directly flew down into Captivating Sea, breaking the illusion and seeing that the Sea of Peach Trees was in a pathetic state. The Peach Wolf group had mostly been killed until 2 or 3 were left. Some wolf corpses had yet to be taken away, they were lying down near the peach trees, it was a miserable sight. Dongfang Chongfan looked upon this, feeling his heart bleeding, many years of exhausting efforts had gone down the drain. He suppressed his pain as he shouted, "Brother Fang, I protected your tribe for hundreds of years, we have an agreement to look after one another, I have never oppressed or harmed you. Now that my tribe is at a point of crisis, I need your help." Dongfang Chongfan's voice reverberated in the air. A few breaths later, a sharp voice resounded in the air, answering, "That is only natural." After this was said, everyone saw a jade-green light emerging from captivating sea, landing in Dongfang Yuliang's hands. The jade-green light faded, and a small mountain could be seen. It was Minuscule Mountain. This is Minuscule Mountain. Many demons were extremely excited. Pai Shui Han, He Lu Lan, and some others had tense expressions. Listening to the words exchanged between Dongfang Chongfan and the Miniman Gu Immortal, it appeared that Minuscule Mountain was not actually owned by Dongfang tribe, instead, the Miniman tribe and Dongfang tribe had come to an agreement, they were allies. To be able to become Dongfang tribe's ally, the Miniman tribe should have corresponding foundation and power. With Minuscule Mountain in his hands, Dongfang Chongfan laughed, his sharp gaze swept through the band of demonic cultivators. He had no hesitation, his inner fury was urging him to take revenge. "Today is the day you all die." Dongfang Chongfan held Minuscule Mountain as he moved his fingers, manipulating myriad star fireflies to attack the demonic path immortals. Countless starlight specks moved, it was like a huge blue wave, his sleeves were fluttering in the air, as if he was a transcendent being among men, his aura surged as it made the demonic cultivators feel fear. Fading heavenly flower, 1,000 disintegrations. Ice dragon lock, strength path giant hand. The rank 7 battle strength experts attacked at once, 4 immortal killer moves were aimed at Dongfang Chongfan. Mortal killer moves were unusable already, only immortal killer moves had any useful effect. Final afterglow, old Lord Kenyang muttered inwardly, he reinforced both him and Dongfang Chongfan, before waving his sleeve and shooting out the life-chasing fire. The life-chasing fire went after Unfettered Scholar, who was the biggest threat, he was forced to retreat as he lost his attacking position. Unfettered Scholar bellowed angrily, this had already happened many times, life-chasing fire always forced him to use 1,000 disintegrations on himself to cancel out the attack. Dongfang Chongfan had been struggling at death's doors many times already, but he refused to die. After 1,000 disintegrations was diverted, the remaining Ice Dragon, Strength Path Giant Hand, and Heavenly Flower was still going after Dongfang Chongfan. Dongfang Chongfan raised Minuscule Mountain up high, the closer the demonic path Gu Immortal's killer moves approached Minuscule Mountain, the weaker they became. In the end, the Ice Dragon turned into an ice snake, the Strength Path Giant Hand shrank to less than 1% of its original size, and the Heavenly Flower faded and wilted. When these attacks finally reached Dongfang Chongfan, he waved his sleeves and blocked them easily. Immortal killer move, big to small. Pai Shui Han's expression was cold, he found out the enemy's method immediately. It turned out that the Miniman race Gu Immortal with the surname Fang in Minuscule Mountain was a Rule Path Gu Immortal, he had the Rule Path Immortal Gu, small. He led the Miniman tribe and made an alliance with Dongfang tribe, to obtain space for his tribe to live. At this point, when he made his move, he used an extraordinary method and suppressed the demons, surge of power. All of the demons frowned. He Lu Lan was already feeling regret, if she knew that Minuscule Mountain would be so strong, she would not have gone all in. Many demons attacked Captivating Sea forcefully, even though they defeated the Peach Wolf group, that was not enough for Minuscule Mountain to use that killer move. This is somewhat troublesome, to solve this problem, we will have to rely on you, Unfettered Scholar. Pai Shui Han turned back, talking to Unfettered Scholar. Unfettered Scholar snorted coldly, at this crucial moment, who else can be relied upon but me? Pai Shui Han's eyelids trembled, but he did not rebuke him. Unfettered Scholar was also a Rule Path Gu Immortal, he had the Rule Path Immortal Gu, Disintegrate, he similarly had the Immortal Killer move, 1,000 disintegrations. To counter Rule Path with Rule Path was the most effective option. At once, the demons battled Dongfang Chongfan, Old Lord Kenyang, and the Miniman Gu Immortal with Unfettered Scholar at the lead. The demons attacked one by one, trying to provide an opportunity for Unfettered Scholar. Unfettered Scholar grabbed onto the opportunity and used 1,000 disintegrations on Minuscule Mountain. 1,000 disintegrations was used against big to small, but it was countered by the latter. Your Rule Path Immortal Gu is only rank 6, my, small, Gu is rank 7, how can you beat me? The Miniman Gu Immortal's laughter could be heard coming from minuscule mountain, it was smug and arrogant. Unfettered Scholar's expression was grim, he could not refute it. His foundation was weaker compared to the Miniman tribe. The situation was becoming worse for the demonic path side. Dongfang Chongfan had minuscule mountain, he also had old Lord Kenyong watching out for him, he was in an impregnable position. As the killer move, myriad star fireflies, became stronger, his battle strength would surge with it. Eventually, it would end in a victory for him, he would defeat the band of demons and return to the world of Northern Plains Gu Immortals with a domineering display. The demons thought hard, but they had no way to counter big to small. The only tactic left for them was to attack forcefully, using their advantage in numbers to drain all of the enemy's immortal essence. But demonic path Gu Immortals were loners, they usually only considered their own interests, they did not want to expend too much of their own resources, it was not worth it. Just as they were worrying, the demonic path Gu Immortal Zhou Ping shouted angrily, "Damn it, my literature carps were taken away." The demons looked over following the voice and saw that at the periphery of the battlefield, Fang Yuan, who was above a deep pool, was drawing the water into his own immortal aperture. Seeing this, even He Lu Lan transmitted a message to Fang Yuan in fury, "Fang Yuan, what are you doing?" The demons were fighting a tough battle, in the end, they realized that someone was stealing resources while they were occupied. This was like a situation where everyone was in a boat, paddling and moving forward. In the end, one of their companions decided to start fishing and even caught a big fat fish, keeping it for himself. Chapter 802. Looting persistently, internal strife. "You, how can you be so selfish?" Unfettered Scholar pointed at Fang Yuan, chiding. "My literature carps, my fish group." Zhou Ping screamed angrily. "We are here fighting desperately, but you are taking benefits in the background. Taking advantage of us." Pai Shui Han's eyes were flashing with a cold light, his tone was chilly. "My group of literature carps, return them to me." Zhou Ping roared, mixed with a tone of sobbing. "The urgent matter now is to kill Dongfang Chongfan. By then, won't we have everything?" Fairy Li Shan's transmitted, her tone also had a hint of accusation in it. "Damn it, return my fish group, I demand justice." Zhou Ping was so regretful his eyes turned red. If he knew this, he might as well have destroyed the fish group. He spent so much precious time trying to get this resource, yet now it landed in someone else's hands, and it felt like he was only safekeeping it. "Shut up, otherwise, I am going to thrash some people." Fang Yuan was very ruthless, his tone was arrogant and he did not make any form of explanation or denial. "You." Zhou Ping was so angry his eyes were opened wide and staring, he almost spat out blood. Fang Yuan laughed loudly, he had to act ruthless, to not allow these demonic path Gu Immortals to take an inch and demand a mile, this could protect his interests. Pai Shui Han, Unfettered Scholar, and the others were gritting their teeth in anger, but they could not attack. Fang Yuan had rank 7 battle strength, if they really fought, he still had 2 companions. It's nothing much if it's only that rank 6 black-robed Gu Immortal, but this rank 7 is likely to be Fairy Li Shan from Snowy Mountain. Fairy Li Shan had once made an agreement with Dongfang tribe, she could not harm them. Now that she is involving herself in this matter, it's no wonder her appearance and identity are concealed. Once she attacked, there would be many flaws. Fairy Li Shan's identity was already revealed to Unfettered Scholar and Pai Shui Han. Even though they found out, Pai Shui Han and Unfettered Scholar did not dare to attack her, because Fairy Li Shan was a member of Snowy Mountain, she was a subordinate of the rank 8 Gu Immortal, Old Ancestor Shuihu. Old Ancestor Shuihu wanted to refine fortune rivaling Heaven Gu, this was known to everyone. But to refine a rank 8 Immortal Gu, the investment was massive. Perhaps right now, Fairy Li Shan was here due to orders from Old Ancestor Shuihu, to loot Dongfang tribe's resources, this would be the will of a rank 8 expert. Fang Yuan naturally knew Unfettered Scholar and Pai Shui Han's mindsets, he was using Fairy Li Shan's reputation now to deter the demons so that he could take the literature carps for himself. But just as he was about to continue saying arrogant words and deepen everyone's impression, Dongfang Chongfan suddenly lost control again. Dongfang Yikong's face turned ruthless, he looked at Fang Yuan with eyes that could shoot out fire, his voice turned into Dongfang Yikong's. He screamed at Fang Yuan, "Scoundrel, you dare to take my literature carps away. I was only storing them here temporarily. You dare to take them, do you know how much effort I had put in to obtain this group of literature carps? I want you to die like a dog." While he roared, he flew towards Fang Yuan. Everyone stared blankly at this. Earlier, Dongfang Chongfan had appeared normal for a very long time. Everyone thought that he had regained control and succeeded in his possession. Nobody expected this to happen. Fang Yuan's eyes shined with brilliance. He quickly reacted. His 6 strength path giant hands flew over while his body retreated backwards. He grabbed onto the opportunity, but he was vigilant. What if the enemy was only acting and was purposely exposing a weakness? What if this was a trap? But the truth was, this was no trap. Dongfang Chongfan regained control of the body very quickly. His expression turned dark, to think that he had lost control again. Man proposes, God disposes. He had made ample preparations. These demonic path GU immortals were not his match. Even old Lord Kenyang was his helpless tool that was being made use of all along, but the strength of the heavenly tribulation was beyond his expectations. Earlier, he was only suppressing the wills of the 8 GU immortals forcefully, he had not gotten rid of them yet. Now that the literature carps were taken by Fang Yuan, an intense external stimulus awakened the rage in Dongfang Yikong's will. He burst through the suppression and emerged. The wills of these 8 GU immortals were not the biggest issue. The problem was that due to their support, the original will of this body had been gathering strength, it was becoming quite formidable. Although Dongfang Yu Liang's soul was destroyed, the fragments of his soul was scattered in his body, turning into will. Thought, will, emotion, within these divisions there weren't individual qualitative differences, differences were shown from quantity. Dongfang Yu Liang's will had already accumulated to become similar to the other 8 GU immortals. The most key danger was that this body was originally his. If his will burst out, the threat was many times that of the other GU immortals of Dongfang tribe. Dongfang Chongfan sighed deeply. He raised minuscule mountain up and used the big to small immortal killer move to weaken the 6 strength path giant hands, before breaking them apart. Fang Yuan shouted from afar. What are you waiting for? The enemy is already separated, why aren't you killing them now? The other demonic path GU immortals all had rich battle experience, how could they miss such an opportunity? Right as Fang Yuan was still shouting, Pai Shui Han, unfettered scholar and the others had already attacked, while Divine Lord Tiandu, Shihu, Lu Qingming, and Hiruo came over and encircled the area, sealing any escape routes that Dongfang Chongfan could take. At this point, the demons already had some basic teamwork, they could cooperate to execute simple tactics. Even though these were just basics, it gave Dongfang Chongfan huge pressure. Old Lord Kenyang was angered to a boiling point. He did not expect Dongfang Chongfan to lose control again. Originally, he was fighting together with Dongfang Chongfan, they were close together and could take care of each other. Now that Dongfang Chongfan had charged out alone, he was surrounded by the demonic path immortals, while Kenyang himself was blocked outside. Dongfang Chongfan, what is going on with you? At the same time, minuscule mountain was shaking, the questioning of the Miniman GU immortal could be heard. The alarming change earlier had scared him. Don't worry, Dongfang Chongfan fought against the enemies around him as he answered plainly. You sure are calm, don't you see how many people are encircling you? The Miniman GU immortal was going crazy. Hang in there, old Lord Kenyang was anxious, he fought his way in as he attempted to join up with Dongfang Chongfan again. I will stop him. Fairy Li Shan emerged, obstructing old Lord Kenyang. Fairy Li Shan had once made an agreement with Dongfang Chongfan, she was using a special technique now to suppress the agreement's backlash. Despite this, during the battle earlier, she was focusing essentially all of her attacks on old Lord Kenyang. The battle intensified all of a sudden. The demonic path party wanted to take advantage of the mistake to eliminate Dongfang Chongfan. As long as Dongfang Chongfan was dead, the blessed land would have no one controlling it, the demonic path GU immortals would not be restricted, even if old Lord Kenyang and minuscule mountain were around, they could not change the result. Dongfang Chongfan's side was trying their best, as long as he joined up with old Lord Kenyang, they would regain their former advantage. During such an intense battle, Fang Yuan was at the periphery of the battlefield, looting the resources of the deep pools. Fang Yuan's actions made all of the demonic path GU immortals furious, they accused him while shouting loudly. Fang Yuan, however, gave his reasoning, what do you guys know? This is a battle tactic, I am trying to trigger the GU immortal wills that were suppressed in his body, to make old scoundrel Dongfang commit a mistake. Wasn't the current advantage that we gained due to me? Quickly coordinate with me, do not judge the heart of a gentleman with the heart of a small man. After unfettered scholar heard this, his handsome face distorted with anger. Pai Shui Han's heart was filled with the flames of rage, he felt that at this moment, he was not an ice and water path GU immortal, instead, he was cultivating fire path. But what Fang Yuan said was true, they had no way to rebuke him. Divine Lord Tiandu expressed everyone's thoughts. Why is it that we are all fighting here while you are out there gaining profits? The Miniman Gu Immortal from Minuscule Mountain also yelled. What do you mean? Judge the heart of a gentleman with the heart of a small man. This is discrimination against our Miniman race. I will make you pay the price. Zhou Ping's eyes turned. He said, this battle tactic makes sense, let me coordinate. Saying this, he left his position in the battlefield and flew down towards a deep pool. Pai Shui Han roared in anger, get the hell back. Unfettered Scholar was breathing roughly, he activated 1,000 disintegrations, aiming it at Zhou Ping. Zhou Ping shouted in pain, he suffered a heavy blow, he almost fell to the ground. This could not be allowed. Defeat and victory were thinly separated. If everyone went to get profits, who would be left to kill Dongfang Chongfan? Unfettered Scholar shouted coldly. Now is a crucial moment. If anyone tries to leave without reason, even if the enemy is in front of us, I will kill you. He no longer had the gentlemanly air from earlier, he started using abusive language. Zhou Ping, why aren't you back in battle yet? Do you want me to send you off? Pai Shui Han said coldly, threatening. Zhou Ping lowered his head, he had an expression of anger and hatred, but he had no choice but to return. Fang Yuan could not kill him, but that did not mean other rank 7 battle strength GU Immortals could not. The other demonic path GU Immortals saw this and suppressed their greed. They felt glad, and also indignant. Why was it that Fang Yuan could scavenge resources while they could not? Because of battle strength. Fang Yuan had rank 7 battle strength, Unfettered Scholar and Pai Shui Han, even if they wanted to, had neither the capability nor time to punish him. But for the other rank 6 GU Immortals, if they dared to mess around so openly. Did they think these rank 7s could be toyed with? GU Immortals who made it this far were all astute figures. But to mess around with others, one had to see if they had the ability to do so. But even Fairy Li Shan could not stand to let this continue. She loudly spoke at Fang Yuan with a cold snort. Number 7, come back now, we'll fight together. Fang Yuan was slightly stunned, he could not help but let out a laugh. Earlier, he was scheming against the others, but at the next moment, his ally actually slightly schemed against him. Even though he, Lu Lan and Fairy Li Shan had signed the Snowy Mountain Alliance, in which nobody had command over others in the alliance, but right now, they had to act in front of everyone. Earlier, to show that they had a deep background, they put up a show and deterred the demons. Right now, he could not ruin that background they created, he had to continue acting. Over at Fairy Li Shan's side, her circumstances were quite bad. She fought using Wood Path, but old Lord Kenyang was a Fire Path GU Immortal, be it fighting techniques or methods, Fairy Li Shan was heavily countered. Chapter 803, Band of Demons repels righteous immortals. Fang Yuan came to help, he worked together with Fairy Li Shan, obstructing old Lord Kenyang. Fang Yuan was an immortal zombie, he was not afraid of life-chasing fire, but even so, the Strength Path Phantom Army in his immortal aperture was taking serious damage from the fire. After fighting for a while, Fang Yuan felt heartache inwardly. When he used the Strength Path Giant Hands, they did not use much immortal essence. That was because the Strength Path Giant Hands were formed using countless group strength GU along with the Strength Path Phantoms, it was the manifestation of their strength. In essence, each Strength Path Giant Hand was made from tens of thousands of Strength Path Phantoms. The Strength Path Phantoms were created using his immortal essence a while ago, they were stored in his immortal aperture. But now the life-chasing fire went after their origin, burning the Strength Path Phantoms directly. By now, the Strength Path Phantom army that Fang Yuan had accumulated had been mostly destroyed. If he summoned more now, he would need to expend huge amounts of green grape immortal essence. If this goes on, the expenditure is too great, this will not do. Fairy, block him for now, I have a plan. After fighting for some time, Fang Yuan suddenly transmitted while retreating. Fairy Li Shan heard this and felt a strong urge to curse at him. At this point in the battle, he was still thinking about immortal essence expenditure. She had already gone all out regarding that. She did not even dare to think about the amount of immortal essence she had expended. When they attacked Captivating Sea, in order to fight against time, she used several immortal killer moves. Now that she was fighting with old Lord Kenyang, her expenditure was even greater. Fang Yuan was still thinking about immortal essence expenditure now. It was obvious he had obtained the most profits. Seeing that Fang Yuan was retreating, the demons had varying expressions, they were stirred. Why is he flying down again? Unfettered Scholar asked Fairy Li Shan. He could confirm Fairy Li Shan's true identity already. Fang Yuan did not respond to him at all, it was much more effective to ask Fairy Li Shan. Fairy Li Shan was inwardly angry. She fought intensely as she replied coldly. He said the immortal essence expenditure is too great if this goes on, he has a plan to execute. Still caring about immortal essence? How much did we spend already? The band of demons were furious, some had bloodshot eyes, some were breathing roughly. Unfettered Scholar's body was trembling. In truth, even Fairy Li Shan and others had plundered some resources. In the entire demonic path gang, Unfettered Scholar was the one who put in the most work while obtaining the least. He did not even loot a single resource point. Dongfang Chongfan felt his pressure intensifying. It was a vicious cycle. Fang Yuan's words angered the band of demons, they were venting their rage on him. At once, Dongfang Chongfan raised minuscule mountain to defend himself. He was injured in many areas, he was in a pathetic state, the situation was getting worse. What Fang Yuan had said earlier was not a lie. He flew towards a deep pool directly. In fact, while the two sides fought intensely, they had shifted locations unintentionally. Fang Yuan realized that a deep pool below them was full of Dongfang tribesmen who were hiding. Evidently, this was an assembly point. Dongfang Chongfan, I want you to see it for yourself, the pitiful death of your tribesmen. Ha ha ha. Fang Yuan's wild laughter was mixed with the slamming of his strength path giant hand. How could the methods of mortals block an immortal killer move? The barrier of light that was erected with many layers was instantly destroyed, without even holding on for a second the moment the strength path giant hand made contact with it. The strength path giant hand slammed down. With a loud bang, the ground collapsed on itself. Many unlucky mortal GU masters were smashed into meat paste. The mortal GU masters at the periphery felt the intense wind caused by the hand, they scattered everywhere and screamed for help, they had no fighting spirit. The strength path giant hand rose into the air, a large crevice in the shape of a bloody handprint was left on the ground. My tribesmen, my kin, I will protect them. Dongfang Chongfan saw this and lost control again, his voice became high-pitched. Dongfang Chongfan saw this and knew a problem was arising, but he could not stop it. This was Dongfang Yuliang's will. The biggest internal threat. The eyes of the demons were shining, they attacked furiously. Dongfang Yuliang disregarded them, he flew down urgently to save everyone. Damn it, damn it. As the danger of death approached, the Miniman GU immortal surnamed Fang shouted out, he had to manipulate minuscule mountain, flying to the top of Dongfang Yuliang's head, blocking attacks for him due to the agreement. Minuscule mountain shook intensely from the attack of the demons, countless small rocks fell apart and crumbled. Dongfang Chongfan, you've caused me great harm. The Miniman GU immortal shouted in anger and regret. Fang Yuan saw that this method was effective, he laughed loudly as he intentionally slowed down, chasing and killing the escaping Dongfang tribesmen as he attracted Dongfang Yuliang's attention. But while Dongfang Yuliang was flying in the air, he was suppressed and Dongfang Chongfan regained control once more. Dongfang Chongfan realized that although he was injured, his surroundings were clear now, only a few GU immortals were right behind after him. There was a high chance he could break past the encirclement and join up with old Lord Kenyang. Because Dongfang Yuliang had charged out without caring about life or death, Minuscule Mountain paid a huge price and took the damage in his place. Such a desperate and dangerous act had been out of everyone's expectations, it gave him a chance instead. You fools, I gave you a chance but you're letting him escape. Fang Yuan pointed at the demons and scolded. Unfettered Scholar and the others were furious and anxious, they had no time to care about Fang Yuan, they shouted. Chase him, don't let him escape. At once, the intense combat had become a battle of pursuit. Dongfang Chongfan was escaping and breaking out of his encirclement, success was in front of him, but the band of demons was doggedly on his tail, they threatened to surround him again. On another side, old Lord Kenyang was trying to reach Dongfang Chongfan, but Fairy Li Shan remained in his way, blocking his paths. At once, the two sides were like headless chickens, they were flying around chaotically in the air. Their flying route was completely messy, but this showed the strong foundations of the GU Immortals in flying. These GU Immortals were all at least flying masters. Mortal GU masters did not have the time or effort to learn flying, but GU Immortals did. Flying was a very useful method for advancing or retreating, almost all GU Immortals spent a lot of time on it, having a good grasp of this ability. Quick, kill some more Dongfang GU masters, make him lose control. Unfettered Scholar shouted. Fang Yuan was on it already, he used the strength path giant hands to grab a few Dongfang GU masters, before squeezing them to death. His methods were ruthless and savage, it had made Dongfang Chongfan lose control many times. But there were limited numbers of Dongfang GU masters, and Dongfang Chongfan refused to go down. At this moment, someone shouted, Qi Min captured many Dongfang tribesmen earlier, he wanted to sell them as slaves. Qi Min was furious, these were resources that he had spent a lot of time to gather. Qi Min, unfettered scholars shouted while pursuing. Make a sacrifice now, we will compensate you double after the battle. Pai Shui Han said grimly. Qi Min wanted to reject them, but seeing that Pai Shui Han was oozing with killing intent, he shuddered, okay. He took out many Dongfang Jiu masters from his immortal aperture, killing them in front of Dongfang Chongfan. This made the remaining wills extremely furious, they came out one by one. Forget the other Dongfang Jiu immortals' wills, the most crucial one was Dongfang Yu Liang's will. He was still immortal at rank 5, he had a deeper bond with the tribesmen, every time his will took control, it gave Dongfang Chongfan, minuscule mountain, and old Lord Kenyang huge problems. As time continued to pass, Fairy Li Shan could not obstruct old Lord Kenyang anymore, they successfully joined up. But the band of demons had gathered a huge advantage already from Dongfang Chongfan's loss of control. Their victory was assured, minuscule mountain was full of cracks, even while it flew in the air, rocks were falling off from it. Old Lord Kenyang had suffered many attacks in order to take care of Dongfang Chongfan, his body was heavily injured, even his beard was dyed red from blood. This was the most dispiriting battle he had ever had. During the battle, he had asked Dongfang Chongfan the final portions of the possession method, but would Dongfang Chongfan dare to tell him? Once he told him, old Lord Kenyang would flee. Dongfang tribe was only cooperating with Immortal Crane sect, the possession method was the biggest bargaining chip. Retreat, we cannot stay here. Old Lord Kenyang sighed, he transmitted this to Dongfang Chongfan. As long as we live, there will always be more opportunities in the future. The Miniman Gu Immortal was afraid that Dongfang Chongfan would continue fighting, he quickly added this. Dongfang Chongfan smiled bitterly, do you think I am someone who cannot understand the situation? We'll retreat. He gave Jade Pool Blessed Land another longing, he was inwardly filled with anger and hatred, but he had made up his mind. Temporary losses were nothing, a true champion could give things up and retreat. But right at this moment, Fang Yuan laughed, another Dongfang tribe assembly point. Dongfang Chongfan, watch closely, I am going to slaughter them. Shameless scoundrel, you dare to bully me to this extent. Dongfang Chongfan was furious, he attacked with myriad star fireflies. Fang Yuan saw the imposing attack and smiled, he did not stay any longer, he evaded the attack. But this myriad star fireflies attack did not chase after him, it curved and flew down, slamming into the Dongfang tribe assembly point. The Dongfang tribesmen who were hiding inside were all slaughtered in an instant, not a single person was left alive. At once, even the demonic path Gu immortals were shocked by Dongfang Chongfan's ruthlessness. Rather than let you threaten me, I would rather destroy this weakness while I am in control of this body. Brave souls of Dongfang tribe, listen to me, I, Dongfang Chongfan, will exact revenge for you. The hatred and grudge of today's events, I will return them 1,000-fold to you demonic scoundrels. Dongfang Chongfan's tears flowed down his cheeks, he spoke in deep pain. Hearing his anguished voice, even the daring and lawless demonic path immortals felt a chill in their hearts. If the number one person in wisdom path escapes, and plots against me in the future, the band of demons were feeling wary, fierce lights emerged in their eyes, they had overflowing killing intent. At this point, both sides were almost running dry, they had expended a huge amount of resources. Initially, it was just a battle for benefits, but now, they could not stop anymore, such a deep-seated hatred was established, there was no way else to resolve this. Go! Dongfang Chongfan suddenly flew into the air, opening Jade Pool Blessed Land's doors and flying out. Chapter 804, Old Schemer vanishes without a trace. Chase after him, the band of demons were relentless. But Jade Pool Blessed Land's entrance closed, only a few Gu immortals had followed outside from behind, the rest had to change their directions and fly out from the hole that was made earlier. When they flew out of Jade Pool Blessed Land, even though they could still see Dongfang Chongfan's figure, he was already far away in the sky. Everyone was like a meteor, flying through the sky, shrill sounds could be heard. The intense winds brushed against them, everyone used their own movement techniques, but the distance was huge, they were already behind from the start, eventually, their distance started widening. Fang Yuan was wearing a black robe and had 6 wings, his speed raised from time to time, it was due to the activation of Iron Crown Eagle Strength Gu. But even so, there was quite a difference compared to the others, he gradually fell behind, becoming the second wave of immortals. The first wave included Dongfang Chongfan, Old Lord Kenyang, Minuscule Mountain, Unfettered Scholar, Zhou Ping, Fairy Li Shan, and Peacock Flying Immortal Hiruo. The second wave included Pai Shui Han, He Lu Lan, Fang Yuan, Lu Qingming, Qi Shimin, and Divine Lord Tiandu. As for Half Moon Brutamaster, Zhou Zan, Shihu and the others, they had been left in the dust, their figures could not even be seen, there was no third wave at all. After flying for 15 minutes, Old Lord Kenyang sighed deeply, he transmitted to Dongfang Chongfan solemnly, I will block Unfettered Scholar and 2 other people for you at most, you will give me the final part of the method. Don't mess around, my patience is running out. You also know that my sect has wisdom path GU Immortals, with the information I already have, I can deduce the final steps. Except that I will need to spend a lot of time, effort, and funds, that is all. Dongfang Chongfan was quiet for a moment, he did not dare to anger Old Lord Kenyang, otherwise, he might turn on him, he had to give him the possession method. Old Lord Kenyang got what he wanted, but he did not go back on his words, he went back to the huge battle and blocked Unfettered Scholar, Lu Qingming and Peacock Flying Immortal Hiruo. Meanwhile, the other demonic path immortals chased Dongfang Chongfan relentlessly. After a while, Zhou Ping stopped. I am unresigned, I have 2 immortal level movement killer moves, but at this crucial time, my immortal essence is not enough. He screamed, he felt deeply regretful, he could only watch as the immortals flew away. A while later, Divine Lord Tiandu also started to slow down, he sighed, everyone, please fight valiantly, I am unable to go any further. If they did not kill Dongfang Chongfan, there would be huge problems later. Divine Lord Tiandu landed while deeply frowning. Brother Fang, I am not in a good position. Thank you for saving me even though your life was in danger, at this point, you should leave quickly, I will draw them away. A while later, Dongfang Chongfan showed an exhausted expression as he secretly transmitted to the Miniman GU Immortal. The Miniman GU Immortal was overjoyed, but he hesitated, are you really letting me go? But our agreement is not over yet. Dongfang Chongfan interrupted him, throwing Minuscule Mountain out as he said, Brother Fang, say no more, all the best. Minuscule Mountain. Fairy Li Shan immediately changed her direction and tried to grab at Minuscule Mountain. Minuscule Mountain shook, turning into a jade light as it flew towards the left. At the same time, Dongfang Chongfan's tired expression vanished, his speed raised by 30% as he continued to escape. The two split up, the demonic cultivators behind hesitated. But Fairy Li Shan had no hesitation, she pursued Minuscule Mountain. Compared to the tough Dongfang Chongfan, the Miniman GU Immortal on Minuscule Mountain was weaker, and Minuscule Mountain was more beneficial to her. Before leaving, she had sent a transmission to Fang Yuan and He Lu Lan for help. After all, it was hard for one person to catch Minuscule Mountain, if there was help, it would be far easier. He Lu Lan did not hesitate, she immediately followed after Fairy Li Shan. But Fang Yuan rejected her outright, he did not stop chasing Dongfang Chongfan. Thus, Fang Yuan, Pai Shui Han, and Qi Shimin chased after Dongfang Chongfan, while He Lu Lan and Fairy Li Shan went after Minuscule Mountain. Disregarding Fairy Li Shan's side, Dongfang Chongfan had successfully used Minuscule Mountain to lure 2 strong foes away, his speed was even faster now as he quickly widened the gap between him and his pursuers. Pai Shui Han was anxious, he shouted to Qi Shimin, why aren't you taking out the captives? Qi Shimin's movement killer move was a chariot, it gave off the aura of Immortal GU. He was sitting on the chariot, his expression grim. He had kept many of the Dongfang tribe captives in his immortal aperture, his motive was to leave them for the end, to deal a fatal blow to Dongfang Chongfan. But now, he had no choice but to use them in advance. Old scoundrel Dongfang, your tribesmen are in my hands, fight us directly, you cannot escape. Qi Shimin said this as he killed one GU master in his hand, taking out another one after that. Dongfang Chongfan sneered and chuckled coldly, he continued to fly forward. After Qi Shimin killed the 13th captive, he finally managed to get Dongfang Chongfan to make a mistake, the distance between him and Fang Yuan's group shortened again. But Dongfang Chongfan quickly suppressed the threat, after regaining control of the body, he flew again and moved ahead. The two sides were in a deadlock, their distance shrunk at times and lengthened at other times. Along the way, they met several GU Immortals, they were either in the righteous path or demonic path, some obstructed them, some chased them, some left immediately and did not want to get involved in this messy situation. An hour later, only Dongfang Chongfan, Fang Yuan, Pai Shui Han, and Qi Shimin were left. If I do not die from this, I will definitely reward all of you well. Dong Fang Chongfan was already quite far ahead, laughing loudly as he escaped. Fang Yuan and the others had grim expressions. These three pursuers were originally from the second wave. With their speed, they could not catch up to Dong Fang Chongfan after he raised his speed. The longer this dragged on, the greater Dong Fang Chongfan's advantage. He was gradually suppressing the internal threats in his body. Even though Qi Shimin was killing more Dong Fang tribesmen now, Dong Fang Chongfan was losing control less often than before. What do we do? Pai Shui Han, Fang Yuan, and Qi Shimin looked at each other. They saw anxiety but also anticipation in each other's eyes. Both of you, if you have any methods, please use them, otherwise, it will be too late. Qi Shimin said. Fang Yuan and Pai Shui Han shook their heads. These three were at their wits' end already. They had to treasure their precious immortal essence beads. If they had any methods left, they would have used it already. Seeing that Dong Fang Chongfan was going to get away from them, the three pursuers showed intense looks of disappointment. But at this moment, Dong Fang Chongfan lost control again. Dong Fang Yuliang's voice was screaming, his speed fell drastically. Fang Yuan and the others were overjoyed. Qi Shimin shouted. As expected, killing the captives had an effect. Quick, kill him, we can still search his soul later. Fang Yuan and the others quickly got ahead, but at this time, Dong Fang Chongfan's expression changed. He showed a smile, as if his plot had succeeded. Oh no, it's a trap. Fang Yuan quickly retreated, but it was too late to escape. He only saw a ray of starlight. It moved extremely quickly. It grazed Fang Yuan's shoulder and pierced into Qi Shimin's forehead. Qi Shimin's expression was frozen into a look of utter disbelief. At the next moment, his head exploded. The chariot disassembled as he fell to the ground weakly. Be it Fang Yuan or Pai Shui Han, they were shocked and nervous. It was already so late into the battle. To think that Dong Fang Chongfan still had such a powerful trump card. He had truly unfathomable depths. If you pursue me any further, Qi Shimin can serve as an example. Dong Fang Chongfan laughed loudly, escaping again. Earlier, he lost control. That was only him acting, a trap. Qi Shimin was an enslavement path GU immortal. He had a weaker body than normal immortals. Because he was chasing fervently, he was slightly careless, but he actually got killed in one move. Chase him. He is bluffing. Pai Shui Han was stunned for a moment before reacting. Fang Yuan was also pursuing closely. After this attack, he really has nothing left. Although his tone was certain, Fang Yuan did not believe it completely inwardly. If it were other GU immortals, that would definitely be the case. But it was Dong Fang Chongfan, this old scoundrel. This was not a certainty. After Qi Shimin died, there were no captives left to lure Dong Fang Chongfan to lose control. This was terrible news. If they stayed and looted Qi Shimin's immortal aperture and immortal GU, then they would not make it in time. Dong Fang Chongfan would manage to escape. Honestly speaking, even though they were still chasing him, Fang Yuan and Pai Shui Han did not have much hope within themselves. But quickly, there was another change. Dong Fang Chongfan's speed became slower. His speed fell by 30% compared to earlier. With this, Fang Yuan and Pai Shui Han saw hope. As expected, his burst speed has its limits. Think about it, that is an immortal killer move. If he could use it for extended periods of time, he would have used it long ago. Maybe his immortal essence was used up. Fang Yuan and Pai Shui Han interacted. They decided to work together for now, to leave Dong Fang Chongfan no room to escape. They were also worried that if they fought between themselves, at the crucial moment, they might end in failure. But just as they were getting closer to Dong Fang Chongfan, his body flickered as another figure appeared, turning into a second Dong Fang Chongfan. This, Fang Yuan was shocked. Pai Shui Han gasped. Oh no, I've heard long ago that Dong Fang Chongfan had a split shadow immortal GU in his hands. To think that it was true. The two bodies had the same aura, they were identical, there was nothing that could differentiate them. They flew off in two different directions. Even though the pursuers were using investigative methods, they could not find any flaws. There was no choice. Fang Yuan and Pai Shui Han could only split up. In the end, not long after Fang Yuan went on his chase, Dong Fang Chongfan split out another figure and flew towards the left. Fang Yuan was joyful and also worried. This indicated that he had been chasing the right figure, but he did not expect that this old scoundrel Dong Fang could create another split shadow. Fang Yuan quickly took out some Dong Fang tribe GU master captives in his immortal aperture, shouting in the same manner again, Dong Fang Chongfan, I will kill your tribesmen again. Fang Yuan had used his strength path giant hands earlier to attack the assembly points. He killed large numbers of Dong Fang tribesmen. But in this process, he had left a backup plan. He secretly kept a good number of the captives in his immortal aperture. But the two Dongfang Chong fans did not pay heed to him. Fang Yuan's plan did not succeed. He could not differentiate them, he could only grit his teeth as he chose the left one randomly, pursuing it. Along the way, in just a short while, Dongfang Chong fan created another clone and flew in two directions. Fang Yuan felt anything but reassured in his mind. What should he do now? His immortal essence was almost used up completely, the strength path giant hands could only move slowly, and ordinary mortal killer moves could not even damage Dongfang Chong fan's clothes. Chapter 805. A short break, another battle. Unable to determine the fake, Fang Yuan could only guess and make some baseless choices. Eventually, when it was night, he watched as Dongfang Chong fang's body gradually faded and vanished. In its place was a lump of GU worms. Fang Yuan collected this lump of GU worms. The split shadow immortal GU was not inside, instead, there were only some rank 5 GU worms that were mixed with a heavy immortal GU aura. I lost him, only Pai Shui Han's end is left, but the chances are low. Most likely, Dongfang Chong fan escaped. Sigh, as expected of a legendary character, the leader of a super force, he has so many trump cards. The most pressing matter now is to return to Jade Pool Blessed Land and plunder the final portion of the resources. Fang Yuan swept away his emotions, he immediately flew back. Along the way, he contacted Fairy Li Shan and Heilu Lan, but they were still chasing after Minuscule Mountain. They promised him a large amount of compensation if he went to help them out. Fang Yuan fell into a difficult situation with two choices in front of him. One was Jade Pool Blessed Land. It was rich in resources, but such a long time had passed. The other demonic path GU immortals might have looted it entirely already. The other was Minuscule Mountain, if he could obtain Minuscule Mountain. He inwardly felt moved. As night descended, the temperature became lower, the night sky was filled with dark clouds, the air was stuffy. A moment later, intense winds blew, it rained while accompanied by thunder and lightning. Dongfang Chong fan sat on the ground, his expression was white as chalk, he looked extremely pale. The body that he had just possessed was heavily injured, some injuries were so severe that bones could be seen, his flesh and blood were exposed to the air openly. Dongfang Chong fan's aura was weak, he frowned deeply, to think that the possession I underwent caused such a huge and unexpected accident. Indeed, an act of defying heaven incurs the wrath of heaven and earth. Thankfully, towards the end, I gave up Minuscule Mountain and drew some of the enemies away. I also gave up Split Shadow Immortal GU to escape successfully. At once, Dongfang Chong fan felt lingering fear, relief, joy, solemnness, sadness, and hatred. All of these complex emotions were mixing together. The injuries on my body are just a small matter, they are not fatal. The important thing is to get rid of the internal threat. The immortal essence I accumulated was mostly used on possession. After this battle, they have been consumed entirely. The battle of wills is my only chance at defeating these 9 wills. Dongfang Chong fan thought over it, he shut his eyes and entered a state of meditation. In truth, with his current terrible situation, he had no other options. He was at his wit's end, he was like a long river that had dried up until the riverbed was exposed. To be able to escape from the pursuers in this state and survive, it was truly nothing short of a miracle. Right now, if he hesitated slightly, or refused to undergo the battle of wills, his control over this body would be completely lost. He might as well engage in the battle of wills now while he still had some foundation and mental energy, by converting all of his remaining mental energy into his own will army. The battle of wills was vicious, it did not concern one's cultivation level, only the wills in themselves. But Dongfang Chong fan had no other method now, he had to do this. His will rose from his mind, it instantly converted all of his foundation into a huge stream. The huge stream flew out of his mind, it was like a waterfall from the 9 heavens, pouring down from above. With an immense force, it charged towards all of the other wills in the body. Fight, let's fight together, that old scoundrel's will is stronger than any of ours. We have to cooperate, that is the only chance we have at winning. The wills of Dongfang tribe's 8 GU immortals, as well as Dongfang Yu Liang's will, joined forces, they resisted Dongfang Chong fan's will. A total of 10 wills mixed together, fighting chaotically. Both sides had no alternatives now, if they took a step back, they would fall into the abyss of failure, their existence would be wiped out. This, from the start, was a battle to the death. Both sides were equally matched, but a moment later, Dongfang Chong fan's will was at a disadvantage. While fighting with the band of demons, Dongfang Chongfan had only been suppressing the wills forcefully. He did not find out how troublesome they were to deal with. Only now when they fought, he realized that these wills were tough as iron, they were as firm as steel. All of them bore deep hatred towards Dongfang Chongfan. Dongfang Chongfan, you deceived us, you betrayed us. For your own selfish desire, you killed all of us, just for your own sake. Old and scheming, we were all wrong about you, you only treated us as your pawns. If you want to kill us, don't think of surviving either. Die together, we will die together. It was you harmed us, you harmed the entirety of Dongfang tribe. Right now, Jade Pool Blessed Land is being looted by the band of demons, nothing is left of thousands of years of management from our tribe. These wills shouted, with great anguish, they formed into a tide and attacked from everywhere in the body. Dongfang Chongfan's will was forced back, he quickly squeezed back into the mind. The mind was Dongfang Chongfan's final base. Once these wills broke through it, even if Dongfang Chongfan's soul was intact, he would have no way of winning, defeat was imminent. Impressive, impressive. These wills have the resolve to die, they are overwhelmed with rage due to betrayal, and most importantly, due to the heavenly tribulation's influence, they were strengthened in an unspeakable way. At this moment, Dongfang Chongfan could feel deep animosity from heaven and earth. He walked on a path that defied heaven, he tried to revive himself, the terrifying backlash caused him to be at death's doors again. If he took a step back, it would be the abyss of failure. But Dongfang Chongfan was not flustered under such crisis. In fact, the more dangerous this situation became, the more his fighting spirit was stirred. In his life, he had always gone against the norm. Ever since he started his cultivation and led his tribe to prosperity, he had overcome countless difficulties, he had endured immense pressure, and defeated numerous foes. This time, my enemy is this world itself. Even if my body dies of old age, and my soul shrivels, my will is never going to submit. Dongfang Chongfan understood. In a battle of wills, he could not feel discouraged or relaxed, he could not waver in the slightest. Not only did he not waver, he was more determined now, his fighting spirit soared as his battle strength surged in this battle of wills. This was the spirit that he had nurtured after countless trials and obstacles, he would never yield. The fighting spirit to resist until the very end was engraved into his bones. At once, the counter-attack of his will began, it swept down from the mind, pushing down forcefully. The two sides were fighting using Dongfang Yuliang's body as the battlefield. Dongfang Yuliang's head was Dongfang Chongfan's headquarters. Even though he was almost forced back in by the 9 wills, right now, his will was charging down from his headquarters, down the neck, all the way to his chest. The GU Immortal's wills became even more furious, they defended together, like a tortoise shell, they had a strong defense at the chest, refusing to move backwards. The battle of wills went into a stalemate. The 8 GU Immortal wills were defending Dongfang Yuliang's will, they were like 8 thick shields protecting him. Dongfang Yuliang's will was growing in quantity. Out of the 10 wills, only Dongfang Chongfan and Dongfang Yuliang's wills could recover and grow. This was because the former had undergone possession, his soul was in this body and he occupied the mind, he could replenish his will from this source. The latter was the original owner of the body was most compatible with him. The entire body was Dongfang Yuliang's base, as long as his body was not destroyed, his will could recover. The key to victory in this intense and dangerous battle of wills was in Dongfang Yuliang and Dongfang Chongfan, the wills of this pair of master and disciple. Compared to them, even though the 8 GU Immortals' wills were strong and abundant, they had no source to replenish themselves. They knew this clearly, thus they chose to sacrifice themselves and protect Dongfang Yuliang's will, to allow him to grow stronger. Oh no, I purposely left the injuries on my body and did not heal them, I wanted to slow down Dongfang Yuliang's recovery speed. But if we continue this, my will is going to be expended continuously, while Dongfang Yuliang's will is recovering and growing. Thinking of this, Dongfang Chongfan became calmer and even colder. He knew that at this rate, he would definitely die. By now, he had to bet with his life, to use his will to influence the other wills, and destroy them from the inside. This method was the fiercest, and also the most dangerous one. But I have no choice, then let's do it. Dongfang Chongfan shouted, all of his will that had been gathered together broke apart, it flowed like a river as it swallowed the other 9 wills, engulfing them. The contest of the mind, a battle of willpower, everyone's perseverance had led to the final clash at this moment. The hatred of murder is irreconcilable. The GU Immortals' wills shouted. My Dongfang tribe was destroyed in your hands. Dongfang Yuliang was extremely furious. Dongfang Chongfan's will was calm. As long as I am alive, I can lead Dongfang tribe back to its glorious days. Do you think I am not anguished? Do you remember the story in less than the legends of Ren Zhu greater than in order to walk out of ordinary abyss, Ren Zhu abandoned even his own daughter. How can you say he abandoned her? It was self-Gu which caused trouble. Dongfang Yu Liang's will rebuked. Dongfang Chongfan sneered coldly. Whose self-Gu is that? That is Ren Zhu's self-Gu. Those were Ren Zhu's deepest thoughts. In order to stop being ordinary, it was not a problem if one sacrificed their wives or children, let alone merely the tribe. As a dirty and despicable person, whatever you see is dirty and despicable. The Gu Immortal's wills shouted back angrily. Enough. Without me, Dongfang Chongfan, Dongfang tribe would have perished or been annexed long ago. Would you have been able to reach this point? Would Dongfang tribe be as glorious and prosperous without me? I nurtured you all, I taught you, I gave you your achievements. I planted this tree, this was my achievement, and you. You were just sitting in the shade of my tree, eating the fruits of my labor. Such words were like thunder, dealing a huge blow to the 9 wills. The Gu Immortal's wills were in a torrential wave, they could only be swept along. All of the scenes in his life were playing in reverse, they quickly filled Dongfang Chongfan's mind. In Jade Pool Blessed Land, while engaging with the band of demons, the battle that was perilous and fatal. The heavenly tribulation and earthly calamity, his stubborn resistance, all to undergo possession. At the moment of life and death, his ambition that did not waver, his vision of the sky that turned dark. Deducing the location of immortal Gu for all of the righteous path Gu Immortals, establishing the alliance agreement. In a dark and gloomy hall, he sat alone as he made up his mind to defy heaven. He sneered, even if you prevent me from obtaining lifespan Gu, so what? If heaven wants me to die, then I will defy heaven. Chapter 806. Outcome concluded, turning around and leaving. Dongfang Chongfan's recollection continued. The heavenly tribulation and earthly calamity slowly ended. He was covered in injuries. Dongfang tribe's newly advanced Gu Immortal was paying respects to him in the air. Thank you for your assistance, First Supreme Elder. He himself was stroking his beard. That you can advance to Gu Immortal is my greatest wish. Now, our Dongfang tribe has strengthened again. The battle ended in defeat, the righteous path Gu Immortals were sighing to themselves. Oh, Dongfang tribe cannot be suppressed. Fighting alone against 5, he really did it. This wisdom path killer move will definitely become renowned in Northern Plains. What is this move? Starlight filled the sky, it was shining in brilliance, he stood in the air proudly as he laughed. This move is called Myriad Star Fireflies. Oh, you killed a disciple of my sect, Immortal Crane sect, but you want to cooperate with us. In this world, there are only eternal benefits, there are no eternal enemies or friends. I have found out a thing or two about the arrangements that you in Central Continent have been planning in Northern Plains. Dongfang tribe is being ostracized by the righteous path. To turn this situation around, how can a single Gu Immortal like me succeed? My aspiration is to promote my tribe and bring glory to our name. I am certain that you can sense my sincerity. He said calmly. HMPH, you are just a poor Gu Immortal, on what basis can you cooperate with Immortal Crane sect? I have a lifespan extension method for Gu Immortals, it is named Possession, and it was created by Giant Sun Immortal Venerable. What, is that true? 88 True Yong Building, True Inheritance Secluded Domain. He was coughing blood, escaping pathetically among the array of flying True Inheritance meteors, it was like a web of death. But in the end, even after all his scheming, he did not get what he wanted. He smiled bitterly. Forget it, I cannot force this anymore, I will choose you. When he was young, spare me. The opponent who brought him shame was kneeling on the ground, begging for mercy. You should not be like this. He shook his head slowly, sighing. I was blind, I was too daring, please spare me, young Master Dongfang. His opponent sprawled on the ground, begging pitifully. If your attitude was more firm, and you were unmoved in the face of death, I would definitely have spared your dog life. But now, he attacked abruptly, dealing a fatal blow. The head flew up and landed on the ground, it rolled for a short distance. Dying with a lingering grievance. He turned around and left. Too disappointing, why did I lose to a person like you back then? And also, that fortuitous encounter. Young man, what is your name? The old beggar asked warmly, his hair was purple and messy, it was like uncut grass. Dongfang Chongfan, he said. Chongfan, this name is very incompatible with you. The purple-haired beggar's eyes were dark like the abyss, he could see his own shadow from within them. The beggar looked at him for a while before saying, "You are a good child, I will pass my most important inheritance to you. I believe that without any unexpected surprises, you will definitely make a name for yourself." Dongfang tribe, Meng tribe, and Gong tribe, these three super forces had gathered for a fighting competition. He was kneeling on the ground, in utter defeat. His opponent mocked him. "Ha ha ha, Dongfang Guangyao, you want to bring honor to your tribe. Your Dongfang tribe is going to be history. You only have one dying old Gu Immortal left. In some years, your Dongfang tribe will be kicked out from the ranks of super forces. This is good too, as someone who shares the same bloodline of Giant Sun as you, I feel deeply ashamed for all of you." He was staring with wide-opened eyes, he struggled to get up. Under everyone's gazes, his opponent walked up and stepped on his head in the arena. "Ha ha ha, Dongfang Guangyao, according to the rules of our battle, you have to promise me one thing. I really hate your name, it does not suit you. I'll give you a new name, for the rest of your life, you will use this name. Let's go with Dongfang Chongfan. He, this suits you better," his opponent said in a mocking tone. He clenched his fists, his eyes were bright red, anger was exploding in his body, almost bursting his blood vessels. But he was too weak. "Okay, from today onwards, I will change my name to Dongfang Chongfan." He squeezed these words out reluctantly. "Ha ha ha, obedient, good. Did everyone hear that? From now on, he will be called Dongfang Chongfan." His opponent raised his feet and walked away. He was sprawled on the ground, his injuries were severe, he could not move. But in his heart, he screamed, Even if I change my name to Dongfang Chongfan, I will become extraordinary, I will be able to move freely and unhindered over the world, I will manipulate the masses. I swear, I will definitely take revenge for this with my own hands, in this life, I will lead Dongfang tribe back to its glorious days. This is my aspiration, the aspiration of Dongfang Chongfan, heaven and earth can bear witness to it." The 9 wills that were engulfed experienced Dongfang Chongfan's entire life in this instant. At once, they understood Dongfang Chongfan, they understood that deep within his heart, he was greatly anguished by the death of his tribesmen from the loss of Jade Pool blessed land. This man, Dongfang Chongfan, even if we are enemies, I must say this, incredible. Fine, to lose to a person like this, it is not a dishonor. Dongfang tribe, in your hands, maybe it would rise up again. Master, the 9 wills conceded, some faded, even if some still resisted, they were engulfed by Dongfang Chongfan's will. My name may be Dongfang Chongfan, but in this life, I refuse to be ordinary. If a tree collapses, I will plant a new one. Everyone, give me time. I swear, I will definitely take revenge for this with my own hands, in this life, I will lead Dongfang tribe back to its glorious days. This is my aspiration, the aspiration of Dongfang Chongfan, heaven and earth can bear witness to it. This will's voice sounded like a clap of thunder from the outside world. Under this will, the 9 wills collapsed, they no longer resisted him, they vanished into nothingness. The battle of wills was extremely perilous, but he won in the end. Dongfang Chongfan opened his eyes slowly, they were flickering with countless crystal lights. His eyes opened wide, he realized that out of nowhere, a black-robed Gu Immortal was in front of him. It was Fang Yuan. "How did you find me?" Dongfang Chongfan calmed down, although he seemed exhausted, he was extremely calm, it was as if he still had some sort of trump card. Fang Yuan chuckled. "I guessed it, I chased after your split shadow and lost you. Just when I was about to leave, I had a thought, earlier when you killed Qi Shimin, the situation was too strange. After checking the traces, I realized that you had dug an underground cavern not far away and hid here. It was all luck." "This is not luck." Dongfang Chongfan shook his head slowly. "My immortal killer move could create 30 split shadows, but they did not waste much of your time. I purposely left Qi Shimin's corpse alone and intentionally let his immortal Gu fly away, the traces were obvious but you did not go after them. The most dangerous place is the safest place. Above this cavern, there is an ordinary pink flower rabbit den, but that did not deceive you. Your intelligence is far scarier than your strength. It is really strange, why did you cultivate strength path instead of wisdom path?" Fang Yuan's lips twitched. "Hey, are these the final words of praise from a dying person?" Dongfang Chongfan shook his head again, he smiled faintly. "It is a pity that you came slightly late. If you were earlier, even by a few breaths' time, I would still be in the battle of wills, it would be extremely dangerous and I would not have time to resist you. But now..." Dongfang Chongfan dragged out his words, he showed immense confidence in his expression. as expected of the number 1 wisdom path immortal in Northern Plains. Fang Yuan saw this and praised. His tone was calm, there was no killing intent as he said warmly, like he was talking to a good friend. Man proposes, heaven disposes, if this method fails, I will leave immediately and acknowledge your superior strength, retreating from you in the future should we meet again. Saying so, he took out a person from his immortal aperture. This was a young girl. Having a delicate body and watery eyes, she wore a light yellow dress, she looked extremely gentle. This was Dongfang Qingyu. When Fang Yuan used the Strength Path giant hands to capture Dongfang tribesmen, he unexpectedly found her, secretly keeping her in his immortal aperture. Seeing this girl, Dongfang Chongfan's expression changed. In an instant, even this body started reacting. The will in the body that was nearly dispersed became firm as ever, it rose up and instantly regained control. Sister, he shouted. But soon, even though it was just a breath's time, Dongfang Yu Liang's will was suppressed again. Dongfang Chongfan regained control, his eyes were spewing fire as he looked at Fang Yuan with much anger. Fang Yuan laughed heartily, he assessed the situation as he said, Dongfang Yu Liang, your sister is in my hands, watch closely. Saying so, he stretched out his monstrous zombie hand and grabbed at the young girl's left shoulder, pulling. Crack, Dongfang Qingyu's body shook, before she let out a shrill scream. Her entire left arm was ripped off, the huge wound was spewing blood. Dongfang Chongfan's pupils shrunk until they were pin-sized, he shouted angrily, damn it. Before he finished his words, he lost control again, Dongfang Yuliang emerged. Sister, I will kill you, you dare to harm her, you actually dare to harm her. Dongfang Yuliang screamed intensely, he had gone into madness, tears were bursting out from his eyes. Good, this is how it should be. Fang Yuan laughed sinisterly, the Strength Path giant hand flew out. The giant hand was about to grab Dongfang Yuliang, when a light pillar burst out from his body. The light pillar stopped the Strength Path giant hand, Dongfang Chongfan screamed with much fear and anger, a Grand Gu Immortal going as far as to do this to a mortal, you are so despicable. Fang Yuan raised his head and laughed, his monstrous claw impacted. With a loud sound, he pressed Dongfang Qingyu's head into her chest completely. Sister, Dongfang Yuliang screamed at the top of his lungs, this was the most cruel blow he had ever suffered in his life. Dongfang Chongfan lost control, the defensive light pillar scattered. Boom, Fang Yuan grabbed with his hand, and Dongfang Yuliang's body was smashed into meat paste. Dongfang Chongfan's soul wanted to escape, but he had just gone through an intense battle, his soul was severely weakened, how could he escape? Fang Yuan easily caught him. The inheritance of the number 1 wisdom path immortal in Northern Plains was obtained. An intense shock wave burst out, once the Gu Immortal died, the immortal aperture would land on the ground, forming an ownerless blessed land. Fang Yuan had expected this, he used his methods and concealed this shock wave to the best of his ability. He squinted as he watched the blessed land form, he did not intrude it forcefully. When the blessed land was placed down completely, Fang Yuan let out a breath of turbid air, as he gave it a deep glance before turning around and leaving. Chapter 807, People Who Refuse to be Ordinary. Greater than, Chapter 3, Section 18 states. Ren Zhu stepped on his own road of life, he left the door of life and death, but ended up in ordinary abyss. He walked around in the bottom of the abyss, moving forward aimlessly, after a long time, even though he wanted to get out of ordinary abyss, he could not find the exit. In his anguish, Cognition Gu gave him pointers. Human, oh human, you walked in the footsteps of other existences, although this road is simple and safe, if you want to become extraordinary, and walk out of ordinary abyss, there is little hope if you follow other people's trails. Since you walked on your own road of life, all the difficulties need to be challenged by you personally, you need to innovate and carve out your own footprints. After Ren Zhu received this advice, he came to a realization, he was overjoyed as he followed Cognition Gu's instructions. He walked out of the footsteps that already existed, he started to step on the ground that was not too firm. The ground of ordinary abyss was not easy to walk on. Some places were swampy, it was easy to get stuck in the mud, and the stench was foul. Some places were full of thorns, sharp pointy tips were everywhere, Ren Zhu was full of injuries. In some parts of the ground, there were also blade Gu. When Ren Zhu stepped on the ground, his soles were injured by the sharp blades, his injuries became larger as blood flowed, when he walked, the pain could be felt striking deep within himself. The injuries on his feet caused huge pain, Ren Zhu decided to walk softly. But as he walked, Ren Zhu lost his way in ordinary abyss, many times, he would end up on the same route, and waste extra effort traversing the same path. Renzu gradually found out this problem. He was perplexed. How could he not lose his way in the abyss? Cognition Gu told him. Renzu, if you do not want to lose your way, that is entirely up to you. You were afraid of pain, thus you walked softly, the footprints you created were too shallow. When ordinary winds blow in this ordinary abyss, mortal dust will be blown out, and when the dust settles, your footprints will be covered up. If you do not want to lose your way, you have to leave behind deep footprints. Do you understand what I am saying? Renzu nodded. He understood. Thus, he started to walk using heavy steps. Each time, he stepped hard onto the ground, creating a deep footprint. This way, every step he walked would have a deep and clear marking left by him. As long as Renzu saw these markings, he would know that these routes were already explored, and that there was no exit to ordinary abyss there. But good things did not last. After a while, even the deepest footprints would be covered up by the dust. Renzu was extremely troubled. He asked Cognition Gu. Cognition Gu gave him another suggestion. Oh human, even though you left deep footprints, you purposely avoided those thorns and blades. Every time you saw them, you would take a detour. This will not do. You cannot ask to be extraordinary while leading a comfortable life. Renzu got the hint and gritted his teeth. He purposely walked on the paths filled with thorns and blades. Every time he took a step, he would leave a deep footprint behind, no matter how painful it was, no matter how deep the scar was. His sweat and blood seeped into the ordinary soil as he stepped heavily into it. When he left his foot and moved forward, on his footprint, there would be a small stem of grass. The name of this grass was accomplishment. In each of his footprints, there would be a small stem of grass. The stems of grass did not fall when the wind blew, they could not be buried under dust, they grow stubbornly and could be preserved for much longer than the footprints. This way, I would not need to be afraid of losing my way. Renzu was overjoyed. He gritted his teeth and endured the pain. He tenaciously walked on a road filled with thorns and blades. He was not afraid of bleed or perspiring. He walked further and further. He no longer lost his way. He no longer walked in circles. He went into uncharted territories. He used his blood and sweat to nourish the grass under him. They started growing with more vitality and became taller. Gradually, it was no longer grass that grew from his footprints. They had turned into accomplishment trees. As time passed, the small trees grew into larger trees. The leaves were lush and green. They were even bearing fruits. Renzu was tired from walking. He leaned on a tree for rest. He ate the sweet and juicy fruits to recover his stamina. As time passed, he had almost walked in every corner of ordinary abyss. He created a huge forest spanning everywhere he had traveled. Renzu looked at the forest behind him and felt bliss and joy, but even when the forest covered the entirety of ordinary abyss, he did not find the way out of it. He felt anxious and disappointed. He plucked one fruit and put it in his mouth. The fruit no longer tasted sweet, instead, it was bitter and hard to swallow. Renzu felt strange. He tried to find the reason and realized, unknowingly, there had been a second heart growing in his body. This heart was called discontent. With this, anything that he ate would not taste sweet. Renzu ate the bitter fruit as he looked at the boundless forest. He no longer felt joy or bliss. At this time, his original heart, the heart of loneliness, spoke in Self-Gu's voice. Oh human, I have thought about a way to leave the abyss. You can plant a tall and grand accomplishment tree. As long as this tree is taller than ordinary abyss, you will be able to leave this place by climbing onto this tree. Renzu thought about it and his eyes shined. That's right, that is a good idea. But he was troubled again. But how can I plant a tree that is so grand, taller than ordinary abyss? Self-Gu said. You use the blood from your feet to plant this forest. These are all ordinary trees. If you use the blood from your heart, you should be able to plant a great accomplishment tree. Buried under the ground of ordinary abyss are many blades. Why don't you use these blades to stab into your heart? The heart blood that flows out can be used to water the trees. Renzu tried the method that Self-Gu said. The blade stabbed into his heart. It caused an immense pain. This pain was hundreds and thousands of times greater than the ones in his body. Eventually, the trees that were watered grew tall and large. They were much larger than the original trees. Renzu felt pain but also joy. He continued to stab more blades into his heart, causing more heart blood to flow out. The more blades he stabbed, the more heart blood flowed out, and the larger the trees he planted. But even the tallest accomplishment tree was only half the height of ordinary abyss. Renzu continued to persevere, as Hope-Gu accompanied him. When the crown of the tree he planted reached the same height as ordinary abyss, the trunk of the tree cracked open. Inside, a girl came out. Father, father! The girl went into Renzu's embrace. She was very adorable. This was Renzu's fourth child, called Boundless Forest Samsara. Renzu was also overjoyed. He played around with his daughter. When Boundless Forest Samsara was hungry, he would get her fruits to eat. So sweet, so sweet. Boundless Forest Samsara loved to eat fruits. She became healthy and well-fed. She played in the forest every day, feeling immense joy. Renzu still wanted to walk out of the ordinary abyss. Boundless Forest Samsara urged him many times, "Father, why must you exhaust yourself? Isn't staying here great? There are trees to shelter us, fruits to feed us, we can play here forever, life will be peaceful until we die of old age." Renzu shook his head. His attitude was firm. He planted an even greater tree and the branches of the trees left ordinary abyss completely. Boundless Forest Samsara cried. She held onto Renzu's hands as she pleaded, "Father, don't abandon me. I cannot climb trees. If you go, I will be left here alone. I do not know how to plant trees. There are limited fruits. One day, I will die of hunger." Renzu said, "Why would I abandon you? You are my daughter. I will carry you and leave this place." Thus, the father and daughter climbed the tree. The higher they went, the more exhausted Renzu felt. Boundless Forest Samsara was a heavy burden. Even without her, climbing the tree alone was very dangerous, not to mention carrying a person who could not climb the tree at all. The bigger problem was, the tree started wavering and making cracking noises. Cognition Gu told Renzu, "Oh no, Renzu, you are carrying your daughter, it is impossible to get out of ordinary abyss. This is your accomplishment tree, it cannot help others become extraordinary, even your daughter is no exception." Renzu shook his head, "I do not want to give up." Hope Gu also urged him, "Put her down, otherwise, you cannot leave this place. Even though you have the hearts of loneliness and discontent, after planting so many trees, your heart blood is already dry. This is your last hope. Look, the tree is about to collapse." Renzu waved his hand, "I still want to try." Self-Gu saw that Renzu was stubborn from his actions, and seeing that the other Gu worms failed to convince him, it flew out. "Ah, this is killing me." Self-Gu did not discuss with Renzu, it bit on Boundless Forest Samsara's hand. Boundless Forest Samsara shouted in pain. She was furious, she wanted to kill Self-Gu. But this way, she let go of her hands. With the shaking tree, she fell off Renzu's back, crashing and tumbling. After breaking her fall from many branches, she landed on the ground. She was in great pain as she started crying. "Daughter," Renzu shouted, wanting to go down. "It's too late, the tree is going to fall." Self-Gu pushed Renzu. He took a huge step forward subconsciously. He left ordinary abyss. The tree fell. Renzu was at the edge of the cliff. He lost the way back. He shouted helplessly, "Daughter, I will return to save you." Boundless Forest Samsara cried. She said with much sadness and helplessness, "Father, how could you be so cruel to leave me behind to live here alone? I am so scared." Renzu heard her cries and felt extremely anguished. He checked around ordinary abyss, but could not find a way in. "It is no use," Self-Gu said. "Your accomplishment tree, even if it has fallen, is proof of your grandeur. A grand person is extraordinary. How can a person who is not ordinary enter ordinary abyss? Who Immortal blessed land, Dang Hun Palace." Fang Yuan closed greater than in his hands. He sighed as he had a complex expression. Water flowed downwards, while humans moved towards higher ground. Discontented with being ordinary, this was a normal human trait. Dong Fang Chong Fan was like this. Fang Yuan was also like this. "In this aspect, you and I are the same type of people," Fang Yuan said plainly. In front of him, Dong Fang Chong Fan's soul was restrained. He was smiling coldly now as he tried to speak, but because he lost his body, he could not make a sound. However, the resonance caused by his soul was captured by Fang Yuan. He heard the number 1 wisdom path Gu Immortal in Northern Plains say, "If you want to search my soul, go ahead. But to receive my inheritance, it is harder than you think." Chapter 808. Unyielding Spirit, More Soul Searching. "Oh, you are so confident," Fang Yuan smiled. Dong Fang Chong Fan's soul had already become his captive and his life or death was held in Fang Yuan's hands, but he still had such confidence. Fang Yuan, however, was unconcerned and started soul searching. For a moment, Dang Hun Palace was shrouded in darkness, cold wind blew and ghostly cries could be heard lingering in one's ears. In the bleak and strange wind, Fang Yuan revealed his original appearance, a towering immortal zombie body in a greenish-black color. A malevolent appearance, sharp fangs, blood-red eyes, 8 arms that stretched out with their sharp and large monstrous claws, one slowly moving towards Dong Fang Chong Fan's soul. Dong Fang Chongfan's soul involuntarily wavered for a moment at Fang Yuan's vicious appearance, but it shortly calmed down and let Fang Yuan's claw grab it. A soul was not corporeal, but Fang Yuan's claws firmly grabbed onto Dong Fang Chongfan's soul. Afterwards, he activated certain GU worms in his immortal aperture. Soul Search. A formless force emitted from the monstrous claw to Dong Fang Chongfan's soul. Dong Fang Chongfan's soul immediately started trembling from the bursts of pain that were assaulting it. The soul search ended after a while. Fang Yuan pulled back his claw and let go of Dong Fang Chongfan's soul. He was able to plunder much information, but his brows furrowed slightly. There was a lot of information obtained by him, but none of it was of importance. Dong Fang Chongfan's soul turned dull and looser, no longer having the firm compactness and luster from before. However, it revealed a satisfied expression as it resonated, sending its message. In Fang Yuan's ears, he heard Dong Fang Chongfan's soul snickering, "Do you realize now? I might be a wisdom path GU immortal, but soul path and wisdom path are closely connected to each other. I have also delved into soul path, modifying my immortal soul. Your soul searching method is only a mortal technique. That said, even if you had soul path immortal GU, I can conceal the information you want." After a brief pause, Dong Fang Chongfan continued, "Right now, I don't have a physical body, my soul would not receive nourishment. The more you soul search, the more my soul will be consumed. I have plenty of experiences, I can conceal the information up to the moment my soul completely disappears. You simply won't be able to plunder my wisdom path inheritance or my possession technique." He then changed the topic, "But we can make a deal. I will give you my wisdom path inheritance, possession technique and other information. You would assist in my rebirth by finding a physical body for me. Don't worry, I only need a mortal GU master. Since I lost to you, I have to admit my defeat. We can set up an oath. Fairy Li Shan fought together with you. If you don't believe me, you should believe in Mountain Pledge GU, right?" Fang Yuan smiled. "Truly worthy of Dong Fang Chongfan, even in this state, you still haven't given up and want to make a comeback. It's a pity that I have soul strengthening method and can take all the time I need to slowly search your soul. Sooner or later, I will get what I want. Soul strengthening method, he. Dong Fang Chongfan's soul chuckled. "It seems that you don't have a great amount of understanding regarding soul path. I intentionally remodeled my soul for the possession. It increased my chances of succeeding in possession, but also led to normal methods being useless in nourishing and healing my soul, unless you use immortal healing methods. What I am saying is not a lie, you can try as much as you want." "Oh, is that so?" The faint smile on Fang Yuan's face faded as he took out Airsac GU. As far as Dong Fang Chongfan was concerned, since Fang Yuan's soul-searching method was only at mortal level, his soul-healing methods should also be ordinary. He was even more sure of his estimation when he saw Fang Yuan pull out a mortal GU. However, when Fang Yuan broke the Airsac GU and also crumbled the guts GU contained within, Dong Fang Chongfan's soul immediately received nourishment, his soul regained part of its compactness and luster. What is this GU? It is only a mortal GU, but it can heal my soul." For a moment, Dong Fang Chongfan's soul intensely shook, showing an astonished look. Fang Yuan relaxed when he saw this, and smiled, "Guess." Dong Fang Chongfan was an extraordinary character, even if only his soul remained, his intelligence was still there. The soul calmed down before resonating shortly after. "At the mortal level, there is only one thing that can influence my immortal soul, Danghun Mountain's Guts GU. What you crushed just now should be Airsac GU bought from Treasure Yellow Heaven." "Astute, but you only got it half right. Airsac GU is my creation and the Guts GU business is also mine." "What, it's you?" Dong Fang Chongfan's soul blurted out, the cruel reality striking at it fiercely. The soul did not resonate anymore, sinking into deathly silence. Dong Fang Chongfan was filled with despair. He knew he was truly done for this time by landing in the hands of someone like Fang Yuan. He was like meat on the chopping block, Fang Yuan could butcher him whenever he wanted. And Dong Fang Chongfan's soul would not be able to change the situation even if he resisted. After using Guts GU to heal Dong Fang Chongfan's soul completely, Fang Yuan continued to soul search. Dong Fang Chongfan resisted extremely hard, thus the information Fang Yuan obtained was useless for the most part. However, no matter how strong the resistance was, it could not withstand the increasing numbers of soul-searching attempts. Finally, valuable information was obtained by Fang Yuan bit by bit. After spending a long while, Fang Yuan put an end to the soul searching, and pieced together the valuable information among them, forming into detailed information about the resources in Jade Pool Blessed Land. Jade Pool Blessed Land contains 3 large GU breeding grounds. Regretful spiders are ranked at the second, while the one with the largest scale are large cave toads. Their numbers are 3 times that of the regretful spiders, with extremely large numbers of rank 5 large cave toad GU, but Dongfang tribe left them behind in order to induce the creation of an immortal level large cave toad GU. Truly a big ambition. In the far east of Jade Pool Blessed Land, there is a pool which looks ordinary but connects to deep underground. Inside lives a desolate beast horse, a rarely seen 10,000 Li horse. This horse has vigorous life force and is extremely useful. Not only is every part of it immortal GU refinement material, if it is raised underground for a long time, its sweat after dropping on the ground will gradually grow into a G forest. One 10,000 Li horse can mean the endless creation of G forests. Oh, there is this kind of salt bed as well. Amazing, using the ancient desolate beast grey life jellyfish to guard and condense the salinity, forming into a giant salt bed that can produce an immortal material, profound grey salt. A salt bed that specifically produces profound grey salt, truly a great move. Jade Pool Blessed Land also changes between day and night. After 3 days of a bright sky, there is a day of dark night. After the night descends, some areas of Jade Pool Blessed Land will crack and split, revealing 2 deep pools that were underground. One is a jade pool which, although not big, is filled with an immortal material, desolate jade. Another is Canine Pool, in which the walls and bottom are formed from the polished teeth of an immemorial desolate beast Qilin. Under moonlight, it will create moon fangs. This immortal material is like teeth but is as soft as water. Moonlight shines from its surface constantly and it is extremely precious. Besides this, there is also an ancient desolate beast flying frost antelope, an immortal material hidden underground called Hidden Dragon Beard, the immortal material wind whistling bronze inside bronze pool. Dongfang Chongfan was Dongfang tribe's first supreme elder, and naturally was extremely aware of the distribution of resources in Jade Pool Blessed Land. Fang Yuan was greatly moved as he browsed through these pieces of information, and had the impulse to make a trip to Jade Pool Blessed Land to plunder the goods. But he restrained this impulse. During this evening in Northern Plains, he had killed Dongfang Chongfan and captured his soul before moving towards Jade Pool Blessed Land to plunder it again. However, when he reached the Blessed Land, he discovered the fires of combat raging, intense battles were everywhere around him. Dozens of righteous and demonic path GU immortals were plundering and fighting like they had gone mad. The situation was extremely heated. Fang Yuan had used up a lot of his immortal essence and also had to conceal himself. Add in that he was alone, with Fairy Li Shan and He Lu Lan chasing after Minuscule Mountain, and also had attracted old Lord Kenyang's suspicion, he sensibly chose to leave. A sharp light flashed past Fang Yuan's eyes. Jade Pool Blessed Land is like a piece of large juicy meat right now, which is stirring all the GU immortals up, luring them towards it. Forget it, I might have rank 7 battle strength, but my movement and defense aspects are rather inferior, and the situation is also not that good. Hey, Dongfang Chongfan is still plotting against me. Intentionally exposing this information to me to make me tread into the muddy water that is Jade Pool Blessed Land. Fang Yuan's situation was quite bad. It seemed that he was safe, but there were dangers lurking everywhere. He was the main culprit for the collapse of 88 Truyong building, and was being actively searched for by all forces. Sha Huang was a false identity of his, but it was exposed shortly after the auction. Dragon Commander Yi Cha had suffered losses from Feng Juji's group, and had started to investigate Sha Huang. Fang Yuan currently did not dare to go to Zombie Alliance. In this trip to seize the Wisdom Path inheritance, Fang Yuan had further exposed many things, giving more clues for his enemies to deduce. But this risk was necessary. If I just sit by passively, I will be exposed sooner or later. The only correct path is to fight vigorously and make every second count in order to strengthen myself. I was able to obtain a complete Wisdom Path inheritance in this trip. Ever since I connected luck, my luck has been rather good. I only need to seize the opportunities that come. When I grasp this Wisdom Path inheritance, I should be able to take precautions against Wisdom Path deductions. With this, I will be able to try to find a way out by arranging plans, and greatly delay the time before I am exposed while continuing to hide. Fang Yuan resisted the temptation of Jade Pool Blessed Land, and rested for a while. Soul searching could injure the target's soul and the soul would need to be healed. But even to the user, soul searching could make their soul become extremely agitated, and this could not be healed by Guts GU, but rather required rest and sleep to pacify the soul. After resting, Fang Yuan continued soul searching. Dong Fang Chongfan's soul felt an icy chill when he saw Fang Yuan was still here and was not tempted by Jade Pool blessed land. Fang Yuan's soul searching lasted for a long while this time. Dong Fang Chongfan's resisted even more intensely, while Fang Yuan's soul search was only a mortal method, increasing the difficulty sharply. However, Fang Yuan was very patient. If one time did not work, he would try 10 times, 100 times. After a long time spent soul searching, Fang Yuan obtained the memory of Dong Fang Chongfan remodeling the immemorial ruined bat's corpse. Not only did he obtain the method of enslaving phantom beasts, but also the secret of turning a normal GU formation into a phantom formation. No matter which piece of information, they all had enormous value. Chapter 809. Arranging 3 treasures, earthly calamity descends soon. Fang Yuan did not conceal the joy on his face. Making a GU formation turn phantom is something that Dong Fang Chongfan himself deduced and polished from some ancient texts. His phantom path attainment should be at master level. He was able to remodel the immemorial ruined bat's corpse into a corpse mountain, which means his space path attainment was also at master level. He truly was not a simple character. Fang Yuan was especially interested in the method of controlling the phantom beast army. Several desolate-level phantom beasts, although they might only be at rank 6, but relying on their ability to turn into phantom, they could pester a rank 7 GU Immortal. Fang Yuan could not help but think that if he had a group of phantom beasts, his battle strength was sure to rise by a large degree. After careful consideration, he discovered the method of controlling the phantom beast army did not have a wide range of applications. The main condition was to remodel the immemorial ruined bat's corpse into a corpse mountain. Afterwards, with the corpse mountain as the base, it needed to use the immemorial ruined bat's power to control this phantom beast army. Fang Yuan coldly snorted. This is Dong Fang Chongfan's attempt at trying to harm me again. He knows I can uproot mountains, thus he wanted to use the ruined bat corpse mountain to lure me to take a risk. The ruined bat corpse mountain was mostly destroyed by the heavenly tribulation and earthly calamity. With its aura gone, it would no longer deter beasts. That area should already be filled with many desolate and ancient desolate beasts feasting on the ruined bat's corpse. It would be a stupid move to use pulling mountain to snatch food from these desolate and ancient desolate beasts. Fang Yuan rested for a while before soul-searching Dong Fang Chongfan for the 3rd time. Dong Fang Chongfan was filled with fury and hatred for Fang Yuan. It was this man that made all his schemes turn into nothing, destroying his grand plan of dominance and turning all his efforts into naught, as if they were a dream. Despite his foresight and wisdom, he had fallen so far that he had nothing to rely on now. The disparity between the two sides was too big. These 2 attempts he made were actually very crude, aiming at using the greed in human nature and luring Fang Yuan to make a mistake. Compared to the arrangements he made while alive, it was a difference like that of heaven and earth. However, Dong Fang Chongfan only had his soul remaining. It was understandable that his abilities had dropped greatly. Fang Yuan was not tricked, and after resting appropriately, his 3rd soul search finally yielded him the thing he wanted the most, Dong Fang Chongfan's wisdom path inheritance. What Fang Yuan had not imagined was that Dong Fang Chongfan's wisdom path inheritance was actually somewhat connected to star constellation Immortal Venerable. Naturally, it was not an inheritance left behind by star constellation Immortal Venerable herself. If it was left behind by an Immortal Venerable, Dong Fang Chongfan would not have fallen into such a state. Originally, this inheritance was left behind in ancient times by a rank 8 star path GU Immortal of Heavenly Court. He was adept in exploring secrets, and after obtaining some secrets of star constellation Immortal Venerable, he tried to analyze her abilities, thus creating this imitation. This GU Immortal was a star path GU Immortal, but his creation was of wisdom path. This wisdom path inheritance used star thought GU as its foundation, and was related very close to star path, as it entered into wisdom path via star path. Even the refinement of star thought GU used starlight GU as the main material. The more Fang Yuan comprehended, the greater his joy, as he felt this journey was truly worth it. This wisdom path inheritance did not have any specific strong points, other than being particularly good in making deductions. Dong Fang Chongfan relied on this to deduce the phantom formation, methods of controlling the phantom beast army and so on. This wisdom path inheritance is so comprehensive that I have an urge to switch to wisdom path. Fang Yuan sighed. This harvest was truly extremely bountiful. A complete inheritance, regardless of which path, covered all aspects like attack, defense, healing, movement, investigation and others. All of these aspects might not be too outstanding, but there was no shortcomings either, and would not be easily countered by others. Since Fang Yuan's rebirth, His cultivation in strength path was formed together from bits and pieces, or was modified by himself, and was not an inheritance of a predecessor. This wisdom path inheritance's true value was the same as the blood path true inheritance Fang Yuan obtained in his previous life. In Fang Yuan's previous life, it was because of this blood path true inheritance that he had a platform to make his rise. One can well imagine the value of this wisdom path inheritance from this. Blood Sea ancestor was not even a rank 8 GU immortal and also had divided his true inheritances into 7 parts, thus this wisdom path inheritance Fang Yuan obtained was even more valuable. A pity that I obtained this inheritance a bit late. I am already walking on strength path, even though I still have the first aperture, it died after I turned into an immortal zombie and cannot be cultivated. However, Fang Yuan reconsidered. If he had truly cultivated this wisdom path inheritance earlier, he might not have necessarily created the immortal killer move myriad self. The future prospects in strength provided by the immortal killer move myriad self was certainly greater than the future prospects in strength provided by this wisdom path inheritance. It is also because I cultivate strength path, that I could kill Dongfang Chongfan and seize this wisdom path inheritance. How could there be effect without cause? Fang Yuan shook his head, clearing up his disorganized thoughts. Regardless, this wisdom path inheritance came at an opportune time and was extremely suitable for Fang Yuan. Why was that? There was only one reason, that was, rank 9 wisdom GU. Who immortal blessed land was holding wisdom GU? Fang Yuan would get unlimited inspiration under the light of wisdom, deducing many immortal GU recipes, immortal killer moves and so on. But this had one large disadvantage, the thoughts in his mind were consumed extremely quickly. Previously, when he had delight in water and mountain immortal GU, he had to spend precious green grape immortal essence for large amounts of joyful will to support this consumption. He sold delight in water and mountain immortal GU in the auction, and although he earned good profits, malicious thought GU and memory thought GU both could not bear the intense consumption. Even though Fang Yuan created a stone nest particularly for large numbers of hairy men to refine GU with almost no rest, having them supplied with the greatest speed, it still could not match a session of consumption under the light of wisdom. This was the largest obstacle restricting Fang Yuan from making deductions. But it was all right now. With this wisdom path inheritance, Fang Yuan could use a smaller price and have higher efficiency in deducing all kinds of things. Land spirit, where are you? Fang Yuan lightly tapped his foot. Master, I am here. Little Hu Immortal appeared in front of Fang Yuan, instantly. Her small face was flushed red, tender and plump. Her snow-white furry tail was wagging happily at Fang Yuan's summon. Fang Yuan spoke. Immediately stop the second stone nest's refinement of malicious thought GU and change it to refining star thought GU. This is the GU recipe, go make the arrangement. Understood, Master. Have you already made appropriate arrangements for the resources I brought? Fang Yuan asked. The moment he returned to Hu Immortal Blessed Land, he had taken out all the resources from his immortal aperture and had them arranged in Hu Immortal Blessed Land. The concrete work was handed to Little Hu Immortal. His immortal aperture was filled with death energy. It was okay for temporarily storing these resources, but if they were stored for a long time, they would be pervaded by death energy, which could cause the value of most of the resources to drop by a large extent. Everything has been arranged, Master. The air bubble fish group has been placed in the east of the Blessed Land, together with the previous air bubble fish. There are a lot of air bubble fish and the starlight firefly GU are above them. In the future, the production of starlight firefly GU will definitely increase greatly. As for that group of close to 1 million dragonfish, they are temporarily placed in other small lakes. After some time, we can send rockmen to dig a large lake and put the dragonfish group together. Their reproduction will increase even more this way. For literature carps, I specially dug a small pool to store them away from plain sight. Other than those that died, there are over 1,000 living eerie fire dragon pythons which have already been joined together with the few we had before. They have occupied a large territory in the southern part of the Blessed Land. Oh, there is also oil, water and some other common resources which have been temporarily placed in Danghun Palace's storage rooms. The regretful spider group has been placed in the northern part of the Blessed Land, which has a long and narrow terrain. I spent a great deal of effort to make the proper arrangements. Little Hu Immortal eagerly raised her head, with an expression that said she wanted to be praised for her work. Fang Yuan smiled, and praised. Ah, our Little Hu Immortal is the most capable. Little Hu Immortal smiled, her large and round eyes curved into a crescent moon-like shape, and her snow-white tail rapidly wagged. For a moment, she was carried away with happiness, lightly hopping to Fang Yuan's foot and hugging his thick calf. She pressed her tender face on Fang Yuan's calf, Before raising her head and looking at Fang Yuan with her large watery eyes, her face flushed red with excitement as she spoke adoringly. Master, you are amazing, you brought so many good things this time. We can earn a lot, who Immortal blessed land has never been so wealthy. Fang Yuan laughed heartily and picked little Who Immortal like picking a kitten, and placed her on his broad shoulder. Don't worry, good times are still ahead. Little Who Immortal nodded multiple times, having complete faith in Fang Yuan's ability. But with somewhat of a worried tone, she reminded, Master, I have something to report, that desolate beast shark fin wolf you brought just now is not in such a good state. It is always hiding inside the pool and doesn't hunt actively, and it even starts sobbing sometimes. Fang Yuan coughed, and said in an indifferent tone, Don't worry, this is because it suffered quite a big setback. I have experience in raising wolf groups, it will gradually recover with time. Master, there is still another matter I need to remind you of. You should not forget that the blessed land's earthly calamity will arrive soon. Little Who Immortal said. Fang Yuan slightly frowned. You can relax, I have always been keeping it in mind, how can I dare to forget such a thing? The time difference between Who Immortal blessed land and the outside world was 5-1. Earthly calamities happened once every 10 years, in the outside world of Central Continent and Northern Plains, over a year had already passed. 2 years in the outside world was 10 years in Who Immortal blessed land. The previous earthly calamity was the desolate beast swamp crab, which carried the immortal Gu, Gruel mud. What would this earthly calamity be? Last time, I was only immortal Gu master. Now, I am already a rank 6 Gu immortal with many immortal Gu, immortal killer moves, and allies, as well as the newly obtained wisdom path inheritance. I have great assurance in passing the earthly calamity. Fang Yuan was not worried, he had many trump cards and resources, a vast difference from when he faced the previous earthly calamity, thus he was confident. Chapter 810, Chong Fan requests to cooperate. Fang Yuan inquired the land spirit about the arrangements of the Dongfang tribe Gu master captives. Fang Yuan had killed Dongfang Qingyu and many others, but he still had about 1 to 200 Dongfang tribe survivors. The land spirit replied that she had temporarily set up a prison underground, nearby a Rockman tribe. She then asked if these captives were to be sold. These people were not easy to control and make use of. They would not obediently listen, and forcing them to refine Gu like hairy men would be careless, it could instead result in those that were seeking death to sabotage the refinement and cause problems. Fang Yuan shook his head and instructed, first take away all the mortal Gu on them and keep them in confinement. Give them a little food every day, as if they are pets being raised. I have other uses for these captives, but there is no hurry. Yes, master. How many immortal essence stones do I have left? Fang Yuan asked. 137. The land spirit immediately replied. Fang Yuan nodded. Unknowingly, the quantity of his immortal essence stones had once again passed 100. The biggest reason was because of the increase in price and quantity of the guts Gu traded. Every month, after removing the shared profits, Fang Yuan earned 92 immortal essence stones in pure profit. Thus, going above 100 had become easy. Fang Yuan had also instructed the land spirit to pay attention to treasure Yellow Heaven, buying any cheaply sold fox groups in order to raise them in Who Immortal blessed land. In this way, he would be making use of the specialty of Who Immortal blessed land and increasing its foundation. Little Who Immortal had taken action a few times and bought 2 to 3 fox groups, and if not for that, the amount of immortal essence stones would be even higher. Having a monopoly on the business of guts Gu, where there was a lot more demand than supply, it was easy to earn immortal essence stones. Fang Yuan thought for a while before putting aside 20 immortal essence stones in preparation for unexpected situations, and 70 immortal essence stones to turn into green grape immortal essence. In the series of battle to seize the wisdom path inheritance, he had completely used his previous 77 beads of green grape immortal essence, it needed to be urgently replenished. He gave all the remaining immortal essence stones to Little Who Immortal to purchase large amounts of Gu refinement materials, and also asked her to particularly focus on the refinement of Star Thought Gu. I can't sell oil water, I plan to use it in the earlier stages of the refinement path convention. Nor can I sell air bubble fish, they are needed to raise the production of starlight firefly Gu. Literature carps are precious, but their quantity is rather few, I need to wait for the proper buyer. But eerie fire dragon pythons, regretful spiders and dragonfish are in huge quantities, they can be turned into business projects. Especially dragonfish, they can be directly sold. Fang Yuan thought inwardly. These 3 resources had appeared at a good time. Up to this point, Fang Yuan only had one source of revenue, that was the guts Gu trade. Owning a monopoly business was simply like owning a goose that laid golden eggs. But it was only one business, after all, and the production of Guts Gu was limited. Feng Yuan had to be very careful in how he used his immortal essence stones. Although he gotten past the initial dangerous state from when he had just become Gu Immortal, and now had established his foothold, balancing his income and expenditure. However, he did not have additional capacity to progress further. Currently, Feng Yuan simply did not dare to refine Immortal Gu, he had insufficient foundation. Feng Yuan needed to be constantly ahead. He had to get rid of his immortal zombie body and revive, deduce all kinds of Gu recipes, killer moves, deal with all sorts of enemies, and multi-cultivating wisdom path, ensuring no shortcomings in all aspects. Just a single source of revenue could not satisfy his ever-increasing needs. If I can operate these 3 businesses, it would be like I have extra support. The earnings of immortal essence stones would satisfy my current needs, as well as greatly speed up my progress in all aspects. Dongfang tribe was, after all, a super force with a strong foundation. After plundering it, my future prospects have immediately broadened. Feng Yuan sighed and had the thought of soul-searching Dongfang Chongfan again. These economic projects were Dongfang tribe's business secrets. For instance, how to group up eerie fire dragon pythons and greatly increase their reproduction, how to raise dragonfish, what to feed them, which environment is most suitable, what to do if they got sick. To form a source of revenue was very difficult. It involved many aspects and everyone would have their own tricks of the trade and secrets. Back then, to cultivate star fragment grass, Feng Yuan had to purchase the insights and experience of a few star path Gu immortals, and also pay some immortal essence stones. As Dongfang tribe's first supreme elder, Dongfang Chongfan surely knew the business secrets of Dongfang tribe. His soul was an enormous treasury and its value was certainly not limited to the wisdom path inheritance. Thereafter, Feng Yuan attempted to get these business secrets in his 4th soul search. However, what he obtained this time was Dongfang Chongfan's possession technique, not only the original version Dongfang Chongfan obtained in true inheritance secluded domain when he was young, but also the method he had modified, as well as the method of extracting origin cores of Gu immortals of the same bloodline to immediately advance to Gu immortal. I can revive using this method. It requires people of the same bloodline. Is that little brother of mine still alive? He is a ready-made possession target. But even if he is dead, it doesn't matter, I can still use blood path methods on a woman to give birth to the next generation. But this possession method will anger heaven and earth, the resulting heavenly tribulation and earthly calamity will be terrifying. The main reason for Dongfang Chongfan's fall was due to this. Moreover, if I possess someone, even if I advance to Gu Immortal, my new body won't have the second aperture. The second aperture's value was enormous. Feng Yuan did not want to give it up for the time being. Dongfang Chongfan's soul saw Feng Yuan was moved, and suddenly broke its previous silence, resonating once again as it spoke. You are an immortal zombie, it will be difficult beyond belief for you to regain life. Your cultivation has stopped and it will forever be at this level. The possession technique is extremely suitable for you. Of course, I now know this method provokes the envy of heaven and anger of earth, and is extremely dangerous. But I can improve the method to hide from heaven, and you can also possess a mortal to reduce the anger of heaven and earth, thereby reducing the might of the calamities and tribulations. You are seeking death if you directly use this possession technique. I am the best example of it. But I now have the most precious experience to improve the method, and I can definitely succeed. In fact, if not for you, I would have already succeeded. How is it, we can cooperate? Dongfang Chongfan proposed cooperation to Feng Yuan. He could sense Feng Yuan wanted to revive, and in fact, there was no immortal zombie that did not want to regain life. Not waiting for Feng Yuan to speak, he continued, it will benefit both of us if we cooperate, while it will result in harm if we are divided. What are you still worried about? I am merely a soul, do you think I can still harm you? While speaking, Dongfang Chongfan was constantly agitating Feng Yuan, there was a vague hint of goading him into action. Feng Yuan smiled. As expected of Dongfang Chongfan, I thought your silence meant that you had completely admitted your defeat. I hadn't thought that the moment you saw hope and an opportunity, you'd immediately latch onto it. I should learn from this. Oh, I have already said that you and I are the same kind of people, we both have lofty ambitions and aspirations. The soul resonated. However, Feng Yuan changed the topic, precisely because we are of the same kind, I cannot let you live. Don't worry, once I extract everything of value out of you, I will destroy your soul and make sure it completely disappears from the world. People like us, the fewer there are, the better. Dong Fang Chongfan's soul was stupefied. He had not expected Fang Yuan's killing intent towards him would be so deep and firm. He resonated intensely, not giving up as he forced a laugh. Ha ha ha, you cannot fool me, you are already interested. Fang Yuan agreed. I am interested. I believe you definitely have the ability to improve this possession technique because you have master level attainment in Blood Path and Phantom Path, Grand Master level in Wisdom Path and also the most precious experience of using the possession. There is an extremely large gap between my attainment and yours, and I am sure it is impossible for me to improve this technique even if I have your Wisdom Path inheritance. The attainment levels of using GU were divided into 5 main levels. Ordinary, Master, Grand Master, Great Grand Master and Supreme Grand Master. Master was the level when one's use of GU worm advances to the level of an art. This level could only be reached if one had abundant talent or constantly trained and increased their accumulation. Grand Master level was when one had a very profound grasp of their path. With their deep foundation, they could use inductive reasoning to utilize their own path's methods to make use of the specialty traits and advantages of other paths. Dong Fang Chongfan had attainment of Wisdom Path Grand Master, Flying Quasi-Grand Master, Space Path Master, Soul Path Master, Enslavement Path Master and Blood Path Master. Fang Yuan had attainment of Blood Path Grand Master, Strength Path Grand Master, Refinement Path Quasi-Grand Master, Flying Quasi-Grand Master, Enslavement Path Master and Transformation Path Master. As for Soul Path, Space Path, Time Path, Dream Path and others, he was only at ordinary level, and for Phantom Path, he had not even touched upon it. Generally speaking, all GU Immortals had at least master level attainment in flying. Because flying was extremely important and even if they had not grasped it while they were mortals, after becoming GU Immortals, they would definitely spend a lot of time to study and master flying ability. Fang Yuan had Grand Master attainment in 2 paths, but one was from his previous life's 500 years of accumulation, while the other was gained from using the superiority of his rebirth, taking constant risks and having fortuitous encounters. Everyone had their own specialties. Fang Yuan's attainment levels were not enough to deduce and improve the possession technique, but Dong Fang Chongfan was a specialist in it. It was due to this that Fang Yuan could not do it while Dong Fang Chongfan could achieve it. Thus, he had confidence in persuading Fang Yuan and requesting cooperation. Soul Search could only give memories, secrets and so on, but it could not provide attainment levels. Attainment levels were a person's unique thinking, their emotional experiences, their insights and experiences of using GU and so on, summed up and condensed. They were their comprehension of the great Tao of heaven and earth. Currently, there was only one method to acquire the attainment levels of others, by successfully exploring their dream realm. Fang Yuan knew he could gain extraordinary benefits if he cooperated with Dong Fang Chongfan, but he had an even greater fear of the consequences of working with this person, Dong Fang Chongfan. If he cooperated with this Wisdom Path GU Immortal, who knew how he would be plotted against and betrayed. This was especially the case because Fang Yuan was the true culprit of the collapse of 88 Truyong building. The external situation was extremely bad, and if Dong Fang Chongfan learned of this and made use of it, he certainly could cause Fang Yuan to die a terrible death. Chapter 811, Shocking Secret, Giving Up Cleansed Soul. Fang Yuan's expression was solemn. He continued to search Dong Fang Chongfan's soul, no matter how much he persuaded him. This session was the longest so far. Fang Yuan searched Dong Fang Chongfan's soul until all of his secrets were exposed. He learned about Dong Fang Chongfan's life, the countless experiences he had. GU Immortal Han Dong is long since dead. After the Phantom Beast dragged him into the Corpse Mountain, he was supposed to be a captive, but he died in the heavenly tribulation and earthly calamity. So it turns out that Dong Fang Chongfan had made arrangements in Jade Pool Blessed Land, using the rank 6 Immortal GU House Thatched Hut as the core. But at the crucial moment, Thatched Hut went missing. This allowed us, the demonic path cultivators, to invade Jade Pool Blessed Land. As expected, the moment I destroyed Dong Fang Yu Liang's body, and Dong Fang Chongfan's soul left it, he self-detonated all of the Immortal GU in his aperture. White Lotus Giant Silkworm GU. To think that Dong Fang Chongfan used large amounts of White Lotus Giant Silkworm GU to improve his immortal soul within his immortal aperture, there is still a batch of White Lotus Giant Silkworm GU left. Dong Fang Chongfan, looking at his whole life, he was unresigned to being ordinary. He was first a hero, then a champion. This is Purple Mountain True Monarch. Tai Bai Yun Sheng's Time Path inheritance was from this person. To think that Dong Fang Chongfan's Wisdom Path inheritance was also from this mysterious old man. The stream of secrets assaulted Fang Yuan one after another. After a long time, Fang Yuan finally reacted. he had completely taken in this huge amount of information. Purple Mountain True Monarch, this was just the name that Fang Yuan gave to the mysterious purple-haired beggar. This mysterious old man seemed to have countless precious inheritances, his background must be very profound, his motives were unknown, it could be said that he played an extremely important role in Dongfang Chongfan and Tai Bai Yunsheng's achievements today. For now, he shall be called Purple Mountain True Monarch. In Fang Yuan's memories of his previous life, he had no recollection of this Purple Mountain True Monarch, even during the Five Regions chaotic war, he did not appear, did he hide himself, did he have another identity, or did he die of old age? According to Dongfang Chongfan and Tai Bai Yunsheng's situations, it seemed that this man was extremely old. Forget Purple Mountain True Monarch for now, my cleansed soul Immortal GU needs food, the amount of White Lotus Giant Silkworm GU is not enough, but it can alleviate my current problem. I did not want to bother with that blessed land for now, but it seems that I have no choice. Fang Yuan destroyed Dongfang Yu Liang's body, causing his immortal aperture to fall on the ground and become an ownerless blessed land. Unlike public blessed lands, these individual blessed lands would have land spirits, they were easy to defend and hard to take down. When Dongfang Chongfan lost, in order to prevent Fang Yuan from profiting, he destroyed all of his immortal GU, to prevent his enemy from getting stronger. But there were still a lot of mortal GU in his immortal aperture, perhaps because they were cheap, or he did not place much value in them, or maybe he lost control of them too quickly. In any case, they were all preserved in his blessed land and were not destroyed. Not speaking of the other mortal GU, but White Lotus Giant Silkworm GU was something Fang Yuan needed as food for cleansed soul. Fang Yuan paced in the room as he thought about it. The Northern Plains GU immortal world was originally quite tranquil, but ever since Imperial Court blessed land was destroyed, it had produced huge consequences, it was like a giant tsunami. Northern Plains GU immortals were furious, they wanted to find the culprit. But the immortal GU that escaped from 88 Truyong building caused Northern Plains GU immortals to fight over them intensely, it created chaos in the Northern Plains GU immortal world. After the auction, with the rank 8 GU immortals at the lead, the super forces discussed matters and the Northern Plains GU immortal world was no longer as chaotic, there were new rules in place. But because of Shadow Sect, and the Central Continent GU immortals, there were still turbulent undercurrents. Right now, with Fang Yuan's interference, a super force, Dongfang tribe, was exterminated, the tranquility of the world of Northern Plains GU immortals was ruined once again, turbulence swept the region. Currently, countless GU immortals from the righteous and demonic paths were fighting to seize resources in Jade Pool blessed land, it was a mess. Northern Plains situation, it could be said to truly be in shambles. In fact, ever since Imperial Court blessed land was destroyed, Northern Plains had not had a day of peace, it had thoroughly deviated from its original path. Compared with his previous life's memories, Fang Yuan had a feeling, he seemed to have accidentally broken Northern Plains. Fang Yuan took a risk just now, with some luck, he obtained the Wisdom Path inheritance. Originally, he wanted to develop himself for some time, while helping Hu Immortal blessed land to survive the earthly calamity. Using the Wisdom Path inheritance, he would deduce the immortal killer move, vaguely familiar face. Based on the news he had, the current situation was quite tense, it would be best if he stayed away. But the allure of White Lotus Giant Silkworm GU was too great. Fang Yuan knew that even though he had some methods to keep it alive, Cleansed Soul Immortal GU was reaching its limits from hunger, he needed to feed it White Lotus Giant Silkworm GU. Immortal GU are unique, but even though they are precious, Cleansed Soul Immortal GU is not something I cannot live without. I have Self-Strength Immortal GU as the core now, even if Cleansed Soul Immortal GU was destroyed, I would not be too greatly affected. Of course, if I could use it along with Self-Strength Immortal GU, the killer move Myriad Self might be able to become twice as powerful as now. Furthermore, it can even promote the growth of my soul foundation. Fang Yuan was hesitant, although Cleansed Soul was good, it was not enough for him to risk his life. Immortal GU were only tools, his life was most important. Fang Yuan was fully aware of this point from beginning to end, he would never be blinded by greed. A few days later, Northern Plains, at the place where GU Immortal Qi Min died. From time to time, there would be GU Immortals appearing, both righteous and demonic. After staying here for some time, they would leave, trying to find the aura of the Immortal GU in the air. Some tried to enter the blessed land that formed from Qi Min's immortal aperture, but they left after failing. The Central Continent GU Immortals were hiding far away, observing the situation, while using their divine senses to communicate. The target has not appeared yet. Since they could kill Dongfang Chongfan and made many arrangements here to conceal Dongfang Chongfan's blessed land, they obviously want to keep it a secret. Very likely, they want to take down this blessed land. They also know that accidents can occur over time. They will definitely return. That is not very likely by now. We have secretly stayed here for so many days, the other party might have discovered us already. With this opportunity, we might as well go to Jade Cool Blessed Land. Fairy Ling Mei said. HMPH, are you saying that my Black Heaven Temple's signature immortal killer move, defending day and night, cannot conceal our presence and would be seen through easily? Old man Tian Long was immediately unhappy, retorting. Fairy Ling Mei went silent. She knew that her earlier words were slightly impudent. Black Heaven Temple was one of the 10 great ancient sects. They needed to defend their reputation. Their names could not be sullied. Fairy Ao Shui, who was beside Fairy Ling Mei, said, I've heard that in Jade Cool Blessed Land, a 10,000 Li horse ran out. The meaning hidden in her words was very obvious. She was in agreement with Fairy Ling Mei's earlier suggestion. She also wanted to go to Jade Cool Blessed Land for its abundant resources. HMPH, this trifling level of wealth can entice all of you. Don't forget why we are here. This immortal zombie is very suspicious. He has quite powerful battle strength in Strength Path. He is very likely to be immortal zombie Sha Huang. Old Lord Kenyang was hidden to the side, interjecting in this. Trifling level of wealth. You speak as if it's insignificant. Even though Dongfang tribe is inferior to our sects, it is also a super force. Their foundation, compared to individuals like us, is much deeper. Oh, Kenyang, your harvest just now was great. The reward from Immortal Crane sect for the mission must be very profitable. You are benefiting greatly from this yourself, but you want the rest of us to suffer losses. Isn't this too much? Chen Zhenkai spoke resentfully. He had not completed his sect's missions yet, because Feng Juzhe called him over before he had finished. The others were in similar situations. Others might be afraid of old Lord Kenyang's life-chasing fire, but he was not. He was a flying grandmaster, and had the immortal killer move approaching body. Even if life-chasing fire was used on him, he could escape from it. In the central continent Gu immortal world, there was a saying, Zhenkai of the Nine Heavens, followed by Fei Yan. Zhenkai of the Nine Heavens referred to Chen Zhenkai. He could spread his wings and fly into the immemorial Nine Heavens. Heaven and earth could not restrict him. The latter, followed by Fei Yan, referred to a Gu immortal of Heavenly Lotus sect, Bu Fei Yan. She was a female Gu immortal who could move agilely in the sky. She was like a wisp of smoke that could dance in the air. Right now, the female Gu immortal, Bu Fei Yan, had also come to Northern Plains. She represented Heavenly Lotus sect of the 10 great ancient sects. She was joining in the investigation of 88 Truyong buildings' collapse. At this moment, 2 flying grandmasters of the current generation were present. Chen Zhenkai spoke, but Bu Fei Yan remained silent, not saying a word. Old Oracle, however, added, Jade Cool Blessed Land was so easily taken down mainly because the rank 6 immortal Gu house, modest thatched hut, went missing mysteriously. I am not after those resources, but I have made a deduction. I deduced that clues about the culprit are in Jade Cool Blessed Land. Modest thatched hut. Hey, I would rather call it by its original name, thatched hut. Speaking of it, this Gu house was created by the late antiquity Era's 3 thatched demon immortal. It used up almost all of his wealth. During his later years, he roamed Northern Plains, becoming a grand overlord for a while. 3 thatched demon immortal had a daughter. He doted on her. At that time, Dongfang tribe's Gu immortal, Dongfang Yu, and this woman were in love with each other. Thus, he left the righteous path and went into the demonic path. After 3 thatched demon immortal died, he inherited this thatched hut, killing his wife and going back to the righteous path, returning to his tribe. To get rid of his past, Dongfang Yu added in some other Gu into thatched hut, calling it modest thatched hut. Its effect did not change at all. It was just for his own reputation. Wind Cloud Manor's Gu immortal, Hong Kai Ming, spoke. Before he became an immortal, he explored Northern Plains while his cultivation level was that of immortal. He lived there for some time. Thus, he knew about these details clearly. At this time, he mentioned this. His intention was also to go to Jade Cool Blessed Land to plunder for resources. But he did not say it. He was subtly hinting them. Alright, how much longer are we going to stay here like this? Should we go to Jade Cool Blessed Land and search for clues? Or look for that fairy Li Shan? Since she fought together with that immortal zombie, they must have a close relationship. She certainly knows many secrets. A Gu immortal was impatient. No, Fairy Li Shan paid a heavy price and left this place after obtaining Minuscule Mountain. Right now, she is hiding inside snowy mountain blessed land. That is a den of northern plains demonic path. If it was like in the past, it would be fine. But now, old ancestor Shui who is trying to refine fortune rivaling heaven Immortal Gu, he is overseeing matters there. Chapter 812. Battle of Rank 8s, Huge Commotion. Once old ancestor Shui who was mentioned, Central Continent's immortals went silent. These people had rank 7 cultivation level, they had outstanding battle strength, near the top in their respective sects. But against a rank 8 GU immortal, they would only lose. Even though Feng Juzhe had the ability to fight rank 8 GU immortals, he was still rank 7 after all. Meanwhile, old ancestor Shui who of the demonic path had terrifying battle strength. According to the intelligence that Central Continent collected, it faintly indicated that he could be the strongest rank 8 expert in Northern Plains. Just as the Central Continent GU immortals went silent, 3 demonic path GU immortals had concealed their appearances and stealthily entered the trap of the Central Continent GU immortals. They went underground, going to the place where Dongfang Chongfan was killed, before revealing themselves. Of these 3 GU immortals, the one at the lead was tall, giving off a fierce aura. He had a pair of long eyebrows, he had an aquiline nose, his eyes were shining with a sharp light. His ears were not human ears, they looked like wings, shining in golden light. He was the owner of the 4th peak of Northern Plains Snowy Mountain Blessed Land, Lipeng Wang. On his left was a person shorter than him, but with a more robust and stocky body. He radiated with dominance as he gave off an icy dragon's prestige. It was the owner of the 5th peak, Demon Lord Long Dan, who was in control of Ice Lake Palace. The final GU immortal walked on Lipeng Wang's right side. His eyes were dark, he wore a white robe and had a lean body, he resembled a scholar but was less polished looking than unfettered scholar, yet he still had a grand aura. It was the owner of the 6th peak, Gong Zimo. The Central Continent GU immortals were laying in ambush, they had outstanding methods, the 3 demonic path GU immortals did not discover them. Their attentions were focused on what was in front of them. There was nothing in front of their eyes, but they sensed that they had found a hidden blessed land. This is the blessed land that Dongfang Chongfan left behind after dying. Begin, the longer we drag things on, the more problems will occur. The blessed land that Qi Shimin left behind is near this place, W. Since they are old ancestor Shui Hu's orders, we will definitely do our best and take down this blessed land, let's begin. The 3 moved rapidly, because they had made sufficient preparations. After making some arrangements in the outside world, they tore through space and entered the blessed land. After watching the 3 of them entered, the Central Continent GU immortals continued to use their divine senses to communicate. Amazing! Snowy Mountain Blessed Land's 4th, 5th, and 6th peak owners have all moved out. Snowy Mountain's first 3 peaks have immovable statuses, but the rest of them can compete for a higher position. These 3 are scheming against each other while moving together. To have them working together like this, only old ancestor Shui who can control them. The immortal zombie did not come after all, but Snowy Mountain Blessed Lands members came. Should we take them down? No, these 3 immortals have extraordinary battle strength, they would combine to be higher than people like Unfettered Scholar, at least equivalent to any of us. Although we have more people, we lack coordination. It is easy to defeat the 3 of them, but it would be hard to kill them, and even harder to capture them. Old Lord Kenyang agreed with this as he sighed. That's right, Northern Plains is a place of constant battles, it has the highest battle strength for individuals out of the 5 regions. Each of their GU immortals have rich battle experience, they have many unique methods, and their methods of self-preservation far surpass Central Continent, they are very sly. Earlier in Taichu and Jade Pool Blessed Land, the number of dead GU immortals was very few. But if this was in the other 4 regions, the casualties would be 2 to 3 times as high. It is not impossible to capture them, but we will need Lord Feng Juzhe to attack personally. A GU immortal said. In this Northern Plains expedition, Feng Juzhe's superior battle strength left a deep impression in the Central Continent GU immortals' hearts. But Feng Juzhe said, we will retreat. Saying this, without giving the immortals a chance to ask him questions, he left in an extremely secretive manner, not leaving any traces behind. The immortals looked at each other for a moment, before following his lead quietly. The group gathered somewhere far away, as the immortals asked Feng Juzhe in confusion. Earlier, the ambush was Feng Juzhe's idea. Now that 3 demonic path GU immortals appeared, Feng Juzhe was the first to leave. We have such a strong united force, are we afraid of just 3 people? Retreating without fighting, this tarnishes the reputation of our 10 great sects of Central Continent. Going to and fro, what is the meaning of it all? The GU Immortals went further and further away from Jade Pool Blessed Land, as their tones also got more unhappy, but because of Feng Juji's power, they did not flare up. Feng Juje looked around as he said some shocking news. Fairy Li Shan obtained Minuscule Mountain and had returned to Snowy Mountain Blessed Land to recuperate. I have already gotten news. A rank 8 Righteous Path GU Immortal of Northern Plains, Yao Huang, has already traveled to Snowy Mountain Blessed Land to ask for Minuscule Mountain from old ancestor Shui Hu. What? There is such a matter. Are the two rank 8s going to fight? Northern Plains is really rank 8 GU Immortals would always only act as deterrents in Central Continent, but just for Minuscule Mountain, they are really being so active. They are truly battle maniacs. Back then, during the competition for Danghun Mountain, our 10 great ancient sects of Central Continent only sent disciples to compete for it. The Immortals talked among themselves as their expressions changed, they were trying to absorb this shocking news. At this moment, Feng Juje smiled lightly. He said, that Strength Path Immortal zombie is very vigilant. The 3 demonic path immortals of Snowy Mountain Blessed Land might be pawns to probe us, or might be the force behind him attempting to probe us. If we go after this bait, it would then be falling into a trap. We should head to Snowy Mountain Blessed Land and see if there is a chance to enter it and capture Fairy Li Shan instead. The Immortals were all speechless. Snowy Mountain Blessed Land, the strongest base of Northern Plains demonic path, it would be on a similar level compared to one of the main bases of the 10 great ancient sects of Central Continent. Feng Juji's boldness was overwhelming, he was actually targeting Snowy Mountain. Snowy Mountain Blessed Land, first peak. Old ancestor Shui Hu was seated on a large chair, he was holding a small mountain in his hand as he rotated it while observing it closely. This small mountain was full of cracks, it was a terrible sight. Corpses were all over the mountain, they were of Miniman, blood flowed everywhere, the survivors were weeping in anguish, it was a scene of misery. This was none other than Minuscule Mountain. Fairy Li Shan chased after Minuscule Mountain and fought against the Miniman GU Immortal, they attracted other GU Immortals who attacked, from both the righteous and demonic paths. After a chaotic battle, the Miniman GU Immortal was almost dead, he traveled with Minuscule Mountain and moved randomly, in the end, it was captured by Heilu Lan who was at the periphery of the battlefield. Heilu Lan killed the Miniman GU Immortal and defended this treasure with Fairy Li Shan, they fought their way out and went through immense danger to return to Snowy Mountain Blessed Land. This caused Minuscule Mountain to be in its current state of near destruction, the Miniman tribe on the mountain also faced heavy casualties. This is Minuscule Mountain. At this time, a female immortal walked out from behind. She was called Lady Wan Shou, the wife of old ancestor Shui Hu. She had rank 7 cultivation level, and was one of the 4 most famous refinement path GU immortals in Northern Plains. Once she appeared, her gaze was affixed to Minuscule Mountain, she was very interested in this legendary mountain. My wife, did you have any gains this time? Old ancestor Shui Hu turned around, asking warmly as he passed Minuscule Mountain over to her. Lady Wan Shou nodded. I have already understood all the procedures to refine fortune rivaling heaven GU, but to familiarize myself with those steps, I still have some way to go. As she said that, she received Minuscule Mountain and observed it closely. On Minuscule Mountain, because the Miniman GU Immortal had died, there was no leader left, the surviving Miniman were shivering in fear as they squeezed together. Monster. So scary, so scary. Don't eat me, I have too little meat, you won't be satisfied. Lady Wan Shou was beautiful and elegant, she had dazzling eyes, but in the eyes of the Miniman, she was like a huge monster, she looked terrifying. Lady Wan Shou looked at it for a while before moving her gaze away from Minuscule Mountain, she smiled lightly, Sister Li Shan is very lucky. She was a Wood Path GU Immortal who also cultivated Earth Path. Afterwards, because she obtained Mountain Pledge Immortal GU, she changed it into her core Immortal GU and became an Information Path GU Immortal without a solid foundation. In fact, her blessed land was still a wood path blessed land, it managed flowers and grass. Now that she has the Miniman to help her, it would be a huge advantage for her. Sister Li Shan is a member of Snowy Mountain Blessed Land, now that Minuscule Mountain is in our hands, it proves that our luck is growing, we are becoming more prosperous. My wife, that is not correct. Old ancestor Shui Hu shook his head, it's the opposite, this shows that our luck is declining. I want to refine fortune rivaling heaven GU, I need to use Ma Hong Yun as the main refinement material. Thus, fortune rivaling heaven is targeting me, causing me to encounter obstacles. Look at this minuscule mountain, it is on the verge of collapsing, to fix it, I will need to pay a huge price. These are the gains of our third leader, it naturally cannot be given up, she will definitely expend a huge amount of resources on it. This will indirectly affect my plan to collect immortal materials. A man's wealth is his own ruin by stirring another's greed. Right now, she obtained minuscule mountain, but it created a commotion and attracted enmity. A huge problem has arisen. The righteous path is taking action. Look, this is Yao Huang's letter. Yao Huang's letter. Lady Wan Shou was shocked. She quickly looked through the contents. In the letter, Yao Huang said, minuscule mountain was in Jade Pool blessed land. It is the possession of Dongfang tribe. Now that Dongfang tribe is exterminated, the world has been shaken. As people with the same bloodline, as descendants of giant son Immortal Venerable, Yao Huang was requesting on behalf of all the righteous path forces, to negotiate with old ancestor Shuihu and return minuscule mountain to the righteous path. In the letter, Yao Huang was very courteous, but Lady Wan Shou knew that this was the righteous path's demeanor. They were always like this, even if they had huge hatred or grudges, they would act politely on the surface and keep a gentlemanly tone in their speech. Lady Wan Shou could feel Yao Huang's overbearing attitude from the letter. She looked at old ancestor Shuihu worriedly. Husband, you only have 10 or so years until the next myriad tribulation, you cannot fight easily. If anything happens during the fight and you hurt your origin core, you will lose your foundation, and even if you succeed in refining fortune rivaling heaven GU, the losses will be greater than the gains. By the time your myriad tribulation arrives, if these losses cause you to fail. Old ancestor Shuihu laughed heartily. My wife, you are still the same. Yao Huang's letter is one of my trials, but it is also a chance. I have to make use of it and face it head on. Old ancestor Shuihu said that as he paused, his expression changed as he said resolutely, oh. He is here, it is great that he's here. Chapter 813, Grand Snow Power, Defeating Strong Foes. Lady Wan Shou looked up, her gaze piercing through snowy mountain blessed land towards the clear outside sky of northern plains. The sky had been clear, blue and cloudless above snowy mountain blessed land, but after Yao Huang arrived, his aura was so grand that winds and clouds swept through the sky, dyeing the sky orange and yellow. Yao Huang's voice arrived before his figure could even be seen. Old friend Shuihu, I seek your understanding for visiting without prior notice. His voice resounded throughout the area, piercing into snowy mountain blessed land, causing countless snowy peaks to tremble and accumulated snow to roll down. Some snowy peaks even had small avalanches. Ha ha ha, old ancestor Shuihu laughed heartily as he flew out of snowy mountain blessed land to the sky. The air behind him was filled with frost energy. The sky changed, one half shined with orange radiance while the other half repelled with frost energy. However, right at this moment, a wave of pitch black ink clouds flew over from the west. The ink clouds seethed violently, quickly spreading throughout the sky. It did not lose out to old ancestor Shuihu and Yao Huang, forcefully spreading its territory in the sky. Lady Wan Shou's expression changed and her heart sank, crying out, why did Heavenly Lord Baizu come as well? Ink clouds, frost energy and orange radiance seethed with irresistible force as they divided the surrounding sky into 3 sections. Old ancestor Shuihu sneered, Heavenly Lord, why are you here to join in the commotion rather than managing your force properly? Heavenly Lord Baizu coughed as he laughed dryly. Old friend Shuihu, it is merely minuscule mountain, how can it be of interest to you? It would be better if you return it to the righteous path and prevent some trouble. Lady Wan Shou's expression turned dark, and the demonic path GU immortals who had stayed behind in snowy mountain blessed land looked at the sky with stifled breaths. Heavenly Lord Baizu was part of the lone cultivator faction, but after the auction, he had been preparing to establish a righteous path force. Right now, he was working together with Yao Huang, and the situation did not look good for old ancestor Shuihu who was alone. However, at the next moment, old ancestor Shuihu raised his head and laughed loudly. His valiant spirit burst out. In that case, both of you can attack together, let's have a round of combat before any further talk. Saying so, he flew to the sky with a loud sound and directly tore open the heavenly wind chi wall, entering white heaven. Rank 8 GU immortals had such immense and terrifying power that it was hard for the surroundings to endure their wrath. Normally, when they fought, they would tacitly agree to enter the immemorial 9 heavens to avoid causing a catastrophe to the living beings on the surface. My friend, since you have such an interest, then I shall keep you company. Yao Huang's gaze flashed as he followed old ancestor Shuihu. Heavenly Lord Baizu was dazed for a moment before giving a bitter smile. Since old friend Shuihu is insistent, please forgive me for my following actions. The 3 rank 8 GU immortals entered white heaven. Shortly afterwards, explosions resounded out from the sky. The 3 have started the fight in white heaven. Someone exclaimed this among the central continent GU immortals. They had still not reached snowy mountain-blessed land and were an immense distance afar. Right now, as they looked at the sky, they could see space churning over a vast range, ink clouds seethed, white frost energy blew out and orange light filled the sky. The explosions were like lightning in the sky, they were never-ending and could make a listener's heart tremble. Quick, take advantage of their fight to enter snowy mountain-blessed land. Feng Jiuzhe looked on with a firm gaze before rapidly withdrawing it, a sharp light flashing past his eyes. The central continent GU immortals took deep breaths. These people were skillful and daring. After hearing Feng Jiuzhe's commands, they felt a long-awaited excitement and nervousness. They all increased their speed. Howl! Halfway along their route, they suddenly heard an ancient desolate beast's cry coming from the sky. The central continent GU immortals quickly evaded it. This is a remnant heavenly dog. The immortals stared blankly, recognizing this ancient desolate beast. Boom! The remnant heavenly dog crashed to the ground like a meteor, smashing open a huge crater. It struggled for a while before it turned motionless. Even this remnant heavenly dog was beaten out of white heaven. How can the power of rank 8s be so fierce? Just the repercussions of the battle could cause this remnant heavenly dog to die such a miserable death. Careful! The warning was just called out when hailstones started to fall down the sky. These hailstones were like the peaks of small mountains, raining down over the surroundings. Their frost energy was piercing to the bone, countless living beings froze to death, and the central continent GU immortals also could do nothing other than to make a detour. Crack! Suddenly, a thunderbolt struck down from the sky, brushing past the corner of Old Oracle's clothes. Old Oracle gave a miserable scream as he quickly pulled away from the dazzling lightning. Almost half of his body was gone, and he was instantly seriously injured, close to death. After a while, as the central continent GU immortals got closer to snowy mountain-blessed land, a cold wind blew, almost as if it was blowing their souls out of their physical body. The higher the cultivation of GU immortals, the greater the gap between each rank. There was simply a world of difference between rank 8 and rank 7. Since ancient times, characters that could fight against rank 8s with rank 7 cultivation were very rare. Over these recent years, the huge central continent had one such character, Feng Jiuzhe. The central continent GU immortals were blown from side to side, and were just barely able to maintain their concealment, but their expressions did not look good. All these signs suggested Northern Plains rank 8 GU immortals had battle strength that might slightly surpass that of rank 8s within central continent. Central continent had many more rank 8 GU immortals than Northern Plains. In the 5 regions, Northern Plains had the fewest rank 8 GU immortals. This was because of the frequent battles in Northern Plains. Among the 5 regions, Northern Plains GU immortals had the highest death rates. In Northern Plains, those that could carve out a path of blood through obstacles, standing at the peak and establishing their foothold at rank 8, were naturally not ordinary people. All of them were champions. It was impossible to merely achieve it through luck. Just the collateral damage of the battle in White Heaven could throw the central continent GU immortals in an awkward predicament. Old Oracle had restored his body after narrowly escaping death, but his expression still carried disbelieving shock as he muttered, "How is this possible? I actually was not able to predict this thunderbolt." Bu Fei Yan's gaze wavered as she wondered, if she was in Old Oracle's place, could she escape that thunderbolt with her movement ability? She could not help speaking. "Are we still continuing?" Chen Zhenkai looked up at the sky, which had now become like a tattered rag which had been patched up with a sew countless times. Techniques entangled with each other as they covered areas of all sizes. Some had seething dark clouds, some had cold winds, some had thunderbolts, and some had hailstones. It was truly a scene like the end of the world. These central continent GU immortals were not ordinary experts and had outstanding insight. They could see that these small areas were completely transformed by Dao marks. Some were filled with ice path Dao marks, some with lightning path Dao marks, some were of wind path, and some were of soul path. They were less than 1,000 li away from snowy mountain-blessed land, but this distance was extremely dangerous. It was filled with sinister and fatal traps. This is the gap between rank 7 and rank 8. The Dao marks in each of these single areas are more than what we have after bitter cultivation. Life and death is beyond one's control. How long has it been since I had such a feeling? Too dangerous, it's not worth throwing away our lives just to capture someone. The central continent GU immortals started to announce their intentions to retreat. Only Feng Jiuzhe remained unmoved as he kept moving ahead, his gaze calm as if he could not see the dangers around him. The central continent GU immortals felt their hearts shaking when they saw Feng Jiuzhe in this state. This guy is truly monstrous, being able to battle rank 8s with rank 7 cultivation. I could not normally sense it, but now that I think of it, Feng Juzhe is truly terrifying. No, even if he can battle rank 8s, it is only for a short while. Once our identities are exposed and the 3 rank 8 GU immortals attack us, our deaths are certain. This guy, Feng Juzhe, is facing death with indifference, moving ahead boldly. I had almost forgotten his origin as a person of the demonic path, he only converted to righteous path later on. The central continent GU immortals followed behind Feng Juzhe, communicating the intent to retreat with their gazes, but due to their reputations and their sect's names, they could not say it out loud and wanted others to say it first. It became harder to bear with every passing minute and second. Right as they were feeling awkward, Feng Juzhe, who was at the lead, suddenly stopped and held up his hand behind him. Stop. The GU immortals quickly stopped and saw Feng Juzhe looking up with a serious expression. They followed his gaze towards the sky, where all sorts of powers were still entangling and repelling each other. The GU immortals who had the capability to do so activated immortal killer moves to look beyond these barriers, into the scenery inside White Heaven. These GU immortals immediately cried out in shock. Inside White Heaven, where 3 rank 8s had been fighting, there was no longer a stalemate, instead, old ancestor Shui who occupied the upper hand. The Grand Frost energy suppressed Yao Huang's orange radiance till it was tightly withdrawn, and made Heavenly Lord Baizu's ink clouds retreat. I had not expected old ancestor Shui to have such powerful battle strength, fighting alone against 2, yet he has already grasped victory in such a short time. Feng Juzhe heaved a sigh, his expression one of admiration and regret. Retreat. The chance was lost, he immediately flew away without hesitation. The other GU immortals were already anxious to retreat, at this moment, they quickly retreated from this dangerous area without speaking. Heavenly Lord Baizu could finally endure no longer, saying, "Old friend Shui who has exquisite methods, I have learned a lot. We have lost." Yao Huang also said shortly afterwards, "The current state of Northern Plains is in turbulence, old friend Shui Hu, now is not the time to determine the winner and the loser. Since you have your sights on Minuscule Mountain, we can forget my previous suggestion. Until we meet again." Yao Huang was still bent on defending his reputation. Old ancestor Shui Hu laughed loudly and said with an unforgiving tone, "The 2 of you want to come and go as you please, what do you take me for?" When he finished speaking, heaven and earth started to tremor, the ground quaked and mountains shook. Endless frost energy descended, sweeping away all obstacles, the sky became clear with no more cold wind and thunderstorms. In a huge surrounding range, the ground was instantly covered with a layer of ice and snow. The temperature rapidly descended, the ground was frozen as if Northern Plains had returned to the cold winter from the warm spring. Boom, 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 3 explosions resounded from the sky. Echoes rumbled throughout the world, deafening like a lord of thunder shouting beside one's ears. The concealment of the central continent GU immortals lifted from this attack and their bodies staggered. Besides Feng Juzhe, everyone's ears were bleeding, their eardrums had broken. Leave quickly. All color drained away from the GU immortals' faces, the battle intent inside them fell to the abyss as they only concentrated on flying away. There was also a large earthquake in snowy mountain-blessed land. Primeval energy fluctuated rapidly, and the GU immortals inside shivered as both their bodies and minds suffered intense shocks. After a long while, the ground gradually stabilized. 6 mountain peaks of snowy mountain-blessed land were half destroyed, there were enormous fissures in the ground, and countless resources planted and stored in the blessed land were destroyed. However, snowy mountain-blessed land's GU immortals were flushed red with excitement, their eyes shining brightly. They looked far away where a tall male figure descended slowly from the sky. Old ancestor Shui Hu. From above him, pure white crystal clear powder was spreading with the wind. Feng Juzhe looked back at this sight, his pupils dilated as he muttered, "Split heaven powder, even White Heaven was split." Snowy mountain-blessed land's GU immortals, however, were ecstatic as they flew out of the blessed land and made greetings. This subordinate welcomes old ancestor. Now, the debate of who the strongest rank 8 of Northern Plains is, has been settled. Old ancestor has endless power, the greatest in Northern Plains. Yao Huang and Heavenly Lord Baizu had to retreat with their tails tucked between their legs. The demonic path GU immortals stopped one after the other in the air, and only Lady Wan Shou moved closer. "Dear," she spoke warmly with a proud expression which also contained worry. "Rest assured, I have my reservations, but Heavenly Lord Baizu and Yao Huang also have their own concerns. These 2 were coveting fortune rivaling heaven and did not want me to successfully refine it. I defeated both of them, now let's see who in Northern Plains has the guts to disturb my work." Old ancestor Shui Hu chuckled and continued, "It is just that I tore open the sky to white heaven above, and have to trouble you to repair it. Otherwise, desolate beasts and ancient desolate beasts will descend from the crack. Although they are of no threat, they will be a persistent bother." Lady Wan Shou relaxed after confirming her husband was all right. She poked at old ancestor Shui Hu's broad chest and said with a helpless tone, "Oh you." Chapter 814, Clarifying the Situation, New Transaction. Old ancestor Shui Hu fought two enemies by himself, defeating the collaboration of Yao Huang and Heavenly Lord Baizu. This battle shook Northern Plains. Information spread like the wind, the entire Northern Plains GU Immortal world went into chaos because of it. Furthermore, because the Central Continent GU Immortals saw this firsthand, information entered Central Continent, alerting many leaders of the 10 great ancient sects of Central Continent. They quickly engraved old ancestor Shui Hu's name deeply in their minds. A few days later, Central Continent, Hu Immortal Blessed Land. Fairy Li Shan and He Lu Lan visited, bringing first-hand information with them. Fang Yuan held this information path mortal GU as he shut his eyes. It was as if he was in snowy mountain blessed land. He was viewing from Fairy Li Shan's perspective. In the sky, the sight of the 3 rank 8 great experts fighting could be seen. From start to finish, their moves were grand and majestic. His mind was in a daze as he watched. Even though the distance was great, and the 3 were fighting far away in white heaven, but just from the naked eye, one could feel the imposing power of the rank 8s. Among GU Immortals, the higher the cultivation, the greater the difference. Between rank 6 and 7, there are some elites that can fight rank 7s occasionally. Between rank 7 and 8, the difference is immense, like the distance between the sky and earth. To fight rank 8s with rank 7 cultivation level, in the entirety of human history, it was extremely rare. By rank 9, one's own strength could dominate the world. There are no opponents left, one is invincible, the strongest in heaven and earth. Rank 8 GU Immortals are not a rank 9's match, they would always lose terribly, there had never been an exception. Looking over this scenery 3 times, Fang Yuan returned the GU worm to Fairy Li Shan. His eyes became clear when he opened them. Fang Yuan had already anticipated old ancestor Shui Hu's great power. In his previous life's memories, Central Continent had lost several huge battles because of him. He even killed some rank 8s from Central Continent. This time, by observing the battle personally, Fang Yuan had gained a deeper understanding of Northern Plains' situation. Northern Plains' righteous path has 2 rank 8 GU Immortals. They are Yao Huang and Prince Feng Xian. In terms of reputation, Yao Huang has the highest in the righteous path. While Prince Feng Xian is related to Central Continent, he is the biggest spy that Central Continent has hidden in Northern Plains. 88 Truyong building collapsed, Imperial Court Blessed Land was destroyed, Northern Plains is in turbulence, the arrangements that Giant Sun Immortal Venerable had made painstakingly were destroyed. With the breakdown of established customs and the competition for Immortal GU, the righteous and demonic paths went into intense battles, new hatred overlapped on old grudges one after another. Even though Qin Bai Sheng held the auction, the Immortals are only busy processing their gains currently. After a short while, their conflicts are only going to escalate. From Imperial Court Blessed Land destruction, Northern Plains' righteous path suffered the most, while the demonic path actually had great benefits. All along, Giant Sun Immortal Venerable's arrangements had been to establish his goal of a hereditary monarchy. The righteous path of Northern Plains is also the Huang Jin bloodline. They suppress the demonic path and lone cultivators greatly. Now that 88 Truyong building collapsed, the demonic path and lone cultivators have lost a large amount of pressure on them. Be it in my previous life or this current life, Heavenly Lord Baizu only created his super force after Imperial Court Blessed Land was destroyed. He is a rank 8 GU Immortal, but he does not have the Huang Jin bloodline. Even he is afraid of the combined pressure from all of the Huang Jin bloodline super forces. Heavenly Lord Baizu wants to establish a righteous force. He needs a good relationship with Yao Huang and the others. While steering clear of the demonic path, he needs to show proof of where he stands. Thus, when Yao Huang demanded Minuscule Mountain, he had to go with him. But he did not expect that old ancestor Shui Hu would be so fierce, actually defeating the combination of him and Yao Huang. To old ancestor Shui Hu, refining the rank 8 fortune rivaling Heaven Immortal GU is extremely eye-catching. Countless people are coveting it. None of the righteous path forces want him to succeed. Especially after the collapse of 88 Truyong building, the righteous forces are even more suspicious and wary of the demonic path. They are afraid of them rising up. But old ancestor Shui Hu needs a lot of resources to refine fortune rivaling Heaven Immortal GU. He sent his demonic path GU immortals all over the place to collect immortal materials. This caused many conflicts to occur, and it would only continue to escalate, creating more animosity and obstacles. Old ancestor Shui, who decided to fight just now, his greatest motive was to send a wave of deterrence over the northern plains GU immortal world, to clear the obstacles for refining fortune rivaling heaven immortal GU. Northern Plains' situation was originally gloomy with many undercurrents. It was like a volcano ready to explode. Now that old ancestor Shui, who had defeated both Yao Huang and Heavenly Lord Bai Zhu at the same time, it would have a huge impact. He simply swept away the obstacles ahead of him, skipping past the point of a large-scale battle between the righteous path and demonic path, bringing the demonic path into a position of great strength, pressuring the righteous path. In the following days, the demonic path in Northern Plains GU immortal world will be overbearing, while the righteous path will be lowering their heads. This is the aftermath of this battle. It affected the entire region. Fang Yuan was old and wise. He could see the situation clearly. Rank 6s, although they had surpassed the mortal realm, they are only the bottom tier of GU immortals. Rank 7s are the main pillars of strength. Rank 8s usually did not move rashly. Each of their actions, even if unintended, would cause huge repercussions and influence. For any series of events, each rank 8 GU immortal was a trendsetter. Rank 6 and rank 7 can only follow the main flow of events. When can I also become such an important character? A person who can dictate the flow. Fang Yuan could not help but think of this. Alright, Fang Yuan, we are here this time to bring what you needed to complete the transaction. Now, I am passing it all to you. Fairy Li Shan spoke. She brought Fang Yuan a group of White Lotus Giant Silkworm GU and a large number of Star Thought GU. As it turned out, Snowy Mountain Blessed Land knew about the location of Dongfang Chongfan's Blessed Land after he died because Fang Yuan provided them the details. Dongfang Chongfan had undergone possession and been restored to life. Since he had just become an immortal, no matter how high grade his immortal aperture was, there would be few resources inside. After Dongfang Chongfan died, the Blessed Land was formed as a whole entity. In terms of defense, it was far superior to a public Blessed Land. If a land spirit was formed, it might be filled with hatred towards Fang Yuan, or have an obsession of taking revenge on Fang Yuan. In addition, considering the force that was investigating Fang Yuan's background, he did not want to risk his own life just for Cleanse Soul Immortal GU. Thus, through Fairy Li Shan, he borrowed Snowy Mountain's forces to achieve his goals. The value of a blessed land was immense. Fairy Li Shan and Fang Yuan had an agreement. Fang Yuan would provide the information and tell her the location of the blessed land, basically giving this blessed land to Fairy Li Shan. In return, he wanted the White Lotus Giant Silkworm GU inside, as well as the ordinary Star Thought Mortal GU. As for the Immortal GU, Fang Yuan had already learned from Dongfang Chongfan's soul that they had all self-detonated. Fang Yuan obtained the White Lotus Giant Silkworm GU and controlled his joy. After seeing the huge amount of Star Thought GU, over 50,000 of them, he could not conceal the joy inside him any longer. It showed in his eyes. These 50,000 Star Thought GU simply came at such an appropriate time. It was truly timely assistance. Fairy Li Shan observed his expression and coughed, saying, "Congratulations Fang Yuan, right now, you gained the most from Dongfang tribe's destruction. After all, you obtained Dongfang Chongfan's soul. This is not just a complete wisdom path inheritance. Dongfang Chongfan's secrets in managing blessed lands have immense value. Moreover, you had obtained many resources inside Jade Pool Blessed Land as well." As Fairy Li Shan said this, she did not conceal her envy. Because the Snowy Mountain Alliance was not over yet, members of the alliance had to speak the truth. Fang Yuan did not conceal anything of the matter of obtaining Dongfang Chongfan's soul. He could not hide it anyway. There were many traces and clues left that could deduce the truth. Fang Yuan decided to simply inform Fairy Li Shan and He Lu Lan without hiding anything. At this moment, he said, "Fairy, you obtained Minuscule Mountain. That is an item recorded inside less than the legends of Ren Zhu greater than, its value is not inferior to what I obtained. You do not need to speak such flattery. You have Danghun Mountain, you do not need Minuscule Mountain. Hee, we all know inside ourselves that you are the biggest winner of this. Moreover, about Minuscule Mountain," Fairy Li Shan smiled bitterly, "I am here to ask you a favor, I am here to ask for help." Fang Yuan's expression turned solemn. "I am listening." It turned out that Fairy Li Shan and Dongfang tribe had made an agreement. As allies, they could not attack each other. But to fight for Minuscule Mountain, Fairy Li Shan went back on this agreement during the process. Although Fairy Li Shan only went into information path a while after becoming a GU Immortal, she had made preparations in case she had no choice but to go against the agreement. She had asked someone to use a time path Immortal killer move on her. The effect of this time path killer move was to allow Fairy Li Shan to break the alliance agreement. The backlash and damage from it would be stalled for a period of time before activating. Minuscule Mountain's Miniman tribe were only allies with Dongfang Chongfan. They did not belong to Dongfang tribe. Despite this, the backlash of breaking the agreement was still very severe. Fairy Li Shan was originally heavily injured. She was not confident of enduring this backlash. Thus, He Lu Lan thought of a good idea for Fairy Li Shan. Initially, Fairy Li Shan and Dongfang Chongfan made the agreement using Mountain Pledge GU. They had used Minuscule Mountain for it. If Minuscule Mountain was destroyed, the agreement would fail. There would be no backlash. But if Minuscule Mountain was destroyed, He Lu Lan and Fairy Li Shan's risk would have been for nothing. That was not an acceptable solution. He Lu Lan's idea was, after Minuscule Mountain was destroyed, when the time path killer move's effect wears off, after the backlash is over, they would ask Tai Bai Yunsheng to use landscape as before to heal the mountain. By then, Minuscule Mountain would be back to its original state. Even though Fairy Li Shan still would have the agreement with Dongfang tribe, as long as she did not break it again, it would be fine. Fairy Li Shan would be able to avoid the backlash of the agreement while fixing Minuscule Mountain. As to why they had to ask Fang Yuan, that was because Fairy Li Shan and He Lu Lan knew that between Fang Yuan and Tai Bai Yunsheng, Fang Yuan was the leader. Fang Yuan smiled. He agreed. This is a great idea, I am willing to help. As for the payment, we can discuss it in detail. Fairy Li Shan saw Fang Yuan's smile and her heart sank. She thought, here it comes. She knew how ruthless Fang Yuan was. She was definitely going to suffer a huge loss here. She smiled bitterly as she nodded. He Lu Lan, who was beside her, seemed prepared. She spoke now. Fang Yuan, if I am not wrong, your Hu Immortal Blessed Land is about to undergo its earthly calamity, right? How about this? I will stay here to defend Hu Immortal Blessed Land and resist the calamity. It can be the payment for asking Tai Bai Yunsheng to heal Minuscule Mountain. How about that? Chapter 815. Time Assist Luck, Delay, Zhou Yizi. Fang Yuan was a shrewd person. He immediately shook his head. The value of these two services is not equivalent at all. For you too, Tai Bai Yunsheng's landscape is before is a necessity. In my case, I can fully undergo the earthly calamity alone. Furthermore, old ancestor Shui, who is currently staying in Snowy Mountain Blessed Land now, and you, He Lu Lan, are not a member of Snowy Mountain Blessed Land. You are an outsider. You cannot stay there anymore. Using the excuse of the earthly calamity, you can hide inside my Hu Immortal Blessed Land. I have not even asked you for rent yet, but you actually want to use this as the payment for Tai Bai Yunsheng's help. Fang Yuan exposed He Lu Lan's awkward position. He Lu Lan was unabashed. She laughed, continuing to argue with Fang Yuan. The two sparred verbally, until a while later, they came to an agreement. He Lu Lan would stay in Fang Yuan's place for the time being, contributing strength chi without any compensation. The guts GU produced during this period would not have He Lu Lan's share. At the same time, when Hu Immortal Blessed Land faces the earthly calamity, He Lu Lan would need to help and defend it alongside Fang Yuan. After this transaction was completed, Fairy Li Shan was not anxious to leave. She talked to Fang Yuan regarding immortal materials. Fang Yuan obtained countless immortal materials in the auction. Fairy Li Shan wanted to buy them to deal with old ancestor Shui, whose mission of obtaining immortal materials. After Fairy Li Shan obtained Minuscule Mountain, old ancestor Shui, who only borrowed it to have a look, he did not take it from her. After old ancestor Shui, who defeated the two rank 8s, Snowy Mountain Blessed Land's status rose rapidly. Its reputation had soared to an unprecedented peak. Old ancestor Shui, who summoned Fairy Li Shan, using the reason that he had acted to protect Minuscule Mountain from Yao Huang, he requested for her to increase her contributions. He gave her many missions to collect immortal materials. Fairy Li Shan's current state was very awkward. She had just obtained Minuscule Mountain. Even though she asked Tai Bai Yunsheng for help to heal Minuscule Mountain and saved a huge cost, she was still very heavily injured. Originally, she had a lot of savings due to Mountain Pledge GU. She was quite affluent. But by funding He Lu Lan intensively, her savings were slowly depleted, and at this point, she was running dry. The cultivation of one person expended countless resources. It was not easy. Many GU Immortals did not have a steady source of revenue. Their income did not match their expenses. They could only offer their services and travel everywhere. Even if they had a source of revenue, there were often earnings and losses in trading. Things like Mountain Pledge GU and the Guts GU trade were very rare and unique, how could theirs be so widely demanded? Most importantly, there were heavenly tribulations and earthly calamities. Each time they occurred, a lot of resources and hard work would be destroyed. Even if the GU immortals survive the heavenly tribulation or earthly calamity, when they see their immortal aperture in bad shape, they would feel a strong sense of dejection. Fairy Li Shan was very bold. Other than supporting herself, she even helped He Lu Lan. He Lu Lan did not have a source of revenue, the two of them had huge needs for cultivation, she was providing for them both. But no matter how great her resolve was, her finances were starting to dwindle. Other than material objects like immortal essence stones and immortal materials, Fairy Li Shan still had a lot of other things. Many precious pieces of information were very valuable. Fairy Li Shan had a huge network, she was a top-tier information collector. Fang Yuan's immortal materials were meant to be used in the refinement path convention, but he had a huge quantity of them, it was fine to sell some to her. Fang Yuan nodded, but he requested for an immortal killer move from Fairy Li Shan. He had been wanting this immortal killer move for ages, right now was the chance to extort it. Fang Yuan had to make good use of the chance. Fairy Li Shan heard Fang Yuan's request and knew it was coming, she felt extremely bitter. But circumstances were stronger than people, even if Fairy Li Shan did not want to, what could she do? Time assist luck, this was the name of the immortal killer move that Fang Yuan requested from Fairy Li Shan. This immortal killer move used time luck immortal GU as the core, to steal other people's lifespan and boost the luck of oneself temporarily. Fang Yuan had obtained time luck immortal GU from Fairy Li Shan earlier. He had wanted to use inch of time GU in place of lifespan to activate time luck immortal GU, but the result was failure. Inch of time and time luck immortal GU, although they could be used together, the former was expended too intensively. Later, Fang Yuan wanted to deduce an immortal killer move to reduce the expenditure of inch of time GU. But he still failed. Although he could use the light of wisdom and gain unlimited inspiration, he had too few thoughts in his mind, it was not enough. Memory thought GU and malicious thought GU were still being refined, but the expenditure was greater than the production, he had little in storage. Even if he had enough thoughts, Fang Yuan's time path attainment level was too low, there was little hope of getting any success. But Fang Yuan knew that Fairy Li Shan had such an immortal killer move from the start, it used time luck immortal GU as the core. If he could use it well, it was a source of revenue not inferior to Mountain Pledge GU. Thus, Fang Yuan used this extremely rare opportunity to ask for this immortal killer move. After obtaining it, he checked it and felt some curiosity. He asked Fairy Li Shan, "Where did you get this killer move from?" "I am unable to answer that." Fairy Li Shan's expression was cold, her mood was terrible. Fang Yuan was taking advantage of the situation, but she had to ask him for help, she could only give in. The concept of this killer move is very familiar. Is it from a lone cultivator of Northern Plains, Zhou Yizi? This person was very famous during the Five Regions Chaotic War. He was originally a secluded cultivator that did not bother with worldly affairs, but when Northern Plains and Central Continent GU Immortals fought a huge battle, the battle went to the area he was staying in, causing him to rage and instantly capture 3 GU Immortals on the spot. Northern Plains asked him to fight, he refused, but because they were on the same side, he used a time path killer move on the Northern Plains GU Immortals to protect their lives. This killer move had a weird name, it was very short, only one word. Not long after, it spread across the 5 regions, and Fang Yuan had heard of its famed name in his previous life, it was called, delay. The effect of the killer move was to delay damage, leaving some time for the GU Immortals to find ways to heal themselves. For example, a GU Immortal who had delay used on him would not die from a fatal blow, the damage would be delayed for a time period before taking effect. Thus, the GU Immortal would have a chance to seek help. During this period, the GU Immortal can escape to get some time to recuperate and save himself. He can also fly to his ally and seek help. If it was a certain death situation, he could pass his cultivation resources to his descendants in the tribe, and place his blessed land in a secluded spot to not give his enemies any advantage. Even though Northern Plains GU Immortals had great battle strength, their numbers were fewer than those of Central Continent. Central Continent made the first moves, they formed arrangements and killed a batch of Northern Plains GU Immortals first, causing Northern Plains to be at a disadvantage, facing defeat time after time. But the appearance of delay reduced Northern Plains casualties greatly, it affected the battle situation to a large extent. In the end, Northern Plains and Central Continent were in a deadlock. Central Continent's plan of attacking and taking down Northern Plains rapidly was destroyed. If it really is Zhou Yizi, then Fairy Li Shan's ability to delay the damage of the alliance agreement would be the killer move delay. I really cannot ignore Fairy Li Shan's connections, she could actually get this lone cultivator to help, I wonder what price she paid. Fang Yuan felt that this guess was quite probable. Among GU immortals, there were many who hid their presence, they did not travel around, battle, or attend gatherings, they usually stayed in seclusion and cultivated. Many people would be unknown to the world after their deaths, even if they had astonishing achievements. For example, the owner of Starry Sky Grotto Heaven, when he was alive, he concealed himself very deeply and did not have much of a reputation, only until Starry Sky Grotto Heaven was exposed, did his high cultivation level get revealed. There were quite a number of such GU immortals. They were present among rank 6, rank 7, and even rank 8. At least, Fang Yuan knew that there were more than 5 rank 8 GU immortals in Northern Plains, only that they were hiding themselves. Fang Yuan also thought about Purple Mountain True Monarch, this mysterious GU immortal did not show himself even once during the 5 regions chaotic war. He could not but be moved, thinking to himself, countless streams flow into rivers, there is simply no end to the number of heroes and champions in this world. From start to finish, Fairy Li Shan did not expose any information regarding Zhou Yizi. This transaction, even though she paid a high price, was still successful, she had reached her goal. Fairy Li Shan brought the immortal materials back to Snowy Mountain Blessed Land. For the following period of time, she was going to recuperate from her injuries and resolve the issue of the alliance agreement. She also had to find out about methods to raise Miniman, to gain the most benefits in the shortest possible time. Meanwhile, Heilu Lan stayed behind. Fang Yuan brought her along as they flew, in a short while, they reached their destination. The two looked down from above, they saw that on the ground that was lush and green with vegetation, there were 3 humongous black-gray structures. These were the 3 stone nests in Hu Immortal Blessed Land. The stone nests had countless rooms inside, each room had at least 1 hairy man, they were refining GU constantly, in an orderly fashion. This was the idea of a production line that was borrowed from Earth, resulting in a huge GU refinement base that was created. Splitting the refinement procedure of a GU worm into dozens of steps, or even hundreds, and making each hairy man in charge of each step. Not only could the GU recipe be kept as a secret, the familiarity of the hairy man will be higher, the success rate and quantity of the GU refinement would be higher. In the stone nests, air sac GU were being produced. Of course, there were explosions in the stone nests, they could be both mild or serious, fire could even break out, as the hairy men were engulfed in flames, crying in pain. But the screams and cries would not travel to other rooms and interfere with the refinement from the other hairy men. Each room had perfect soundproofing methods, not only were disturbances minimized, the hairy men were also prevented from communicating, this made them easier to control, they had no choice but to refine GU. GU refinement carried risks, in fact, it was of similar danger to fighting. Once explosions occurred due to accidents, the room would be filled with GU worms that spat out water to eliminate the fire, or to heal the injuries. When GU refinement failed, the hairy men which suffered backlashes would be lucky if they survived. The price for failure in some cases was death. In other cases, their brains might wither, they might go crazy, they might become handicapped, unable to refine GU anymore. Fang Yuan would heal mild injuries. But if they were heavily injured and became vegetables, the price for treating them would be too great, Fang Yuan would abandon and euthanize them. Chapter 816. Hairy Men, White Silkworm, 2 Tough Questions. GU were the essence of heaven and earth, mortal GU contained a trace of law fragments of the Great Tao, while immortal GU were fragments of the Great Tao. GU refinement involved the fusion and interaction of the laws of the Great Tao, it was even more mystical than chemistry, and even more dangerous than processing gunpowder. Fang Yuan was in the air, he observed for a while, more than 10 hairy men had failed GU refinement, they suffered injuries, a few of them died on the spot. He could not help but sigh inwardly. As my production expands, the loss of hairy men is becoming a bigger issue. Hairy man slaves were most expensive among slaves, they were even more expensive than human GU masters. This might be quite shocking, how could the price of humans be lower than mere hairy men? The answer was simple, humans were the spirit of living beings, the human mind was fickle, they were not easy to control. Variant humans were comparatively more simple-minded, Fang Yuan could control so many hairy men, making them refine GU all day long, only giving them time to eat and sleep, with none allocated to leisure. If these hairy men were human GU masters, this life would be impossible. If human GU masters engaged in such strenuous activities for an extended period without rest or entertainment, they would feel extremely angry and hateful. They would attempt to resist. The arrangement of the stone nest was very simple. It could not block the intelligence of humans. They would definitely cause destruction secretly, and communicate with each other. When the time was ripe, they would resist by protesting, or directly revolt using their own strength. Thus, Fang Yuan chose to buy hairy men slaves which were most expensive, rather than placing his attention on human GU masters. This was also one of the reasons why Fairy Li Shan desperately wanted Minuscule Mountain. It was not just because of the GU refinement materials in Minuscule Mountain, but also because it was the base of a Miniman tribe. Controlling this tribe would grant her great benefits. Otherwise, the old and sly Dongfang Chongfan would not have signed an agreement with the Miniman tribe. In the past, I could not feel the loss of hairy men. That was because the scale was still small. Now that I have 3 stone nests, and with the GU refinement processes becoming tougher, the effect is becoming evident. If this goes on, a problem will arise if I do not create a solution. Fang Yuan was trying to think of a way. At this moment, He Lu Lan also advised, Fang Yuan, your loss of hairy men is a bit high. In a month, you lose at least 100 hairy men. It is quite costly if we think about it. If you can reduce this number, our cost would lower, and the profit of Guts GU would be higher. If she was not roped into the Guts GU trade, she would not have said it. But now that the Guts GU trade also involved He Lu Lan's interests, she had to mention it when she saw a problem. Fang Yuan nodded. There are 2 ways to solve this problem. One is to modify the GU recipe and reduce the risk. By further splitting up and simplifying the steps, I can make every step safer, and have a higher chance of success. The second method is to raise my own hairy man tribe. I would not need to purchase them at a high price. He Lu Lan shook her head. The first method is too difficult. GU recipes are usually the result of countless improvements. To diversify the steps on this basis and modify the recipe, it is too difficult. The effort and resources needed to undergo experiments will be a huge sum. She did not think well of modifying the GU recipe. What she did not know was, Fang Yuan had wisdom GU. Even though he could not activate it, the light of wisdom could give him unlimited inspiration. To Fang Yuan, the difficulty in modifying the recipe was about whether he had enough thoughts in his mind to expend. Fang Yuan would obviously not say this out loud. He spoke without changing his expression. The second method is just as hard. I do not have any methods of raising hairy men. The ones sold in the market are usually male hairy men. Very few females and children are sold. This is also to prevent other GU immortals from raising them. Raising hairy men, a variant human, was much more difficult than raising wild beasts and plants. Countries were hard to manage. That was because the citizens had wisdom. Even though this was on a larger scale, the logic remained the same. The more wisdom they had, the harder they were to control. The hairy men would know how to rebel. They would find loopholes and create problems on a large scale. Fang Yuan knew clearly. With his current foundation, he would definitely lose everything he invested if he raised hairy men. His previous life's memories could not help him here. He vaguely remembered, from his life back on Earth. He raised goldfish. He did not change the water or give them oxygen. He only knew how to feed them food. In 3 days, one died, and in half a month, all his goldfish died. Raising hairy men was obviously harder than goldfish. The nature of hairy men, their living habitats, all these needed to be considered. It was a huge field to study. Fang Yuan had raised rockmen before. In fact, the rockman tribe in Hu Immortal Blessed Land was still quite large. But that was because of Guts GU. It could raise the soul foundation of the rockmen and cause them to rapidly reproduce, providing future generations. This was clearly a cheat method, if Fang Yuan had to raise these rockmen normally. In 2 to 3 years, no matter how many rockmen he started with, they would go extinct. Of course, he could buy knowledge in raising hairy men from other GU immortals. Back then, when Fang Yuan wanted to grow the star fragment grass, he bought some planting insights. But the difference in value between the two was immense. To buy the knowledge of raising hairy men, the price to pay would be extremely heavy. Like on Earth, acquisition of an enterprise in the top 100 would involve a huge amount of funds. Even if Fang Yuan stored up all of his profits starting from now, with his speed of profit generation, he would need to accumulate them for many years to get enough. Right now, I have about 20 to 30 immortal essence stones in my storage. Even though I obtained the dragonfish, regretful spiders, and eerie fire dragon pythons, and I even obtained the method to raise them from Dongfang Chongfan's soul, but I need to invest and build the structures. Even if I finish building them, I cannot sell these resources directly into Treasure Yellow Heaven, I need to find other avenues. After all, I cannot stand in the limelight now. Fang Yuan smiled bitterly inwardly. All in all, his future prospects were bright, but his current circumstances were in an awkward place. Fang Yuan shrugged off the random thoughts in his mind. He said to He Lu Lan, "All right, I have already told Little Who Immortal and made the arrangements, I won't be sending you off. For the following period of time, you can stay in the stone nest. I have already given orders, right now the 3 stone nests are refining air sac GU, do assist them. When the earthly calamity arrives, I will call you if I need your help." He Lu Lan felt something amiss when she heard that. From Fang Yuan's tone, he was treating her as a laborer. Fang Yuan saw her ugly expression and did not react, he pretended not to see it. If he did not squeeze out all of He Lu Lan's value, would that be his style? After settling He Lu Lan's matters, Fang Yuan returned to Dang Hun Palace. Opening the hidden door, he entered the secret room. He saw Dong Fang Chong Fan's soul again. His soul was extremely weak, being sealed here, even though he saw Fang Yuan, he could not move. Fang Yuan intentionally weakened him, resulting in Dong Fang Chong Fan's soul being very weak. Fang Yuan did not dare to be careless, to an old fox like this, he was very vigilant. But to search his soul again, he needed to replenish it first. Thus, Fang Yuan broke some air sac GU, using guts GU on Dong Fang Chong Fan's soul. His soul rapidly recovered, in the blink of an eye, it was half healed. Fang Yuan stretched out his monstrous claw, grabbing the soul and searching it. Dong Fang Chong Fan did not resist it at all. Fang Yuan had already searched his soul thoroughly, he had no secrets left in front of Fang Yuan. It was as if he resigned himself to fate, he had lost his heart. A legendary character, falling into such a state, it was quite pitiful. Fang Yuan was vigilant regardless. After searching the soul, he inspected all of the GU worms he set up in this room to prevent any accidents from occurring. Dong Fang Chong Fan's soul did not even have a tiny bit of hope left. All these movements were observed by Dong Fang Chong Fan's soul, he inwardly felt a freezing chill. Why did he end up in the hands of such a person? There was no way out, this was a dead end, he had no methods left. As he despaired, he felt a peculiar sense of admiration. In Fang Yuan, Dong Fang Chong Fan could almost see himself. Fang Yuan left the secret room, closing the hidden door, he inspected the door again and ensured that there were no issues before returning to the main hall. He sat on the bed, star thoughts were moving in his mind as he fell into deep thought. Dong Fang Chong Fan no longer had any secrets, he was squeezed dry. But Fang Yuan kept him around, it was a possible card for use in a future scheme to obtain Minuscule Mountain. Right now, Minuscule Mountain was owned by Fairy Li Shan, but because of the Snowy Mountain Alliance, Fang Yuan could not snatch it. But the alliance agreement was not impossible to circumvent, like Fairy Li Shan's Time Path Killer move that could delay the damage of breaking the agreement. In addition, the Snowy Mountain Alliance had a time limit. Dong Fang Chong Fan and Minuscule Mountain had an agreement. From Dong Fang Chong Fan, Fang Yuan learned that the agreement was made with Mountain Pledge GU using Minuscule Mountain. The agreement was not just between Dong Fang Chong Fan and the Miniman GU Immortal, but was made with Dong Fang Tribe and the Miniman Tribe. Fairy Li Shan was definitely going to raise the Miniman Tribe, and make use of them. With this, Dong Fang Chong Fan's soul still had some use, it was an effective weapon. But this effective weapon could not be used at this point, and he might perhaps not get a chance to use it in the future. But Fang Yuan kept this as a secret, it was a casual move, he would rather keep it prepared it just in case. He was thinking about the White Lotus Giant Silkworm GU now. This time, he searched Dong Fang Chong Fan's soul for information about White Lotus Giant Silkworm GU. Cleansed Soul Immortal GU needed the flesh of more than 10,000 White Lotus Giant Silkworm GU each time it was fed. What Fang Yuan obtained was less than this amount. He had inspected and confirmed once again that Dong Fang Chong Fan's White Lotus Giant Silkworm GU were only an unexpected benefit. That place was a natural cave and was created in a mystical way by nature, it was an environment that was suitable for White Lotus Giant Silkworm GU to live. Furthermore, Dong Fang Chong Fan captured all of these GU worms, he did not leave any behind. A large portion of them were used in the Phantom Formation, they played a critical role. The remaining portion that was not used was now in Fang Yuan's hands. Right now, Fang Yuan had two choices. One was to use the limited White Lotus Giant Silkworm GU and undergo experimentation, reverse refining its recipe or even trying to obtain the method to raise White Lotus Giant Silkworm GU. If this method worked, he would have an unceasing source of White Lotus Giant Silkworm GU. But if this fails, and all of the White Lotus Giant Silkworm GU were consumed in the experiments, Cleansed Soul Immortal GU would die of hunger. There would definitely be not enough White Lotus Giant Silkworm GU left to feed it. The other method was to feed it now. To leave aside the experiments are the long-term advantages. In this case, the White Lotus Giant Silkworm GU were still insufficient, but it would allow Cleansed Soul Immortal GU to become less hungry, no longer under the threat of dying for now. Fang Yuan still had some hope that Dongfang Chong Fan might have a place to obtain White Lotus Giant Silkworm GU, so that he could get a number of them. But this soul search ruined his wishful thoughts. After thinking about it for a while, Fang Yuan opened his eyes, making up his mind. Chapter 817, Great Tool for Deduction, Star Thoughts. Never mind, I should play it safe and use these for feeding. Cleansed Soul Immortal GU is already starving to its limits, it is very weak now. If I do not feed it and drag this on, it will die. As for the next feeding session, I can only place hope in the future. Fang Yuan was of the demonic path, he liked to take risks, but he did not take them blindly. He always assessed the benefits and risks. Having a mentality of leaving things to chance and thinking one's own luck is good, to put up stakes on chances that are low, the cruelty of reality would teach them a lesson until they suffer greatly and end up full of bruises. Cleansed Soul Immortal GU was in Fang Yuan's immortal aperture. It was the size of a grown-up's fist, it was like a tadpole, its body was gray-white and dry, it was sprawled on the ground, not moving at all. Fang Yuan willed and used his GU to dissect the White Lotus Giant Silkworm GU, retrieving the meat and placing it in front of Cleansed Soul Immortal GU. Cleansed Soul Immortal GU's body shook, but it did not have any strength to crawl to the food. Fang Yuan could only place Cleansed Soul Immortal GU on the meat. Cleansed Soul Immortal GU moved about before calming down, slowly sucking the blood in the meat quietly. After a while, the blood entered its stomach and it regained a bit of strength. It opened its mouth and started to eat the White Lotus Giant Silkworm GU's tender flesh. The more it ate, the more its dry body inflated like a balloon, it became chubbier once again. Its gray-white body also showed a faint luster. When all of the White Lotus Giant Silkworm GU were killed, and the meat given to Cleansed Soul Immortal GU were all eaten, Cleansed Soul Immortal GU was no longer as weak as before, it could fly in the sky. It was like a gray-white tadpole, its round head was like a small balloon, its tail was wriggling around behind it as it swam slowly like an old man without much strength. It opened its mouth occasionally, its mouth was half the size of its head, right now, it could open it and make some soft noises. Fang Yuan knew that it was trying to express that it still wanted more food. But all of the White Lotus Giant Silkworm GU were used up, not a single one was left. Even though Cleansed Soul Immortal GU was not satisfied, Fang Yuan sighed in relief. For now, Cleansed Soul Immortal GU had escaped the awkward fate of dying from hunger. After all, Fang Yuan had been ready to give up on it. Now that it was still alive, this was a good ending. Most importantly, he managed to get precious time for it. One could not be certain about the future, anything is possible. Cleansed Soul Immortal GU was not full, thus Fang Yuan kept it while trying not to use it. After temporarily solving Cleansed Soul Immortal GU's feeding problem, Fang Yuan could relax, but he did not take a break. Instead, he made use of his time and rushed into an underground cave again. In the underground cave, there was a G-forest. The tallest Lingzi king was 6 meters tall, reaching the ceiling of the cave. The flesh of the Lingzi was like a huge umbrella, spreading out in a circular manner. When Fang Yuan reached here, he saw that the rank 9 wisdom GU was flying around this Lingzi king. It was like a child playing around, flapping its wings and bobbing up and down. At times, it bumped into the Lingzi king and was bounced back by the rubbery flesh. Fang Yuan's was inwardly moved. He had many immortal GU, but compared to them, the rank 9 wisdom GU had much more intelligence. It was quite extraordinary. Thinking about less than the legends of Ren Zhu greater than, wisdom GU, strength GU, and the others could speak to Ren Zhu. Of course, this might have been exaggeration from the story. But Fang Yuan knew that wisdom GU could be communicated with. Precisely because of this, Fang Yuan could bring wisdom GU away during the final moments before Imperial Court blessed land's destruction, and be able to use its light of wisdom now. After seeing Fang Yuan, wisdom GU stopped flying, it stopped on the thick stem of the Lingzi king. After Fang Yuan sat down on a shorter Lingzi like it was a chair, wisdom GU started to give off the halo of the light of wisdom, covering Fang Yuan in it. Fang Yuan activated Star Thought GU. Star Thought GU was a one-time consumable GU, with the expenditure of each star thought GU, the thoughts in Fang Yuan's mind moved rapidly and generated endlessly. At once, in his mind, starlight specks were created. A moment later, it was like the night sky, countless stars were shining brightly, it was a beautiful sight. Fang Yuan tried to make deductions. Instantly, star thoughts in his mind burst into action, it was like water poured into a hot pan. Star specks moved like meteors, starlight spun around, they collided into one another or repelled each other. His inspiration was unlimited, there were many aspects of deduction, he obtained many answers from the complex procedure, it was completed in a moment. Fang Yuan stopped at once, he opened his eyes, showing immense joy in his expression. Earlier, he was just giving it a try, this wisdom path inheritance really did not disappoint him, it was even better than his expectations. Dongfang Chongfan's wisdom path inheritance is truly suited for deductions. Star thoughts are so durable, my initial estimation is that one star thought can substitute for 3 to 4 malicious thoughts and memory thoughts. Fang Yuan assessed in his mind. In wisdom path there were 3 aspects, thoughts, wills and emotions. But thoughts varied greatly, there were all sorts of thoughts, it could be said that there were countless kinds of them. Thoughts were all different, they had their own advantages and weaknesses. For example, malicious thoughts were good for plotting against others, memory thoughts were good for digging up information in memories. But these two were just average when used for deductions. Star thoughts were not good at plotting or digging up memories, but they were extremely useful for deductions. One star thought was equivalent to 3 to 4 other thoughts, this might seem rather insignificant. But looking at it, how many thoughts were expended to deduce one immortal killer move or immortal GU recipe? When this amount becomes huge, the difference would be great. When hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands or even millions of thoughts are consumed, the advantage of using star thoughts to do deductions would be immense. One could say that this star thought wisdom path inheritance was most suited for Fang Yuan. All along, he had been restricted by the number of thoughts he had. The light of wisdom had intense expenditure, it could use up any number of thoughts quickly. Fang Yuan had many things to deduce in accordance with his plans. The first was the immortal killer move vaguely familiar face, previously, he did not succeed, he only finished a portion of it. The second was to complete the immortal GU recipe of blood deity. He did not succeed either with that, he only gave it a small attempt. The third was to deduce an immortal killer move to allow time luck immortal GU and inch of time to work together, to reduce the consumption of inch of time while amplifying one's own luck temporarily. Fang Yuan had tried this earlier, but he failed because his time path attainment level was too low. Now, he did not have to deduce it anymore, because Fang Yuan had obtained an even better immortal killer move from Fairy Li Shan, time assist luck. Fourth was to fuse pulling mountain and pulling water, these two strength path immortal GU, into the immortal killer move myriad self, and make myriad self even stronger. The fifth was to modify air sac GU and the other GU refinement recipes, to subdivide the steps even further, to lower the risk of GU refinement and reduce the death rate of the hairy men. Fang Yuan breathed in deeply, calming his mind. Vaguely familiar face was the one that he needed to place most importance in deducing, because the situation in the outside world was getting more tense. If Fang Yuan wanted to move around, he needed an immortal level disguise to prevent his identity from being exposed. Air sac GU and the other GU recipes were not an urgent matter. Moreover, this plan involved too many details. In the future when Fang Yuan expanded his GU refinement scale, he would not be refining just air sac GU, memory thought GU, malicious thought GU and star thought GU. As for blood deity, it was only a long-term plan, it was not even necessary to him. After all, Fang Yuan was cultivating strength path now, and was planning to cultivate time path or wisdom path, he did not want to develop blood path. If it was in the past, Fang Yuan would naturally deduce the immortal killer move vaguely familiar face first, but now that immortal blessed land was facing its earthly calamity soon, Fang Yuan's first priority was to fuse pulling mountain immortal GU into myriad self-killer move. Fang Yuan shut his eyes and settled his mind, he deduced with all his concentration. Starlight reacted in his mind, as countless star thoughts rumbled. Time passed, an hour, 4 hours, half a day, 1 day, 2 days later. On the afternoon of the third day, Fang Yuan opened his eyes, even with his immortal zombie physique, exhaustion was written all over his face, he was very tired. I finally fused pulling mountain immortal GU into my killer move, myriad self. Myriad self's power has risen by 10%. If I am dealing with earth path GU immortals, or any mountains or rocks, the effect would be even greater, at least 20% higher. Fang Yuan inspected his star thought GU. There were about 40,000 star thought GU left in his immortal aperture. He originally had 50,000 star thought GU, in other words, this deduction used up 10,000 star thought GU. Star thought GU were really durable. Of course, this durability is only for deductions. If I used star thought GU to plot against others or think about harmful schemes, malicious thought GU would be better. In terms of recollection, star thought GU is inferior to memory thought GU. Be it star thought GU, memory thought GU, or malicious thought GU, he still had to refine them and keep a huge stock. This was a huge project, it was a long-term goal. Looking at the time, it was still not the point of who Immortal blessed land's calamity. But if he used the remaining time to deduce the Immortal killer move vaguely familiar face, it was insufficient, he could not get anything done. Fang Yuan thus returned to Danghun Palace, continuing to research on the Wisdom Path inheritance. This Immortal level Wisdom Path inheritance had a lot of information. There were hundreds of Mortal GU recipes, more than 10 Immortal GU recipes, dozens of Mortal killer moves, and close to 10 Immortal killer moves. They comprised offense, defense, movement, storage, healing, and others. Other than that, there were many Wisdom Path techniques and methods. For example, secret arts that could expand the size of the mind, or the modification of the heart into a space for additional thinking, unique methods like that. There was even knowledge about astronomy and geography, the map of the 5 regions' resources, the analysis of Northern Plains forces, an introduction to all sorts of dangers one can face when cultivating, and how to resolve them. Most importantly, there were details on how a GU master can undergo immortal ascension, an introduction to all sorts of heavenly tribulations and earthly calamities and how to deal with them. Of course, there were details about other paths, like fire path, metal path, space path and time path, the strengths and weaknesses of these paths, what needs do they have and how to deal with them in combat. There were even some insights on how to handle management, especially in a GU Immortal's blessed land, to allow one to survive and progress further. One could say that this was a GU Master's encyclopedia to become a GU Immortal. It allowed one to be realistic and decipher what was easy and hard, to gain methods of dealing with enemies and grow stronger. This inheritance was not just the credit of the creator, the Heavenly Court Star Path GU Immortal. Each of the GU Immortals who cultivated after receiving this inheritance had added in more details and modified the information. After generations and generations of effort and hard work, this cultivation encyclopedia was created. Fang Yuan could see much of the ancient history of Central Continent and Northern Plains in it. And at the end of the information on Immortal killer moves, Fang Yuan saw that the last, newest edition was the previous owner's, Dongfang Chong Fan's, Immortal killer move, Myriad Star Fireflies. Chapter 818. Vanishing Immortal Essence Dissipation, Profound Ice House. This inheritance's value could not be expressed in words, it was even more huge than the blood path inheritance that Fang Yuan obtained in his previous life. Even Fang Yuan was sighing. If I had obtained this inheritance earlier, be it this life or my previous life, I would have become a GU Immortal long ago. Fang Yuan had spent so many years staggering along his cultivation journey, crossing rivers carefully by stepping on every rock, finally reaching his achievements today. In contrast, when Dongfang Chong Fan was still immortal, he received this inheritance. His luck was truly something to be envious about. Eastern Sea, Yulu Blessed Land. It was drizzling with a thin fog in the air. The GU Immortals from Eastern Sea Zombie Alliance were trapped inside, they were looking for an exit vigilantly. Damn it, don't let the rain touch you, it has the ability to consume your immortal essence. The expression of the leading immortal zombie, Shark Demon, changed as he shouted at the immortals behind him. Shark Demon had rich experience, he reacted rapidly. The moment he saw the ability of this seemingly harmless drizzle, he knew this was an attack. Hearing his warning, the immortals used all sorts of methods and put up their defenses, blocking the drizzle. But it was no use. This drizzle penetrates everything. Is this the immortal killer move that Fairy Yulu was famous for, Vanishing Immortal Essence Dissipation Rain? An immortal zombie thought of a crucial piece of information, as his expression turned very ugly. Even the great Vanishing Immortal Essence Dissipation Rain cannot have such incredible ability, our defenses have literally no effect. Another immortal zombie shouted, showing an extremely shocked expression. I got it. In the previous round, we were hit by the immortal killer move, Raindrop Equity. Thus, in this round, our defenses have no use against the Vanishing Immortal Essence Dissipation Rain, we can only let it touch us. Immortal zombie Su Bai Man's eyes shined with brilliance as she said. The immortals communicated rapidly, the moment they got the answer, their hearts sank. This was not the first time they were attacking Yulu Blessed Land. There were many rounds in Yulu Blessed Land, each round was interconnected with others and was very difficult to deal with. Immortal zombies consisted of most of this group of GU Immortals. There were a total of 7 people, 5 were immortal zombies. Immortal zombies have dead immortal apertures, they cannot manage their blessed lands that are filled with death energy, they could not produce immortal essence naturally. Thus, if immortal zombies wanted to have immortal essence, they would need to convert it using immortal essence stones. Immortal essence of immortal zombies was much more precious compared to ordinary GU immortals, they were not easy to obtain. Now that the immortals were in this round, before they had even fought, the vanishing immortal essence dissipation rain was already vaporizing their immortal essence, it was hitting at their weakness. Seeing the immortal essence that they had painstakingly saved up vanish bead by bead, the immortal zombies felt a strong sense of loss. They discussed among themselves and quickly came to an agreement, they had to get through this round quickly and find a way out, otherwise they would be in danger. The immortals used all sorts of methods, but an hour later, they made no progress. Oh no, this battlefield killer move is so hard to resolve, more than 30 beads of my immortal essence have melted. Fairy Yulu was the second disciple of Paradise Earth Immortal Venerable, she was a rank 8 great expert. Paradise Earth Immortal Venerable was most skilled in battlefield killer moves. Fairy Yulu was Paradise Earth Immortal Venerable's disciple, she had learned the core of this ability, not only did she know many battlefield killer moves, she even innovated and created her own versions. This battlefield killer move was her personal creation, it was not recorded in history. This battlefield killer move has no attacking power, but it has a huge range. When used with vanishing immortal essence dissipation rain, it is being used to drain us to nothing. What shall we do? Almost all of their methods were used up, the GU Immortals were starting to panic. Shark Demon, the leader, had a grim expression, he looked at the Wisdom Path GU Immortal in the group as he shouted, "Bodan, what are you doing? It's been so long, haven't you deduced the flaw in this battlefield killer move?" Bodan had his forehead covered in sweat from the scolding, he replied in anxiety and worry, "I'm unable to. This battlefield killer move is simply too profound, it surpasses the previous battlefield killer move by a huge margin. The Wisdom Path inheritance I have is incomplete, I cannot think of a way to break through this." This Bodan was a living person and a Wisdom Path GU Immortal, but he was scolded by the immortal zombie Shark Demon fiercely, he cowered like a helpless puppy. Eastern Sea Zombie Alliance was the headquarters of Zombie Alliance, it was different from the other 4 regions, it had a huge force and surpassed ordinary super forces by a margin. The Zombie Alliance headquarters not only had many immortal zombie experts, it also had living GU Immortals. These living GU Immortals had lower statuses than immortal zombies in most cases. Shark Demon's anger resided slightly after he shouted, he said with some regret, "Bodan is powerless. Our only choice is to use Profound Ice House and forcefully attack, to see if a path can be created." The other GU Immortals were overjoyed, their eyes shined, to think that Lord Shark Demon borrowed Profound Ice House for this trip. Tai Bai Yunsheng's eyes were also shining. In Eastern Sea, Zombie Alliance was very powerful, it was a ruler of the region, it was a senior among the super forces. For instance, it had 3 immortal GU houses. Of course, only one was complete, the other 2 were extremely incomplete. But even an incomplete immortal GU house could be forcibly activated, it had great power. Shark Demon was a rank 7 expert, ever since he took the mission from Eastern Sea Zombie Alliance's main base to attack Yulu Blessed Land, he had entered the Blessed Land multiple times and passed many rounds. The more rounds they passed, the more emphasis he placed on Yulu Blessed Land. This time, when exploring the Blessed Land, he had borrowed Profound Ice House from Zombie Alliance after paying a huge price, due to the urging of his wife, Su Bai Man. Shark Demon took out Profound Ice House, this house was not big, it was like a ball that resembled a block of ice. Once it was taken out, the air turned cold, many GU Immortals felt a chill. Shark Demon did not speak, he opened the door of the house, entering it. Next, his beloved wife Su Bai Man went in, followed by the other 5. Inside the house, there was a huge ball-shaped space with no furniture. The immortals were floating inside, and they were surrounded by a cold white light. Within the white light, there were traces of golden light, in several breaths' time, the golden light stabilized, they were like golden threads weaving together into a formation chart. Shark Demon ordered the immortals to stand on the formation core, he said, "Everyone, expend your immortal essence and activate this immortal GU house. This immortal GU house will record how much immortal essence you put in." Everyone knew that activating this immortal GU house would expend immortal essence extensively. This activation was probably going to be higher than the amount they had lost in the vanishing immortal essence dissipation rain. If not for this weakness, Shark Demon would have used the immortal GU house long ago. This time, they charged into Yulu blessed land without killing any strong enemies or encountering any battles, but they had made such a loss, they consumed a lot of immortal essence, everyone was feeling gloomy. But hearing this, they restrained their gloomy thoughts and put in all their effort. Several minutes later, on the calm surface of Eastern Sea, a huge icy meteor flew out. The meteor charged out at a high speed, penetrating the water surface and reaching tens of meters into the sky in the blink of an eye. The meteor stopped suddenly in the air, it went from high speed to stillness, showing its true form. It was the rank 6 immortal GU house, incomplete profound ice house. Come out. In the house, Shark Demon said with a look of dejection. Immediately, the doors opened and the immortals flew out, floating in the air. In the air, the immortals looked down. The sea had turbulent waves, it was no longer calm like before, this was caused by profound ice house emerging to the surface. But the immortals' mind were all on Yulu blessed land, which had been placed deep underwater. The immortals had attacked Yulu blessed land more than once, there were victories and losses. Now was not their first loss, but it was the most dispiriting one. Attacking Yulu blessed land was not about attacking it forcefully, it was about balancing the gains and losses. This Yulu blessed land was firmly controlled by Eastern Sea Zombie Alliance, there were no other forces trying to compete for it, thus, they could explore it at their own pace and progress slowly. Facing such a mystical battlefield killer move, even if they used Profound Ice House, they could only leave the blessed land, they could not break through it. In that case, what should they do to pass this round? Shark Demon was the last to walk out, he retrieved Profound Ice House and thought to himself with a hint of dejection, I made a huge loss this time, not only did I gain nothing from attacking Yulu blessed land, I even used Profound Ice House, when we get back to Zombie Alliance I will have to pay a huge amount of contribution points. Thankfully, we had Profound Ice House, otherwise we would still be trapped inside. GU Immortal Bo Dan said with some lingering fear. Shark Demon gave him a harsh glance, he quickly shut up. The other GU Immortals nodded slightly, they felt glad that Shark Demon brought Profound Ice House along with him on this trip. This vanishing immortal essence dissipation rain is too powerful. Even the immortal GU house could not defend against it, we were still hit by it. At another side, Tai Bai Yun Sheng suddenly spoke. Seeing Tai Bai Yun Sheng speak, Shark Demon's expression became milder as he said, that is because this Profound Ice House's greatest purpose is to help Ice Path GU Immortals cultivate. Don't be deceived by its ordinary-looking appearance, inside it is extremely damaged, it was fixed to the extent of barely being usable. If this was a complete immortal GU house, we could use it to defend even if we were inside. So that is it, Tai Bai Yun Sheng nodded, not saying anything else. Alright, this trip of exploring Yulu blessed land has ended, we can split up here. Shark Demon waved his hand, declaring this. The immortals left one by one rapidly. But Tai Bai Yun Sheng was in no hurry to leave. Sir Tai Bai, are there any issues? Su Bai Man asked. This immortal zombie couple were extremely courteous to Tai Bai Yun Sheng, the reason was the man as before immortal GU in Tai Bai Yun Sheng's possession. Tai Bai Yun Sheng smiled. Both of you know I am a Northern Plains GU immortal, I've been in Eastern Sea for some time already. Su Bai Man and Shark Demon gave each other a glance before nodding together. They knew this. Tai Bai Yun Sheng could not conceal his aura as he did not have a method like old Lord Kenyang. Thus, his Northern Plains GU immortal identity was exposed long ago. But this was not strange. Because Eastern Sea had the earth tide. Once in a while, from the bottom of the sea, there would be a boundless force from the earth, it was grand and imposing, the might of nature, it was a fearsome power that far exceeded the limits of rank 8 GU immortals. The force from the earth would move up, stirring the seawater, causing the earth tide. The power of the earth tide was great, it could easily whip up giant tsunamis. The earth tide would collide on the regional walls, causing them to weaken. Chapter 819, Returning to the Blessed Land, Putting Up a Show. It was already an extremely difficult thing for GU immortals to pass a regional wall. However, at this time every year, because of the earth tide, Eastern Sea's regional wall would become weaker and thinner, and GU immortals of Central Continent, Northern Plains and Southern Border could take this chance to enter Eastern Sea. Naturally, there were also a few Eastern Sea GU immortals that took this chance to enter Central Continent, Northern Plains or Southern Border. Thus, it was not a strange thing for GU immortals of these three regions to come to Eastern Sea. However, it was rare for Western Desert GU immortals to be in Eastern Sea. Western Desert and Eastern Sea were separated by the other regions in the middle. It would definitely be eye-catching if a Western Desert GU Immortal appeared in Eastern Sea. There were 5 regions: Central Continent, Northern Plains, Southern Border, Western Desert and Eastern Sea. Among them, Central Continent had the highest all-around strength, with countless GU master sects. Southern Border was covered with hundreds of thousands of mountains. Northern Plains terrain was flat and boundless, the tribes moved around the most and they were the most battle-hardened. And Eastern Sea was the most abundant in resources. In the vast sea areas and deep seas, countless water creatures, sea beasts, minerals and precious stones were hidden. The GU Immortals of Central Continent, Northern Plains and Southern Border came to Eastern Sea mostly for these resources, and this situation was common. Especially Northern Plains, where battles occurred the most and resources were few, their GU Immortals came to Eastern Sea to seek opportunities to grow, and there were also many who came to stay away from trouble. Tai Bai Yunsheng continued. With your support, I have been able to make good progress in Eastern Sea, and now my immortal aperture is showing signs of instability. The Earth tide is arriving. I want to take this chance to return to Northern Plains and place my blessed land down, to stabilize my immortal aperture for the earthly calamity. So it is like that. Shark Demon nodded. We should have thought of that. Sir Tai Bai should pay attention to safety when you leave. Maybe you can let us drop you there. Su Bai Man suggested while smiling. Tai Bai Yunsheng waved his hand. No need, no need. Shark Demon and Su Bai Man did not insist when they saw Tai Bai Yunsheng's refusal. The regional wall would become weaker because of the earth tide, but endless tidal forces would be present at the weak area. They were like countless reefs and vortexes, and it could get very dangerous. To pass through these, one must have an accurate map of the route. This kind of map was extremely precious. It was better if the map was deduced by a wisdom path GU Immortal, but if one did not have wisdom path methods, they could only rely on themselves to map the route through trial and error. If Tai Bai Yunsheng let the two escort him, then wouldn't his route be revealed? Thus, Shark Demon and his wife did not insist. After dealing with my matters in Northern Plains, I will return in the next earth tide. Maybe I can even persuade a few friends to come with me. Tai Bai Yunsheng spoke this, as a way of preparing for Fang Yuan's appearance. Good. Brother Tai Bai's friends are our friends, we will definitely welcome them properly. Shark Demon laughed and said with great enthusiasm. Tai Bai Yunsheng bade his farewell. When Tai Bai Yunsheng's receding figure had shrunk to the size of an ant, Su Bai Man frowned as she sent a transmission to Shark Demon. Although the regional wall will be weakened, the earth tide is terrifying. If one is just the slightest bit careless and struck by the formless tidal forces, fractured bones would be the least of their problems. It is very possible for them to die a violent death on the spot. Did you see how relaxed Tai Bai Yunsheng appeared? He definitely has complete confidence in his route. Are we really not going to follow him? If we had this route, we could also enter Northern Plains, and even if we don't have any use for it, we can turn it over to Zombie Alliance for large amounts of contribution points and reduce the losses of this attempt. Shark Demon firmly refused. No need. The routes are not fixed in place. After some earth tides, the formless tidal forces would change greatly, and the old routes will lose their value. Our main goal is to cooperate with him to use man as before for our revival. This is a long-term plan and we cannot harm the good relation between us and him for small profits in the short term. All right, I will listen to you. Su Bai Man dispelled her thoughts, looking at her husband with a warm gaze. Her zombie face, however, was somewhat terrifying. Shark Demon did not care in the slightest as he affectionately took Su Bai Man in his arms, letting her lean on his chest while he consoled her gently. I know what you are worried about. We hold the task of attacking Yulu Blessed Land, and by using Profound Ice House, our losses have become large. But it doesn't matter, who doesn't suffer setbacks and failures as they live in this world? We still have the foundation to sustain the losses. Now we have the hope of revival. Don't be afraid, no matter what the future is like, how many difficulties we face, I will always guard you by your side. Dear, the vast eastern sea and the clear sky merged into one at the horizon, and seagulls could be seen occasionally flying in the sky. Tai Bai Yunsheng flew through the sky without stopping. White fog lingered around his body, increasing his speed without producing any noise. Naturally, this was only a mortal killer move, and it could not compare to Fang Yuan's 3 pairs of true solid bat wings. And once Fang Yuan's Iron Crown Eagle strength activated, the disparity between them would become even greater. However, this killer move had its own advantages. As the clouds covered one's body, mortals would not be able to see him. This was not yet the time of 5 regions' chaotic war. There was a chasm between GU Immortals and mortals. Most mortal GU masters had only heard of Immortals and had no personal experiences with them. Many even only thought of immortals in a similar way to wispy legends. Tai Bai Yunsheng was, after all, a Northern Plains GU immortal and was an outsider in Eastern Sea, thus he tried to keep a low profile. At the beginning, as per Fang Yuan's instructions, he received tasks of restoring sea areas in Haishi Blessed Land, and after making a name, he was able to get connected to Shark Demon and others. All the attempts at attacking Yulu Blessed Land essentially included him as well. Shark Demon and his wife treated him very well, which was naturally because of his man as before. Shark Demon possessed Time Anchor Immortal GU, which, when used with man as before, produced a hope of revival. However, Shark Demon and Su Bai Man had no thoughts of seizing man as before Immortal GU. Unless one had methods like those of thieving Heaven Demon Venerable, it was almost impossible to forcibly take Immortal GU. Dong Fang Chong Fan was so weak and Fang Yuan held such huge dominance, but at the end, Dong Fang Chong Fan self-detonated with just a thought, not giving Fang Yuan even one Immortal GU as the spoils for battle. The difficulty of seizing Immortal GU was evident. Tai Bai Yunsheng flew for a long while before he finally saw a gray streak on the surface of the sea. As he approached closer, the gray streak in his sight gradually enlarged. It was a small island. This island did not have a spirit spring and it was scarce in vegetation. It was basically a bare, grayish-brown rock, even seabirds rarely visited it. In a region with bountiful resources like Eastern Sea, it was a barren place. However, Tai Bai Yunsheng was a GU immortal, he did not care about this, only treating it as a temporary residence. An isolated island with a barren landscape would naturally not be coveted by anyone, reducing potential attention and trouble. Tai Bai Yunsheng slowly landed on the island. He first inspected the GU formation he had set to see if there had been any changes. These GU formations were all coarsely arranged by him. One use was for simple monitoring, and another use was that if some other GU immortals came here, the GU formation would indicate that this island was not ownerless. After inspecting it, Tai Bai Yunsheng found close to 10 additional GU worms. These were all information path GU worms, carrying messages. Originally, although Tai Bai Yunsheng had been low-key in his conduct, but as a time path healing GU immortal with extremely useful immortal GU on him, he earned quite a bit of attention and could not be hidden for long. These information path GU came from all sorts of parties, some were from super forces, some from the demonic path, some from immortal zombies and some from righteous path lone cultivators. Most of them were requests for Tai Bai Yunsheng to remedy certain things. A smaller portion did not request Tai Bai Yunsheng to immediately help, but wanted to establish friendly relations. If by chance, a mishap happened in the future, would this relationship not be of use? Tai Bai Yunsheng had a benign nature, and also possessed 2 time path immortal GU, thus he was greatly welcomed in Eastern Sea. Tai Bai Yunsheng collected these information path GU worms and entered a cavern. He had only made this cavern for temporary use and had not spent any efforts on it, thus it looked very crude and simple. Tai Bai Yunsheng first replied to these information path GU worms, excusing himself from the invitations one by one, before sinking into deep thought. I can open a stargate to conveniently return to Hu Immortal Blessed Land. But if I directly open a stargate now, it can ruin the situation. Tai Bai Yunsheng could now be considered to have some fame, his actions would be secretly observed by many people. Thus, his return to Hu Immortal Blessed Land this time was more troublesome than previous times. He would really have to put on a false show of approaching the regional wall, using a stargate after there was nobody paying attention. Hu Immortal Blessed Land. Fang Yuan had been studying the Wisdom Path Inheritance for 3 days and 3 nights. He did not know how many thoughts were expended in his mind, in producing many insights. Dong Fang Chong Fan was brimming with talent. This Wisdom Path Inheritance in itself primarily gave priority to deductions, and is not specialized for battles, but he conceived the immortal killer move Myriad Star Fireflies, which is a unique concept that almost perfectly transforms the superiority in deduction of the inheritance into offensive power. In this entire inheritance, Myriad Star Fireflies is truly worthy of being the strongest offensive killer move. This was why Fang Yuan was sighing inwardly. His nature was different from Tai Bai Yunsheng, his was a nature filled with heavy aggressiveness. The first thing he paid attention to was the offensive methods of the inheritance. How did Myriad Star Fireflies cause Fang Yuan to sigh inwardly? The foundation of this move was still Star Thought GU. Every Starlight Firefly was encased in a Star Thought. The consumption of using this move was terrifying. Not only immortal essence, it also expended the Wisdom Path Dao marks in the GU Immortal's body. GU Immortals contained Dao marks in their bodies. Fang Yuan had Strength Path Dao marks, Fire Path GU Immortals had Fire Path Dao marks. Dongfang Chongfan's body naturally had Wisdom Path Dao marks. Every time he used this move, it would consume at least 16 Wisdom Path Dao marks. Dao marks were very hard to obtain. To obtain Dao marks, besides rare and unique methods, the most common and orthodox method was to pass heavenly tribulations and earthly calamities. Every tribulation and calamity passed could add Dao marks to the GU Immortal's body. The amount of Dao marks received was determined by the strength of the heavenly tribulation or earthly calamity. The stronger the heavenly tribulation or earthly calamity, the more Dao marks would be obtained. Chapter 820. Insufficient wealth to refine Immortal GU. Myriad Star Fireflies was a move that expended at least 16 Dao marks when used. There was no upper limit. The greater the range of Myriad Star Fireflies, or the higher its power, the more Dao marks would be consumed when using it. But that was precisely why this move was extremely strong. The Dao marks enter space, forming a peculiar battlefield. It was hard to destroy. When GU Immortals entered the range, their thoughts would turn into star thoughts, forming the attack for Myriad Star Fireflies. As time passes, Myriad Star Fireflies would grow stronger. This was converting the enemy's strength into one's own strength, and attacking them with it. To enemy GU Immortals, this was an obscene feeling. It was like they were dropping a rock onto their own feet, or taking a dagger and stabbing themselves. After understanding the secret of Myriad Star Fireflies' usage, Fang Yuan understood something else. No wonder that in the past, Dongfang Chongfan usually used plots and schemes to deal with matters. Only until he had no choice would he take action by using Myriad Star Fireflies. Because even though Dongfang Chongfan was the #1 Wisdom Path GU Immortal of the current generation in Northern Plains, he could not use Myriad Star Fireflies frequently. Its cost was too high. Once Dao marks were expended, they could not be recovered. Dao marks were hard to obtain. Most GU Immortals could only get a large number of Dao marks after going through a tribulation. This Myriad Star Fireflies is on par with my current killer move, Myriad Self. Of course, my killer move, Myriad Self, still has a lot of room for improvements. Myriad Star Fireflies cannot compete with it in this regard. I do not have any Wisdom Path Dao marks. Unless I enter into Wisdom Path, I might never be able to use this killer move in my lifetime. Of course, there was also another important point to consider. That was, this killer move, Myriad Star Fireflies, needed a core of 3 Wisdom Path Immortal GU. Fang Yuan did not have a single one. When Dongfang Chongfan lost, he self-detonated all of his Immortal GU. He did not leave any to Fang Yuan. Among these 3 Wisdom Path Immortal GU, the one Fang Yuan wanted the most was Star Thought Immortal GU. There were more than 10 Immortal GU recipes in this Wisdom Path inheritance. Among them was the recipe for Star Thought Immortal GU. There was even the refinement experiences of all the past inheritors and all of their findings after failures. Once he had Star Thought Immortal GU, Fang Yuan would not need to waste so much effort in slowly accumulating the Mortal Star Thought GU. The inheritance said, 1 bead of green grape Immortal essence could produce 100,000 Star Thoughts from the use of Star Thought Immortal GU. Of course, if Fang Yuan used Star Thought Immortal GU, the number he would obtain would be less than 100,000. That was because each of the Wisdom Path GU Immortal inheritors had Wisdom Path Dao marks in them, that amplified the effect of Star Thought Immortal GU. It was the same as how Fang Yuan could increase Giant Hand's power by 20% with his Strength Path Dao marks. 20% was very low. Ordinary GU Immortal experts had Dao marks that could increase the power of their Immortal GU, and their Immortal killer moves would grow in power accordingly. Twice, thrice, 4 or 5 times, 10 times, or even 100 times. One of the main reasons why the difference between rank 7 and 8 was so great was due to this. The higher the cultivation level, the more terrifying the tribulations. Once they passed them, they would obtain a greater number of Dao marks. Fortune and disaster appeared in turn. From another perspective, the stronger the heavenly tribulation or earthly calamity, the more benefits one would obtain. It was a good thing. Once Fang Yuan had Star Thought Immortal GU, in terms of deductions, he would have fewer obstacles. He would not need to plan their consumption so painstakingly, maintaining such minimal and cautious consumption of Star Thought GU. In addition, with his current wealth, he could sustain the expenditure of it. But the problem was, though Fang Yuan could sustain the cost of using the Immortal GU, he could not afford to refine the Immortal GU itself. Even though he made some profits, he was still a long way from refining Immortal GU. Immortal GU were unique. They were fragments of the Great Tao. The Immortal Essence stones and Immortal materials expended when refining Immortal GU were extremely great. Most importantly, when refining Immortal GU, one could not prepare just one set of materials, they had to prepare many portions because the success rate of refining Immortal GU was too low. Dongfang Chongfan was a formidable person in his time, the #1 wisdom path GU Immortal in Northern Plains. He was in control of a super force for many years. He had also secretly worked with Immortal Crane sect, obtaining a fair sum of funds. But even so, at his peak, he only had 8 Immortal GU in his possession. Among these 8, there was Menzies Blood Immortal GU and Split Shadow Immortal GU. These Immortal GU were not of wisdom path. There were more than 10 Immortal GU recipes in his wisdom path inheritance. Among them, he only refined less than half. For example, looking at old ancestor Shuihu and Lady Wan Shou, the former had the highest battle strength among the rank 8s in Northern Plains, while the latter was one of the 4 most famous refinement path GU Immortals in Northern Plains. They had deep foundations and were very affluent. But to refine the rank 8 fortune rivaling Heaven Immortal GU, even though they had Ma Hong Yun and could save a lot of resources, the rest of the resources needed still used up almost all of their savings. It could be said that they were going all in on this. With Fang Yuan's current situation, wanting to refine Immortal GU was simply wishful thinking. Other than Star Thought Immortal GU, there was an Immortal Killer move that Fang Yuan thought highly of. It was called Star Fog Concealment. This move was used to enshroud a GU Immortal in a layer of foggy starlight for extended periods of time. It could conceal their appearance and prevent others from seeing it. This was just the surface level effect. Its true effect was to conceal the GU Immortal from appearing as among the secrets of heaven. When other GU Immortals tried to deduce matters about this GU Immortal, the information would be concealed in fog. They would obtain unclear answers. This was almost like the effect of Dark Limit Immortal GU. Dark Limit Immortal GU's effect was to make the GU Immortal be overlooked and for others to fail in the deduction. Star Fog Concealment obscured the information and make deductions harder, getting unclear answers. This Wisdom Path Immortal Killer move was one of the more unorthodox ones in the Wisdom Path inheritance. Many of the inheritors did not use it in their lifetimes, thus the recorded experiences on this move were very few in number. Because Wisdom Path GU Immortals were rare to begin with, Wisdom Path GU Immortals rarely plotted against or attempted to make each other's schemes fail. Under most situations, even if they used it, they could not know what their enemies sensed when deducing information on them. But to Fang Yuan, this was very useful to him. Wasn't his motive for getting the Wisdom Path inheritance to defend against other Wisdom Path GU Immortals, to greatly delay the information of him being the culprit from being exposed to everyone? But unfortunately, this Immortal Killer move needed 2 Wisdom Path Immortal GU as the core. But the problem was this: Fang Yuan did not have the wealth to refine Immortal GU. Eventually, after Fang Yuan browsed through the entire Wisdom Path inheritance, he realized that what he could learn and make use of currently, while also being suitable for himself, was only one particular part. It was how to deal with enemy wills. There was a lot of content on this: how to defend against enemy wills, how to differentiate wills, how to control enemy wills, what to do when under the control of enemy wills and how to control them instead, how to use wills to attack, important matters when engaging in a battle of wills, how to detect wills, how to heal wills, how to amplify the power of wills, how to weaken wills, and much more. Why did Fang Yuan want to learn this? Because in his hands, he had Mo Yao's will. Mo Yao had incredible refinement path attainment in her life. She was also an Inkman with a lot of secrets of Inkman. She was even the lover of Bo Qing, and was a certain generation's fairy of Spirit Affinity House. She knew many historical events that were extremely valuable. What moved Fang Yuan the most was the Red Lotus Demon Venerable inheritance clues that she had. The vital GU of Fang Yuan's first aperture, Spring Autumn Cicada, was Red Lotus Demon Venerable's vital GU in the past. Thus, he placed much importance on the details of this inheritance. He needed to learn this: how to search wills. Searching souls and searching wills were different matters with completely different difficulties. The former was easier. It was like eating. Everyone had a mouth. Even though Fang Yuan was not in soul path, he could still search Tai Bai Yunsheng's soul. Outsiders could try it. But searching wills was like a chef taste testing a dish, attempting to decipher the main ingredients, supplementary ingredients, condiments, and even the steps involved in producing the dish. This was much more difficult. In other words, this was a specialized technique. Only Wisdom Path experts could try it. Thus, when Tai Bai Yunsheng returned to Hu Immortal Blessed Land, Fang Yuan was in Danghun Palace, diligently practicing the methods to search wills. He had just started learning. He had no experience in this. He was still some way from using it feasibly. "Junior brother, have you been well?" Tai Bai Yunsheng smiled lightly. He faced a lot of pressure in Eastern Sea. He could only relax now after seeing Fang Yuan. True friendships were forged in difficulties. To him, Fang Yuan's immortal blessed land was like his home. Fang Yuan invited him to sit down, asking with surprise when he saw the tattered clothing, "You got injured?" Tai Bai Yunsheng smiled bitterly. He said with slight lingering fear, "Now is different from the time I first entered Eastern Sea. Some people are placing attention on me. I could not come back using a stargate directly. I had to go to the regional wall and put up a show. To think that someone actually followed me, resulting in me seeing for myself the terrifying might of the earth tide. Even though the regional wall was weakened from the earth tide, near the earth tide, the formless tides were unstoppable. Even though I was at the periphery, I suffered greatly from it. Only defensive immortal killer moves have any effect. My 9-cloud ring was like paper in front of it." "Ah, let's not talk about this, junior brother. Did you have many gains?" "Ha ha ha." Fang Yuan started laughing. He would obviously not tell Tai Bai Yunsheng that he, the fake, junior brother, had killed his real, senior brother. But Fang Yuan only hid some parts. He told most of the truth to Tai Bai Yunsheng. After Tai Bai Yunsheng heard that, he was quite in awe towards a person like Dongfang Chongfan. He talked to Fang Yuan about his own situation. The situation was such that Tai Bai Yunsheng was quite popular in Eastern Sea. With his development, at this rate, he could almost become a second Fairy Li Shan. Tai Bai Yunsheng spoke about Yulu Blessed Land. Shark Demon had attacked it many times and faced endless difficulties, but he did not enter Yulu Blessed Land. He was stuck at the rounds in the outer periphery. Fang Yuan sighed. Fairy Yulu was a rank 8 GU Immortal, a disciple of Paradise Earth Immortal Venerable. Yulu Grotto Heaven dropped to become Yulu Blessed Land, but it still has that foundation. It might be that Yulu Blessed Land is one of the hardest kinds of blessed lands to take down. There are many aspects that influence defense. The first is if the blessed land is whole, the second is whether there is a land spirit, the third is the abundance of immortal essence, the fourth is the presence of guards like desolate beasts, the fifth is immortal GU, the sixth is immortal killer moves, the seventh is immortal GU houses, and the eighth is GU immortals protecting it. But from what I see, the offense and defense of a blessed land only depends on one thing overall, that is the quantity of Dao marks. Tai Bai Yunsheng heard Fang Yuan's words and was nodding. These were all common sense. But when he heard Fang Yuan's last sentence, it was like a burst of enlightenment. He was inwardly moved as he said with much interest, "Please enlighten me." Fang Yuan did not answer. He asked Tai Bai Yunsheng, "Old Bai, do you know about the phrase, man is the spirit of all living beings, GU or the essence of heaven and earth?"